probably pause 5. That's going to protect the Drow, and I agree the Shard build is very good. You just pop the Tombstone. It is essentially a save. You can even use it on somebody who's cursed if you have enough cast range. And now it's up to... Okay, they responded with the Darkseer. I think this is a good response.
I like this.
For Drow Ranger. I think Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, it's 2 heroes that can obviously manipulate the lane, because Drow Ranger is a very strong laner on top of Undying being on the lane. You need to do some funny stuff in that lane to be able to survive. So getting these heroes that can pull the wave together, could jungle if things go bad, and also have a pressure point when Darkseer hits his wall against Drow. So I really like the Darkseer pick. I think it's great.
And I really like the Dark Willow pick, because I feel like we've seen her a lot in the other streams, but not yet on ours, and it was about time.
Yeah, Willow is good against... No, Willow is great against Spirit Breaker, because you see him charging in. First of all, you're a natural Yule's buyer.
only.
Spirit Breaker.
Also, the
brambles make it very annoying for Spirit Breaker in the fight, because you have to navigate through all these thorny towers on the ground. So I think it's a good response. You see the supports you're playing against. It's good against Spirit Breaker, and it's good against Wyvern. And you can just out-trade the Wyvern, and you have a lot of magic damage in the game. So...
Xtreme ကတော့ဒါအိမ်ဝင်းမှာဘာထပ်ဖြစ်မလဲထပ်ကြည့်ရ
Spirit, because they have to pick
ဒုတိယပဲထပ်ရအောင်မလား
I'm not sure if they're going to go Collapse or Laurel. I'm trying to think, how will they construct this lineup now?
Because they have overall last pick.
Spirit Breaker တက်စီရတယ်လုံးဝအဲ့ငါတို့ငငယ်တုန်းကဟိုးရှိရှိတုန်းကကွာကွာ
It's another save. It's a good lane with Willow.
Jenny, I got Jenny.
What's wrong with it? What do you think, Saber?
I like it. I like it a lot. Centaur draw.
I'm drawing you. Hello, win two. I'm drawing ya. Casper.
Centaur will come later. I like the Storm pick as well, because if you look at their heroes, they kind of need a playmaker, someone that's gonna go in and start stuff, and then the 2 supports, Dark Willow and Undying, will like slowly come and you know, throw their spells. But you need the initiation. So I like the Storm.
Oh, Madaro, Neo. Tinkai.
I think the Storm is actually not too bad against Tinker. Like, you want a jump and you have that.
တကယ်လည်း Storm ဖြစ်ပါပြီးသားလေတင်ကာကိုဖမ်းเสียရိုင်းကိစ္စတော့မရှိဘူးလား
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious what this matchup is like now, because I know historically speaking in Dota, Tinker was owned by Storm. Like that was a counter. But now that Tinker has this annoying shard that's essentially perma-rooting, maybe this goes the other way, where you're forcing Storm into like an early BKB. That kind of sucks.
It does, especially against Spirit Breaker, because if you get charged, you still get back
Spirit
through the BKB, so you don't really want to buy it,
Breaker.
but you kind of have to.
I think the cool thing Spirit did is they kind of used the enemy's bans against them.
Spirit
so
1.4
noticed that both Ember Spirit and Puck are banned now, which makes Storm just better. Because if you see Storm, a lot of teams would just pick Ember or Puck. So they kind of use the enemy's bans against them, which is cool. And then the Tinker, I actually don't know how good of a Tinker game it is, because I think he does well in the lane against Storm, but in the game, having any hero that can catch Tinker is going to be annoying, and Storm is one of them. And I don't think this new Tinker also can outrange Drow Ranger, because against Drow, the turret type heroes, you either outrange them like a sniper, or you get on top of them like a Darkseer. I'm not seeing the synergy from Xtreme right now, but it is an NTS Tinker, so it's hard to know what to expect.
မဖြစ်နိုင်ဘူးဆိုတာမရှိဘူး။ဟုတ်ဆို TI လည်းဖြစ်နေတယ်
Tinker and
ပြီးတော့အိမ်ဝင်ဒီကောင်တွေက
I mean, these
အိမ်ဝင်
heroes
ဆို
don't
ဘာညာ
really
အကွက်လေး
interact
ပါ
with
လေး
Undying
ရှိမ
anyway.
လား
They
မ
kind of
သိ
have to run away from the Tombstone, as things are.
That's true.
I mean, I guess they can solve that with their overall last, or not overall last, but with their last pick for Ame. But I guess you don't want your carry hitting the Tombstone, because that means he's not hitting enemy heroes.
Yeah, I mean, the one solve is like Morphling is a big one people pick against Undying, because you just get a Tombstone, but then you're picking Morph into Drow, which sucks, and then you have Morph
We're going to
Tinker, which kind of sucks because it's a lot of farming. It's very greedy, but it is Ame.
အဲ့ဒီစားတယ်တနေ့တည်းအများကြီးလား
Can pick Anti-Mage and collect his free
တနေ့
win.
တနေ့ဘာမှမသိဘူးနော်မနေ့က Fagon ယူပြီးသွားတော့
Anti-Mage Tinker, it's a classic.
However, it is maybe
ကြားထဲမှာ
not
ခဏလေးလို
the
ပဲ
best with Tinker and Darkseer, but I would expect him to pick some melee guy that kind of pairs well with the Darkseer. Okay,
we got the spec.
I like this even more than the Anti-Mage, to be fair.
Drawing ရကောင်းတာပေါ့ထင်လို့နော် drawing ရကောင်းတာလားပြောတာအဲ့တပတ်တာ drawing ရတကယ်ပြင်းရင်လည်းမခံနိုင်ဘူး
You have a team you have a
Fever
Spirit
Ashley
Breaker
by
that's gonna charge someone, Tinker can TP in and Spectre can haunt in, and suddenly it's super hard to play the map because you just can get picked off anywhere.
အဲ့ဒီ
This
ဝက်
seems
လေး
like
ဂိမ်း
a
ဖြစ်
very
မှာပါ
scary
နေ
draft to go up against.
တင်ကာနဲ့
Spirit, you need if you don't get a lead in the first like 20 minutes, this is
duration over မယ်ထင်တယ်
I think the Darkseer Spectre is a great combo for sure, and it is what we talked about, some sort of gap close. But you are giving Collapse a completely free game on whatever he picks here, and I think Collapse is okay.
Oh,
I did
nice
not see this
talk,
one.
we
yeah,
talked
Neo.
about this hero being countered by one item.
And that's the thing about items. You can buy them on any hero.
It's true.
Point.
Like you don't need to get counterpicked. You can just buy it like every single game.
But even Spectre is not bad against
အပရစ်ပစ်ကြီးက
Night
ကွတ်သွား
Stalkers.
ပြီ
Like
You dagger him.
you
Yeah.
dagger him and you get vision. I actually
နိုင်တော့ကလည်းပါတယ်
really
Stones လည်းပါတယ်
confused
အဲ့
by
တင်က
Saber, please.
နေရရှိမှာတော့မ
I
ဟုတ်
personally hate it.
Oh,
I
a brick
find
game
it
one.
really bad. But you know, what am I? I'm just the washed up guy on the
brick game
panel,
one.
and Collapse is the 2-time TM's winner. So I'm sure he knows what he's doing. I
Easy, what?
personally would have really loved
Sure.
if he picked like a centaur, so they
Good
have
idea.
a second stun. Because as it stands right now, they have the storm pull, and that's kinda it. That's the only real stun they have, which gets really hard against Tinker. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he can win the lane. It is good against Tinker because
Yeah.
you can always find him and you can always silence him, so he can like rearm and TP out. So in that aspect, I like it. Good against Tinker and Wyvern, but the rest I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, I mean that's all I can really see as well. I mean I've been playing
တကယ်
this hero
တကယ်
'cause
ဆရာ
I'm
နှစ်ယောက်ရောက်နေ
bad
တာ
at
ပဲ
the game.
fly နဲ့
People are getting essence.
Saber
slowly
line,
against me. I'm very
LA.
sad losing these games based on 1,000
Yeah.
gold item, but
For people wondering, by the way, that item gives you the target's
the
vision.
target's vision.
Yep.
So Night Stalker, Vision Hero, it's like got that one.
But I do love picking Night Stalker into Wyvern. He's just food. You have to jump him. I would be a little concerned picking it into Spectre because I feel like Spectre is very punishable in lane. This is a point in the game where you want to punish her, and Night Stalker is a bot for the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, this is a weird one. I was totally gonna go for Spirit before I saw the Night Stalker. I know Night Stalker is amazing against Tinker, but I don't think they just needed to punish Spectre in lane.
TI ဆိုတော့
in my eyes.
ဘယ်လိုပဲဖြစ်
So
တ
I'm
ပြေး
gonna
ညီ
go
ပဲ
with
အထဲနဲ့အပြင်
Xtreme
နဲ့
in this one, just because of the Night Stalker. Hopefully I'm proven wrong and we'll see it pop off, but Xtreme.
All right, we're gonna see if two other voices can make sense of it all. It's
ဒါပေမဲ့အမြဲတမ်းဂါဘန်ကြီးရအမဝက်ပြပြနေ
Yes, looking forward to this. Spirit versus Xtreme.
စာဝါမနိုင်
gaming,
ဘူးမနိုင်
yeah, so
ဝင်ကြည့်လို့မရ
some
ဘူး
interesting
အဲ့ကွက်
stuff
တွေရှိ
going on in the draft.
အပြင်မှာပဲကြည့်ရမ
Xtreme,
လား
they
မ
get
သိ
some pretty scary final two picks, right? The Tinker, the Spectre. They're ready to take over the map and take the game late if
တော့နေ
need
စာဝါမ
be.
နိုင်ဘူး
On Spirit's side, ending with this Night Stalker, I mean, if anything's to go by from what the panel said, I feel like we've got to expect Spirit to be expecting to run this game over.
That's what I think
There's
is
no
the
way they
reason.
want to play this long or late.
Yeah.
They just want to dumpster them in the early to mid game.
So that's kind of my read. Like when they play the Centaur, they play kind of more farmy style. I think I could be completely wrong, but I think the reason is like you're saying they just want to just stomp, run over the game. Don't let this Tinker and Spectre be able to hit creeps and go to this timing 30, 35 plus. They want to end the game
Yes.
ASAP is what I'm seeing. But I don't know if it's going to work because this Night Stalker can be a risk versus the Distiller, of course, too. There's also other things that can be really disruptive. Spirit Breaker charging him gives good
နေနော်
vision as
တင်
well.
ကာ
too.
ကြီးက
But
အဲ့လို
it's
confidence
the
ရှိရှိ
concept
ပစ်လိုက်
about
တာကြီးဒါ
disrupting the Wyvern,
ဘာပြောလို့
finding
ပြော
the
အောင်မ
Tinker,
သိ
and just
ဘူးနင်တို့ဘာကြီးပဲ
snowballing
ကောင်းတာ
themselves.
ထွက်လာ
Let's
ထွက်
see
လာ
if
ငါ
that's
ပစ်
gonna
မယ်
work.
ဆိုကွက်ကြီးသိရတောင်းစစ်ပစ်ထားတယ်
There we are. There
ကိ
you
စ္စ
go.
မရှိဘူး
Well,
တင်ကာပစ်တယ်အဲ့တော့မှ let's fit ဒီဘက် nice ဆော့ကထပ်ပစ်တာ
Teams both of them ready to go here with the voice line spam to
ဒီကောင်နဲ့
start
အဓိ
this
က
one off.
စတက်စားပြီးတော့
We
အို
didn't
က်တ
have
န်
any.
Last
နဲ့
game
ဖိ
was
မှာလားမ
kinda
သိဘူး
quiet, right?
Very
တက်
quiet.
ကတော့တော်တော်စားလို့ရ
But the voice lines,
တင်
so
ကာ
we didn't have a few, but at least definitely from from both sides. Yeah, we're seeing both of them.
Xtreme ကဒီကောင်နဲ့
using
triangle တွေကို
ISO
အဓိကကစား
This is good.
Good one.
Oh yeah, I really like that Spirit line too. You can't kill the king. It's a good one.
Teams ready to go.
Okay,
well,
so-
nearly, but we've got a little pause. I just go. It's only going to be a little pause, hopefully.
So I'm really curious to see what that is because I was in the same vein. You know, I was talking to you back here just with Saberlight, where I'm like, okay, the Centaur, it has the save for the Drow globally. You put the pressure onto the Spectre in the lane because you have 20 base damage advantage over him or so you can slow it down.
လန်ချောင်းအောင်လည်းအောင်မြင်နေတော့ဟုတ်ပါဒါပေမဲ့
There has to be something. We're gonna get to see it.
PUBG ကတော့
Collapse is gonna give us
မနေ့ကလစ်သွားပြီ
a real reason as to why he wanted to play it, and maybe it is just that. Yeah, snowball factor.
ဒီမှာဝဲကြည့်သေးလား
We'll see if
မ
the
ကြည့်
lack-
လိုက်ရ
you know,
ဘူး
the
အခု
bit of
မှ
lack of
အားလို့
stuns is gonna be a problem for Spirit as well too, because like the
Yeah.
panel did mention Stable was saying
နောက်
too.
ရက်တွေကလည်း
There's a vortex
တက်
and
လာ
then
လို့
it's
မရဘူး
battle,
နောက်ရက်
you
ဆို
know,
တော့
it's a
16ရက်
follow up.
Sure, some
16ရက်
routes-
ရက်ကစ
a
ပြီးတော့
lot of silence, right?
A lot of
မ
silence.
ရှိတော့ဘူးရန်ကုန်မှာမရှိ
Duration
တော့
of Gust and the nice
ဒီနေ့
stuff
တို့
getting
မ
the
နေ့
top
ဖြန်တို့လောက်ပဲရ
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this one's gonna go.
TI
It's a
နဲ့လွတ်
clash
ပြီ
of two
လို့
different
ဒီနေ့ TI
styles,
ကတော့
and
လွတ်ပြီပဲ
It looks like a very Spirit draft, and it looks like a very Xtreme draft. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to be very happy with getting that.
ကိုမကြည့်တဲ့နေ့မှာ
and Spectre
နေကမာကြီးရသွားတယ်လို့ပါတော့
Yeah.
close up to the draft.
And we get to see some more fun stuff too, is like how this interaction with the Storm versus the Tinker works. As we know, always in the history of Dota, Storm hunting Tinker, very good. But nowadays, Tinker with the new shard, like Jenkins was mentioning, you can do some type of trippy stuff with just chain locking him down, chain rooting him. Let's see what we do get. So already queuing up Dagon.
Let's see how the lane goes. So how does the lane go in this matchup? Storm can do all right, or
Yeah, Storm can do it right. You have ways to secure creeps versus the laser, so you can always just use Remnant. You have ways to push the lane in, so you're gonna get stuff on the Storm.
tomorrow
And how much of a
please
factor is it that
tomorrow
the
okay
draft has ended with
okay ဆိုပြီ
XG pretty much having a draft where nobody wants to hit a tombstone.
Bit of a mess up there from Laurel.
အင်းကတော့တင်ကာနိုင်မလားမသိဘူးတင်ကာနိုင်တာတော့မဟုတ်ဘူးကွာဒဲဒဲလောက်ပါ
I do think that can be a
Sounds
big factor.
fitting,
Yeah, I think they mentioned it on the panel as well too. This
Yeah,
tombstone is
I'm
very
out.
annoying.
Yeah.
The fact that you can go in, out, over and over again provides insane amount of protection.
Because literally none of these heroes want to right click,
Nope.
right? It's like the Wyvern might be offering a few, and then
he's
second
going
in line is kind of the Spectre, but the Spectre really doesn't want to be turning up to the fight and hitting the tombstone.
No, I mean Wyvern can't in this game. If you're showing yourself like that as Wyvern, it's like, okay, thank you. Night Stalker and Storm are gonna just rip you to
Fair
Oh,
enough.
dear.
And then, well, then the other,
အဲမှာ
there's-
ကြည့်လို့မ
like,
ရ
there's
ဘူး
none of them.
There's
Nobody
အမြဲ
wants to
အဲ့လို
hit
ပဲ
the tombstone.
Yeah, it's
တ
definitely
ကယ်
gonna be
ပွဲ
one of
ကြည့်
those
ပြီ
big
ဟေး
problems
ဆိုရင်
to
ဒို
do.
တာ
Maybe
2
the
ထဲကနေ
Darkseer
ကြည့်လို့မရ
still gets a
တော့
little bit of attack speed, right?
Arme,
အာပုံမှာ
first
ဖတ်ပလက်
blood
ဟုတ်
here
တယ်
for
ဗျာ
Not Me.
ပပရစ်
And it's a lane that
1.9 ဆိုတော့
it's a
အောက်က
Night
တော်တော်
Stalker
လေး
in
တ
the
န်
first 5 minutes, and it's the lane that gets the kill. So that's a big
ပ
deal.
ပရစ်အားပေးရမှာဒီပွဲလေးက
Key part of the snowball potential here for Spirit.
And Not Me has
A
been
pretty
a
easy way.
fantastic addition for them. We have to mention how much he's been able to do for this team, his early aggressive plays that he does. Super nice. And with Willow, it's a super good early aggressive hero. Can't find these grabs even onto Ame as we see.
I'll get a
Not
couple
a
of
goal.
sample
I'm a
connections
baby.
onto X-Nova, and with the Shadow
ပေးသွား
round,
လောက်ပြီအဲ့လောက်
Just be dead.
I think he will be.
ရော့ချက်
Dagger in an
ရော့
attempt
ချက်
to slow the two of them
Yo.
down. He'll try and get in the trees, but they've
Okay.
got him. A second kill here for the offlane
Kill,
duo of Team
baby.
Spirit.
A lane not really designed for kills with the Night Stalker too, so fantastic stuff. Toro getting a bit of pressure onto him
He
here,
went
but he
win
has
that
more than
bomb.
enough last hits. He has the
တောင်းစင်
Undying
နိုင်စော်
body
က
as
နဲ့
well.
အဲ့ကောင်ပုတ်ကိုပုတ်
Yeah, both teams on the bottom lane taking a bit of a beating from one another.
XXS got
အာ
him
ဟုတ်တယ်
Might just be
နောက်တစ်ချက်
dead.
နောက်
Fairy
တစ်ချက်
Fire too.
ဒီဝါ
Won't be forced to pop it at least, but
ဒါ
still
တို့က
kept
ငလဲဖ
incredibly
ဖနက်ကြီး
low.
စော်ကြီးဝစ်ထားတာ
I mean, he could.
ဓာတ်စီယာနဲ့စရိတ်ကတော့လိုက်ပုတ်တဲ့အကွက်တွေဖနက်စော်ကြီးဝစ်လိုက်ရင်ပြီးသွားပြီလေ
Play
တင်း
it
က
safe for now. Well, I say play it safe. He's getting back in nearly in attack range there of Yatoro.
Might be able to get him if he goes for Soul Rip. He has
မန်နာ
Mango.
ရှိတယ်မန်ကိုရှိတယ်အေး
That'll do it. Okay,
ရှော့သွား
both
ပြီ
side lanes looking kind of hot here from Team Spirit in these first few minutes.
And look at the way that Rue itemized too, right? He's playing versus an SB and a Darkseer lane, so you don't really need stats. You just get the boots, you get the mangoes, just so you can spam that decay out as well too. All 3 lanes looking hot.
Oh, bash.
Maybe return kill.
Another bash will do it.
အိုးမသေးသေးဘူးမသေးသေးဘူး
Needed a bash out of one of the two of those hits.
Another bash.
Oh, needs a bash.
Oh.
my God, not getting him. But
You are
Yatoro
Yadoro,
did
Panane,
have quite a bit
Panane.
of time to try and get
Oh,
that
look,
kill,
wow.
and that's more than enough time for XX to get back in on top
That's
of
the
him.
other
Lion
Panane
Shell,
there.
get the trade now with the surge. Might just find Brew. So rectifying the lane decently, not quite able to get Brew, but it's still killing off Yatoro. Something back the way
Oh,
of
wow.
XG down there.
That was a fun little
သုံး
exchange.
လိမ့်
Nice
လုံး
little
တာ
bash
နေ
and
တယ်
then
လို့
not
ပြော
getting
တာ
the extra
တာ
bash
နေရတော့မ
points
ဟုတ်ဘူးနော်
afterwards.
မစ်ကတော့ဒဲဒဲလောက်ပဲ
I think XXS is actually kind of happy with that.
အော်လိမ့်တာအဓိက nice ဆိုတာလိမ့်တာဝိုင်းတော့ပြီးပြီကွာ
He gets a double wave by himself as well too, so he gets the level 4 after
အင်္ဂါ
Stone
ဖန်လို့မ
back
လွယ်
here.
တော့
So it gets a fair bit.
လာပြမှာပဲကြောက်ရတာတောင်းဆွေးကတော့ဒီပွဲဆော့ရလွယ်ပါတယ်သူ့ကိုထိမ့်မဲ့ကောင်မပါဘူးဒီလိုပွဲပေါ်မှာအဲ့ကောင်မကြမ်းလာဘူးဆိုရင်တော့
Slightly a few more charge denies here for nothing to say, but the
သူ့ထိမ့်မဲ့ကောင်တင်ကာ တင်ကာလိတ်ဂိမ်းပဲရှိမှာကွာတင်ကာလိတ်ဂိမ်းဟိုလိုမျိုးသိရမလားတက်နဲ့လိုက်ပြီးပြစ်တာတို့ပါတို့
And
the
yes.
high ground. F5 trying to chase. Nothing to say. He's going to try and hide in the pit. They're
Nowhere to
looking at the
hide.
vision for the Shadow Realm. He's,
Oh,
that's a
tricky
good spot
spot.
there.
Here
They
you
will
go.
still get it. The Remnant comes in. Lyle, he cleans up a double. He
Lucian
might
ရဲ့
just get more. The
အေးနောက်
Remnant's
တော့ထပ်
going
ပြီ
to connect onto Xnova.
Wait, is this going to be a triple kill for
Yup,
Laurel?
That's going to be pretty
Yo.
huge. I mean, either way, however Xnova dies, they're going to be happy. They
Double
are
kill,
able to set it up.
yeah.
So
Tànလိုက်တာ
Lyle
ကွာ
gets that final
အဲ့လိုမှ
touch.
သိရင်ပို့ထည့်လိုက်ပါ
Triple kill for
အဲ့
Lyle.
လေ
I've never
4 minutes
seen
in.
a Storm get a triple
Where
kill.
piatသွားပြီ
Level 6. I gotta be honest with you, that was insane. Brought the numbers. It works. Even versus that March.
မိသွားပြီကွာကောင်းတယ်ကွာဟိုကအလွတ်ကြီးတွေပန်းပေါက်တာနော်
Tripping them up.
They
The
don't do
Shadow Realm
well.
hit comes in. Not
They-
quite going to be able to kill him, but definitely going to force him back to base.
နော်မီ
there.
ကဟုတ်တော့ဟုတ်တယ်နော်
Crazy
ဒါဝဲ
aggressive
လို့
play.
ပန်း
This
ပေါက်
is
တာကိုအလွတ်တွေ
before
လုံ
that
နေရ
nighttime
ဘာမှ
music
သူ့ရှိ
for
မှာ
the
အဲ့လို
Night
စတန်
Stalkers, too. They're just
စတန်
making
ဆက်
moves
ပ်တွေ
all
ပါ
over
ဘာ
the
မှမ
place.
လုပ်တာ
And
ဘူး
they
That's what
lapse.
they needed to do, right?
Playing
Like you said,
ball
the spirit
get
of this lineup.
ဆွဲ
We've
တော့
got
ဆွဲ
to see him play it fast and aggressive, and they're certainly showing they're ready to do that.
100% and collapse on the meanwhile just left on his own up here too. We see the build he's gone for too. 3 points in the silence, the newer build that we're seeing more people
Nice
go
talk,
for
level
here.
2
Got
အဆုံး
face
နဲ့
boots.
Okay
Armor
အော် level 2က
super
damage ပါလာပြီ
Sounds
ကွာနော်ဟုတ်တယ်မ
as
လား
if they're going to be
I don't
incredibly
care.
obnoxious for a lot
level
of
2
XG
အဆုံး
zeros
1 တစ်ဆင့်
early on.
3တစ်ဆင့်
Next, you need time. See if they're going to be able to buy that for themselves.
It's a lot of galvanized stacks too for the Storm very early that he usually doesn't end up getting. He's probably up to what, 4 now? Yeah, 4 here in that mid lane. He's gonna hit 6 fairly earlier as well too because of all those extra kills to be able to potentially make
တင်
those
ကာကို
moves.
အဲ့ဒီစက်ရုပ်လေးတွေဟိုဘယ်လိုခေါ်မ
Nothing
လဲ
to say, looks like he
အဲ့
might get it
rocket
first,
လေး
though,
လား
still with the way the rotation
torrent
came in.
torrent လေးဖြစ်သွားတဲ့ကမကင်ကြည့်ရသေးဘူးကွာအဲ့ဟာလေးကစွမ်းလားမစွမ်းလား
Rawls
မ
gonna
သိ
get the protection for it and he gets a regen. Probably one of the best ones he can find here at this point.
ရိုင်းညာတော့ကင်ပြီးသွားပြီရိုင်းညာတော်တော်ကင်လို့ကောင်းတယ်ဒီ
NS
ဟိုဟာတွေဖြောက်လိုက်ပြီးရော facet တွေဖြောက်လိုက်ပြီးတဲ့နောက်မှာဒီကောင် level 3ရောဟိုကသူ့ကနေသူစွမ်းပြီးသားဖြစ်သွား
Go quick on the dive once they hit the 6.
They're bringing the Willow up too.
Snova.
They got the scan. They expected the move with the way that they're playing here. Collapse can still heal up a bit more here. Can eat another creep. And he sees backpacking those gauntlets every time. Triple backpack of the gauntlets into the eating a creep.
Down bottom. Max success having to keep his distance.
arrow 3ချောင်းလောက်ကျွေးလိုက်တာကြည့်ရအောင်ဒါတော့ arrow ကတစ်ဆင့်နဲ့နော်ဟို multi shot ကတစ်ဆင့်နဲ့ရှိတ
All
ယ်
three
တွေ့
of
လား
those cores.
အဲ့ဒါနဲ့
in a better
3ချက်လုံး
spot
ထိအောင်
than
ပေါက်
they're
လိုက်တာ
opposing.
တွေးတော့ကစိုးတယ်အဲ့ကောင်
It'll be a 1-for-1 wisdom.
လာစောစီပဲတင်ကာရဲ့ crit တွေလာခူးစားနေ
And Laurel overall in this game, we do have to mention the lack of disables, right? Yes, there's going to be this annoying shard,
Sure,
right,
but
from
that's
the Tinker, but
fair
that's
few
kind
minutes
of
away. Outside of that, it's maybe getting lucky with the charge connection, but
Yeah.
you're dodging those. So,
overall for this, the Storm Spirit game.
I mean, do you
Looks
go for
pretty
some
good.
build on the Spectre where you
Nice
get
dog,
your
crit
pick
guy
in
and
there
tweet
early,
that,
or is that
tweet
just kind
that
of
in,
free
level
time,
3.
have to stick with this Radiant
အရင်က
Lantern?
အဲ့
Yeah.
nice တော့က
Depending on
crit
which build, we'll see what Alma even wants to
ကြို
go
က်
for.
တာ shot ဝယ်မှဖြစ်တာအခုဟာဒီတိုင်းကိုကြိုက်လို့ရညဘက်ဆိုရင်ကြိုက်လို့ရတက်ဝယ်ကြမလို့တော့အေးပေါက်ပြန်ပြီမသေးပြီလား
Prospects this
တင်
game.
ကာကြီးရောက်လာတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အန်တိုင်းဟိုမှာတုံးဆုံးအေးမတင်ကာပြုတ်ကြပြီ
Not
သူ
gonna
ဟာ
say
ရှော
come in to
မှ
try
လား
and
မ
help
သိ
out
ဘူး
with the defense.
တောင်းဆွေတော့လာနေပြီ
And we'll focus the tombstone here slowly
Don't
but
feel
surely.
Lani.
Already though,
မ
Xnova
စရိတ်ကလည်း
dies.
လာတော့လာနေပါ
Charge onto collapse, but
Lars
Laurel
ဝင်ပြီတင်ကာမိသွားပြီဗျာ
Vortex on nothing to say. It's going to go for the second TP
Oh,
out. We'll make it
oh,
for any
look
of the
at
rings
it.
connect.
very heads up TP from him. But the aggression from Spirit, we said this is what, I mean, this is definitely the reason why they went for the NS.
Yep,
It's all about
absolutely.
this aggression. We're seeing it coming into play. XG's lineup, it is more about the later in the mid game, of course, too, but
လာဟုတ်
so
နေ
far
ပြီ
the pressure absolutely building up here.
သုံးအောင်တက်ထားတယ်
But
တစ်ခါမှမ
a
သိ
lot
သေး
of
ဘူး
times when there is a Darkseer in a lineup, it kind of looks like this, right? The Darkseer plays for himself, gets to level 7, is going to get those ion shells going onto one of the supports,
way,
and then they can look to play
Kaya-
better around it.
တန်ကြီးလောက်ရရင်
But
တူ
the
ပြီးတူ
supports
ကြီး
again
ပဲ
also can be pretty low level if you don't have a good lane with the Darkseer as well, too. So level 4 on the SB. Toro is 7.
အောက်မှာရာတူ
He's
လူ
got
အ
the
လုံးခံရ
Falcon
တော့မယ်
Blade.
He might be in
That's-
trouble there.
အိုးမှောင်နေတော့မမြင်ရဘူးလေ
Bringing it back up
ဂတ်ဆုံးလို့မရဘူး okay
TP's coming in. Yatoro
ရသလောက်တော့
still alive with the
အိုး
illusion.
ရသလောက်တော့
bring
သူ
him
လုတ်
down.
ပေးနေပါသေးတယ်
Spirit, they'll look for a trade, see if
Oh,
they
yeah,
can find
but I
Collapse.
yell
The
out.
Hawk comes in from Arme. So Sets up for the double kill for Xnova.
Good movement. XXS still healthy.
Too much for them to go on. Not me. Left shadow round back up in a few seconds. Charge comes in from an angle. They get the vacuum back.
That's the power of those
Yeah, not low
shots.
9
XG striking back on the other side of the map.
Like how they bring even Ame and just get
တက်
that
သတိလ
extra
စ်တာ
number,
နဲ့
get
ရှော
him
တာပဲ
involved
ဒီ
with
ကောင်တွေ
just
ဝ
some
က်မ
extra
ထောင်
kills
တာ
as
ဘူးနော်
well.
သူတို့ရဲ့ဒီအောက်က
And yeah, the power of the Darkseer, right?
Game
It's
on.
always around that level 7 that it comes in with the extra.
Collapse
Now,
still hanging around.
အိုး gas က
Gus
ကောင်းသွား
comes
ပြီ
in as well. Puts a stop to the charge. Sets up for the damage coming onto FY. Not enough to kill him though.
yeah
backing some of that damage. First nighttime, soon disappearing. Still in a comfortable position, of course, but we did see a good
တော်ရန်
bounce back
shadow
from
နဲ့ဆို
XG with
စွမ်း
that
နေ
first taunt coming in, stabilizing the game.
အဲ့ဒါတော်ရန် damage ကများတာဗောဟဟလားတော်ရန် damage ကအဲ့လောက်များလား
Split back up.
အဲ့တခုမမိုက်တာအဲ့ shark root ကပြစ်လေသူကဝေးဝေးရောက်သွားလေဖြစ်တယ်လေ
Back down to the bottom lane.
We saw NTS change the build, right? I believe I saw the blink.
အဲ့တော့နေရာမှာပဲ root နေရာမ
Deciding
ဟုတ်
to
ဘူး
go
ကွာ
for
အဲ့လို
instead.
Oh, the
အဲ့လို
dark
ဆို
one.
တော့
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it makes
ပြစ်
a
က
lot
တာ
of
အဆင်
sense
ပြေ
too.
လို့
Just to follow up, then he actually can just
ကြည့်
burst
ကြရမှာ
something
ပဲ
like the drow with the
ဇာတင်သူ
spirit
စီ
breaking
ကတော့
charge.
စ
He
ပြီး
can't
တော့
go for
ဓာ
these
တ်
type
ကာ
of plays
ပြီးတော့
on
တ
side.
ကုံသွားဖို့လုပ်နေ
More
တော့
standard. And then he is going to go down that dagger.
breast
route.
damage
That can be very strong, right? But overall, for the Drow, like a pretty low HP hero, you do just get laser dagged from super far away. And Ame, okay, showing he is going to go the Radiance. Goes for the urn, the small item in between.
ဒီဘက်အရန်လေကင်းရောက်သွားလို့တော့မရဘူးအရန်လေကင်းရောက်သွားရင် split ရှုံးနိုင်
Get another one.
XG. Again.
အတင်က
finding ways to get nothing
ဆောင်း
to
ရမ်း
say
ကျန်းလာ
about
မှာ
Daly.
နဲ့သိရမလားစပတာ
Power
ကြီး
of
နဲ့
his
ဆို
Tinker, right? Up to level 10 now. Even though the lane,
ပြဿနာနည်းနည်းတက်
you
နိုင်
see
တယ်
those extra kills for the Storm Spirit. He's able to make these rotations. Playing around Darkseer is nice too. Just being able to join in easily. Bottom global presence from XG.
ပြီးသွားပြီ
Look at the catch onto XXS. CPs are coming in. Charge as well.
ပြစ်လိုက်တော့လေအေး
Does
အဲ့လို
still
လုပ်ပါ
die. Have
Well,
just
my
enough
warrior,
mana to get
warrior,
away
so
on the
TV, what?
storm, but not me. Will get left behind.
အဲ့ဒီဘောတော့ရှိတယ်
creep that
တ
he
ခု
has
ဆို
too.
စပတာ
He
ကြီး
just
ပြုတ်
had
ကြ
a bit of
တာ
a
နဲ့
stun
တင်ကာ
to
ကြီး
him.
ပြုတ်
He
ကြ
doesn't
တာ
center
နဲ့
creep
ဒီ
him
ဘက်က
now
ဂလိုပဲ
like that, but could have actually
ဟိုဟာ
almost caught
flow
the
လို့
Storm
မျိုး
Spirit.
ဖြစ်
Very close to the stun catching him.
ဘလို့မဆိုဆင်းလာလို့ရတယ်ကွာတင်ကာ
XG striking back. Yeah,
Spirit
this
Breaker
global-
ရော
the global
စပတာရော
potential,
ဆို
we're
တော့လုံးဝ
absolutely seeing it to be able to
map
match
က
Spirit's
ခွဲစားလို့တော့
movements.
မရတော့
It's very strong. And if
အချိန်တိုင်း9ယောက်က
XG
ပြေးဖို့
do
အ
get
ရန်
the
လွယ်
chance to kind of keep this game even and the Radiance comes online for the Spectre,
Scaling is
he
there.
can't help but feel the Spirit are going to have trouble
Yep.
down the line. This is not going to get easier for Spirit. They've got to somehow try and maintain the advantage. That slips away and the Spectre starts to get the chance to hit the creeps and Arme gets this Radiance Manta timing. It's going to be very, very hard.
And it's-
you kind of consider their draft.
And it's nothing to say Tinker all at the end of the day too. Like yes, there's the answer with the Storm Spirit in a way versus him, but as we said, it kind of goes both
Oh,
ways.
let's not hide
He's up
on
to
it.
level 11 now. He's starting to get
Dorian.
that big
တော်ရ
increase
င်
for
ကအေး
himself.
သူ level 3နဲ့ဟိုဟာလုတ်တယ်ဆိုတော့လေအကောင်တွေကြိုက်ပြီးတော့ပျော်နေတာဆိုတော့လေတိုးရင်းထားပါတော့ဒီ drum ကြီးကဘာလို့ထည့်တာလဲ
out of the game for a little bit.
Nice juke there of the
Oh,
Bramble.
Flame Nice
Not able to
Dog,
get the connection.
အဲ့လိုဘကာ BKB တို့ပါ
Trying
လို့
to
ပဲမကောင်း
accelerate a bit here to look for an early tower, but does look like XG will be able to get at least an
BKB
exchange.
Taka.
They're going for the push down bottom as well. Good vision as well in these last moments that XG wasn't able to place, so they get to watch where the Storm Spirit is, know where Laurel is. They know that most of that aggression is going to come out from him early, unless they see it's nighttime or the NS pops ult. Most of that early game move is going to be around that storm. They do keep tabs of him with that vision.
နောက်ကပြန်လိုက်လာပြီတင်ကာ
Well,
တင်
so
ကာ
too,
ရော
it
ဓာတ်
can
စီ
be a
ရော
fair bit
နော
of
က်က
damage
တည်းက
if he
ဟုတ်
does
တယ်
get the connection, but not quite able
အ
to
တူ
do that
ကောင်
time.
တွေကဖမ်းရတာအရင်လွယ်တဲ့
Just walking up
တောင်
pretty
တွေ
deep.
ဆိုတစ်ချက်မှလွတ်သွားလို့မရ
That's a fire to help.
တိုင်းဆောက်ကကြောက်တကောင်ချင်း
did try and chase.
ခရီးရိုက်စားနေရကြ
Some
ဘူး
lack
ဆို
of
ကွာ
his
လာ
catch.
ပြီဓာတ်စီရနဲ့
Seeing
အချိန်
at
တန်
least
ထက်ကွာ
for,
သွားမှု
you know,
တော့
for
ရှိတယ်
success in particular.
Huh?
The tanky undying. Not something they want to go for.
Not at all. Not something that nothing to say wants to get involved in either.
No.
And it's this deep on the map.
If he pushes far too bit forward, then they'll probably go for him here, but don't want to waste
အားမ
too
ီ
much
ကေး
time
စစ်
for him
6
here.
ကောင်ရလောက်လား
Game slowing down.
ပစ်ထားတဲ့ဟီးရိုးကတော့လူတက်တဲ့ကောင်ပဲစပတ်တာကြီး
to see if they can
ဒါပေမဲ့တင်ကားတကုံနေပါသွားနေတာဆိုတော့
We got
လက်
another
စစ်တွေက
centaur, I
တင်
believe,
ကားပဲ
right?
ယူ
So they
သွား
did
လောက်
get-
တယ်
They're making sure that they have that
အာမီ
secondary
6កောင်ရ
stun.
ဘူးကလေကိန်းရရင်တော့ဖြစ်ပါတယ်
Not sure what they're going to catch here.
အာလီပိုင်းမေကိန်းမှာ
Maybe they
တင်
get a
ကား
chance
ပဲ
to
ဟီ
take
ရို
out
ကေး
the
စား
smokes
ဖို့က
over
များ
Army.
နေဒါပေမဲ့အာမီက
The
ရီဒီ
damage
ရဲ့
builds up very
ရတော့
quickly
မယ်ကွာ
because
ဟုတ်
they'll
တယ်
have
မ
the double or triple ion shell plus
အဲ့
the
ထဲမှာဘယ်
follow
လောက်လဲ
stun
မသိ
from
ဘူး
the
ဆိုတော့
centaur
2800
with the spirit
တွေ့
breaker.
လိုက်
Collapse seems to know something's up though.
Yeah, I guess they were just trying to be there in case a smoke move came in towards the Spectre, ready to protect Army.
Collapse ကနေစေပဲ
But was
လုံ
it
နေ
the
ပြီ
case?
ဟောင်း နောက်တစ်ခွက်လေးပေါ်တင်တာတဲ့ဗမာတော့ BKB ကဒီကောင်ကတော့နောက်
He's
ပြီ
playing versus the Tinker versus the Darkseer is incredibly good versus honestly even
ဘာ
the
ကြီးတော့
Spirit
လေး
Breaker
ပေါ်
too,
တင်တာ
right?
ဒီကောင်
Those
တင်
have
ကောင်အရင်
turrets.
ဖမ်းနေနေတာအဲ့ဆိုလေ
Not the standard you do see from it so often
ဓ
though.
ကာထဲလေဓကာ BKB လေးဘာလို့လေးပေါ်တင်တာ
And
Why
actually, I'm sorry, really quick. Can we see if XG
Spirit Breaker
building
ဖမ်းနေလို့လားဘယ်လိုမျိုးလဲ
Got to be one.
just the wyvern? Okay, so
Excellent.
yeah. I was
လေး
making
ပေါ်
sure
တင်တာ
that-
ဆိုရင်အိုက်တန်ကတော့ Spirit ကဆောင်းရမ်း
Playing
ကြောက်
versus
တဲ့ထဲမှာ
Night
ပါ
Stalker, playing versus Storm. Oh, he's
ပြိရိ
got
ကအကြောက်ဆုံး
benefits.
အိုက်တန်
And yeah, he's pretty much
သူက
got-
level
he's
2
getting
path
pretty
လည်း
close
ပြု
to
တ်တယ်
finished.
charge လည်းထောက်လို့မရ
Okay,
ဘူး
nighttime is
အဲ့
gonna
အို
hit
က်တန်
again.
အဲ့တ
The
ကွက်တော့ရှိ
Spirit want to look to make an aggressive move or
I feel
not
like
because it's
they've
slowing
got to,
down.
right? Yeah, this is. I mean, you can't help but feel that XG are feeling kind of.
အေးဓကာကုံသွားပြီဓကာကုံသွားပြီကောင်းတယ်ကွာဟိုကောင်ဓကာဒီဓကာလမ်းကြောင်းပျောက်တဲ့အချိန်ကိုအေးဆေးဆောင်သွားဘာလို့မပျောက်တဲ့အချိန်လုံးရင်ဒီကောင်ဂုံးမတက်
It's
သွား
a
ဘူး
pretty efficient one too. Arcane Rune.
ကောင်းတယ်နော်
Overall does
စိတ်ရှိ
have
လက်ရှိ
advantage
ပဲ
to
ထိုင်ဆောင်
continue
လိုက်တယ်
with
အာမီ
another
ရှော့
move.
over the
ဝင်
mid.
လာပြီဒါအရင်ကတ်လို့မရဘူး Winter Cast
Kept a nice level. We'll get off the ultimate.
ရတော့ရပါ
The curse. Corner brace as well. Try and
But
buy a bit more
counter
time. Actually,
again,
just watching from the
form
side,
of
see if
Pillar.
there's a chance to do
Yeah, like-
anything here, but no, won't be the case. Tombstones drop down. They don't want to fight into it.
Whoops, he also accidentally walked into a bramble there. Collapse with this nighttime.
Nice
Looking
hit
for
the-
more.
Put the wall down. That's true, not me. I mean, in any of these sort of plays where they're finding a trade, XG, I'll be okay with that.
They don't lose the tower either. Oh, and he actually is able to get the rune as
yeah.
well. Nothing to say. Confidently blinking forward.
ရှက်လည်းရှိနေပြီကွာနသိန်းသူစေးကတကုံရဲ့ရှက်ကဲဓကာရဲဆိုတော့တင်ကာကိုဒုက္ခပေးလို့ရတယ်ဟိုတင်ကာကတော့ဖြစ်တယ်စောင်းပြိုဒုက္ခပေးလို့တော့ရအောင်
He is still.
အနေနဲ့နည်းများ
Full 2.5 or almost 3 levels.
တယ်ရူမီဝါလည်းသေဖို့များတယ်
Sure
ကွာ
does farm at absurd paces, of course, but
ရာတူကမန်တာစတိုင်ရင်ဆက်ထား
What do you imagine the timing is going to be for Yatoro on the drought? Like, when is he going to look to try and get more proactive with the pushing with the team? Like, how early can he start to
I think now he can.
step forward with them?
I think Manta, and even if he can
That's
get to the pike, it's an amazing pike game.
Sure.
Playing versus the Spirit Breaker, playing versus the Spectre, being able to distance them from yourself. But I think Spirit overall, you know, we are indicating and saying a bunch of things about like timing. Spirit is a team that usually doesn't feel like timing team either.
They are a team that kind of makes the late game work with lineups that you don't
ဒီလောက်
always
နဲ့
expect.
အားမရအောင်
And
တော့
into
စပရစ်
matchups
နည်းနည်း
that
ဖိ
you
ဖို့
don't
တော့
always
လိုသလား
expect.
လို့
You know, a lot of teams, they wouldn't want to do a drown to a
အောက်ချောက်
Spectre
ပြန်
in
ဖမ်း
a
နေတယ်
60-minute
ကွာ
game.
ပပတာကိုအချိန်ပြန်
Probably
ပေး
one of
နေ
the
တာ
carries that says, hey, easy.
There's
I'll do it.
possibilities. Yeah, just got to itemize. And he is farming, honestly, like look at the difference between him and the Spectre, right? Like, yes, the
အဓိကဒီကောင်လည်းမစ်တာဝမယူနိုင်သေးလို့မစ်တာဝမယူနိုင်သေးတော့ဒီရန်ကယ်တွေတဲကိုဝင်ဖို့က
The lead
That
he
is a
has
lot.
right now
အ
is
ရမ်းမလွယ်ဘူး
pretty
ဖြစ်တယ်အေး
impressive.
ဟုတ်ပြီ
And Ame is
Oh,
not
vi.
really getting too
Bounce
much
rate.
freedom.
Now these are
အော်
big
ဝင်းတာကက်စီကကောင်းသွားပြီအောင်အေး
Gives
သေ
Army
ပြီ
the
လား
chance
ရု
to live. In fact, the chance to turn.
တင်ကာကြီးရောက်လာရုတင်မိသွားပြန်
Great positioning there.
And they have to come in with this, as you say. Arme still trying to find
ဘ
that
က်အာမီ
radius
ကိုဖိတ်
timing.
စားနေပြီ
XG have to keep him alive, allow him to get to that point. He's very close, just a few hundred gold off it, and then that will be obviously the pickup that does give him the chance to start closing that gap in net worth between him and the drought.
They're looking for him again. He is far forward. There's no curse this time. There's going to be the embrace.
If they can save him a second time.
ဟုတ်ပြီ
Vortex
တင်ကာ
comes
တင်
in,
ကာ
nothing
တင်
to
ကာ
say,
ရောက်လာ
got
ပြီ
it across.
Cancel.
Arme.
ဟုတ်တယ်
Oh,
ဟုတ်တယ်
the cold embrace.
Yo,
Not
they
enough to
were,
save him,
yeah.
not me. Finishes him off.
တင်ကာမစင်းလာရဲ
Doesn't
တော့
say
ဒီ
made
ဘ
the
က်
call, that- never mind.
3အောင်လောက်ပြလိုက်
Right?
တော့
He was TPing in. They popped the glyph.
I mean,
Sure,
that one definitely hurts, right? They did everything they could to save Arme the first time. Gets a little too confident, feeling that the team can bail him out a second time. They couldn't.
He's especially the position where he is.
He
So
pushed
he's
forward pretty deep.
super deep there.
That's one of those times where you save your carry and you're like, we saved him. Great, he's not going to go there.
Huh?
He
ဘာ
went
ဖြစ်
there.
သွားအကုန်ထိုးထဲလိုက်တာ
Nothing to say,
ရှော့
though.
သွား
He's like, don't worry, I'll make up for it. Level 16.
န
and
သိ
a
န်းသူ
half.
စေးကျန်းနေပြီနသိန်းသူစေး
Pretty
ကျန်းနေ
wild. Yeah, it's insane how much solo.
ကြာချောင်းရ
experience
တော့
this
မှာ
year
ကွာ
gets.
အဲ့လောက်မ
Still-
လို့
still
တော့
surprising.
ကြာချောင်းရကို2000လောက်ပဲလို့တော့
Yeah, super fast levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, XPM's going to be very, very
ပြဿနာ
high.
တွေစတက်ပါပြီလို့
800. 250 ahead of the next almost. That's pretty nuts.
အဲ့လောက်ဆိုရင် duration over ပြီကွာနော်။တော့မစ်တာအောင်ဥဒတိမရသေးတော့
a lot of different reasons that it can't have that benefit.
Lucian တွေပါတွေကလည်းလောက်အောင် duration က over သွားလောက်ပြီ
And yeah, this is probably one of the slowest Radiants I think I've seen from a Spectre, Owen.
Well, yeah,
it's almost 20 minutes.
You've not seen mine, but
I have. I think you've gotten faster. No, I thought I mean, he's getting pressure. He's 0-3.
Yeah, they're going for him. They're making it very tough for him. But as you say, nothing to say. He's sort of holding the team together with how good of a game he's having. And of course, the XXS Darkseer not too far behind him.
Position fight.
Get the chance to make the jump.
Laurel still continuing to get all these kills too unstoppable.
Coming in with a horn.
Oh yeah, မစိုးတွေ့ရောတင်ကအောင်မိသွားပြီ
Let's see if they can find the drow. The illusions.
He's taking
him
down. drow လဲချောသွားပြီကွာ
Do lose nothing to say.
အဂျားထဲမှာအယုတ်တင်ကအယုတ်တွေနဲ့နားနေတာနော်ဒီကောင်လေး
strong here as they bring down FY. Can they chase and dive for Arme? I think they can.
Arme are
really
Arme.
They went all in
ပိုင်းပြန်ရောက်သွားပြီအရှောတယ်ဗျာ
but it
ဒါ
monster
key
their entire team. Oh sorry. XG. Everybody's dead. I mean, Arme, he wanted to go for this kill on Yatoro. They get it, but
ဒီကဝင်တော့တက်နေတဲ့အချိန်မှာအနောက်မှာ Roin ကိုလုံ
He's up to 14. And they get the Tinker kill as well too. And as we said, he's kind of a pinata to pop with all those levels. They get an insane amount of XP.
အဲ့ဂျားထဲမှာ Soundfit ကသူ့ကိုထိမ့်မဲ့ disable မရှိဘဲနဲ့အရင်ကနေလွတ်ထွက်
old school mechanic thing that I was trying to remember about here too is this tombstone.
ဒီအောက်မှာအဲ့ချိန်မှာ drawing ကြာဝင်လုံးတယ်သူတို့ဝင်တော့တက်ပြီးတဲ့အချိန်မှာ drawing ကြာမှာမိနေ
yeah, the tombstone's very strong.
drawing ကြာသွေးတော့လောက်အကျိုးသွားပြီအမှ
They did get the connection there and Yatoro
ပြောဝေါ်နဲ့အပြစ်ခံလိုက်ရတာဝေါ်နဲ့ဝေါ်ရီရောဟိုဟာရီရောစပတာရီရော
to clean up the tombstone. We mentioned
ကျွန်တော် play လောက်ထည့်တာမဆို
It is. Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to touch it.
0 attacks. So that's going to happen quite a lot in this game.
Yeah. No real way to deal with it. Arme not able to get out at the end there alive. It's super tough to fight into.
Yep.
You know, again, feeling that sort of difference. And honestly, it was very close to not even getting the drow kill. If XXS didn't get the wall down and get that illusion of Yatoro would have got out.
Maybe. တကုံကလည်းမာထူးတယ်
enough has a couple bracers to his name but fully ganked out here.
Yatoro, next fight, he should have the Hurricane Pike. So with that taken into account, it's not going to be as simple for Arme to just kind of jump in with the horn.
But Arme also now has the Radiance.
He does.
A lot stronger in comparison to what he was, but it's quite slow. He's still behind the offlaners by a decent margin here. Well, the Night Stalker in particular. Darkseer, you're always going to be behind until super late. Another Arcane rune. Laurel's getting, I want to say, like 90% of these power runes as well.
Hey, Hobie.
Got the setup, and as always, not me's there ready to help out. Nothing to try and bail him out.
No, Winda
alone. So Lal, godlike here, 904.
ရှိတော့ရှိနေ Winda အနားမှာဒီတစ်ခါနည်းနည်းနောက်ကျ
And once again, Spirit able to take Arme out of the action.
အတင်က level 18 ဆိုတော့
styling on Laurel.
ကိုလူတွေရဲ့ခေါင်းပေါ်ကို TV ကြလို့ရအောင်ဆရာကြီးဖြစ်သွားပြီ
It's just you're really seeing him just able to get in and out of the fights constantly. Extra
Yeah,
damage
yeah,
coming in. They do now have that Ags on the Tinker. So I mean, nothing to say. He's honestly the real carrier, and it tends to be the case when he's playing his Tinker. But yeah, Ame's level 12, Drow now level 16. Nothing to say 18.
Yeah, that's
it's a rare.
Level 1 AOE อ่ะဟိုဖြစ်သွားတာနော်ရှာဖြစ်သွားတာနော်
Than Ame.
Yeah, I mean, Nobby's been turning up for all these great plays, right?
Nice ကပြကြတော့ဘာဖြစ်သွားလဲအော်
17 of the 20 kills.
6
Another one here for Lal to get involved with him and Yatoro.
လာဘီယွန်ကိုလိုက်ဟုတ်တယ်ဗျာတကောင်မှမသိသေးဘူး
They can go for here.
ကဲလုံးပြနေပြီ
So this actually catches XT probably pretty off guard.
လုံးမလားမလုပ်ဘူးတဲ့ရာဒူရတ်ဖမ်းမယ်
Not popping Ascension.
It's a little risky though because Horn is back up. So XT could still bring together some sort of play around the Roche pit, and they're going to have the curse back up in 20 seconds with the Wyvern.
Maybe they wanted bigger kill than the Wyvern before they just commit into a Roshan because they can't kill it pretty safe with the Undying.
Yeah, I think it's just that the team fight from XG is still pretty formidable, right? They've got some great combos.
Always with the Darkseer, especially when he's got the Blink, he's got Shivas. That vacuum, it will connect on at least like 2-3 heroes every time now with the AoE.
ရာဒူရကဘာမှမဟုတ်အဲ့ဝေါ်ကိုရှောင်းနေရ
now for the storm as well.
ဟိုကောင်ဆွဲစုတဲ့တဲ့ပါမသွားရင်ကိုရ
Difficult to see how they
ဟော
bring
ဒါ
down
ကရှိပါကနဲ့ဆွဲစုမှာဆို
Yeah,
တော့
he has to make a big
တောင်ဖို့ကတော့
mistake.
ခက်တယ်
Yeah.
BKB
So
ထည့်
far,
ထား
it's
မှာ
not
ပဲ
shown
ရ
any sign of making any mistakes this game, Lyle.
ရာတူတို့ကဒီပွဲ
Flawless
လို
gameplay so
လို
far.
ရာရမ်းများတယ်
If he gets
shadow blade လေးက
cursed,
လည်း
right
လို
next to the
တယ်
drow, then they can get the
စပါတာ
setup,
လိုက်
but
ခွင့်
that's
ပြေးလို့ရအောင်
rare to see.
Nice
အေး
success.
အဲ့ဒီကောင်ကြီးအရင်မိသွား
He
ကောင်းတယ်
went for the rune.
ဟုတ်တယ်
And he's going to regret that.
အဲ့ကောင်အရင်ရသွား
This
ကောင်း
is- This is an outrageous Storm Spirit performance.
I guess that's the funny thing as well. On the other side of
We
things,
shall
it's
only
also
have-
a pretty
allow the
outrageous
second
team
lead there.
performance. It's
It
just
is.
a lot harder for Nothing to Say to sort of have the impact at this stage of the game as the Storm is, even though he has this insane amount of levels. And, you know, he's doing everything, more than everything possible. You know, he's doing everything on this Tinker. Just at the moment in this game, it's just not enough against how much Lyle can do as a Storm.
And he's much more vulnerable, right? If Nothing to Say steps out of position for a second, he's probably just dead. If the Storm steps out of position, he's like, you guys have no stuns. I can just zip away.
Yeah, they'll give the Aegis to Yatoro. You know, Lyle doesn't need it.
Yeah. Even though he is like the best Aegis carrier, that's how confident.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some really nice placement. Spirit. Now they have
ဒါက
Blink
ပါ
as
လာ
well
ပြီ
too,
ဆရာကြီးက
on
အခုမှ
collapse,
ဒါ
so
ကထည့်တယ်
bypassing
ဗျာ
the front line, getting
BKB
into
က
the
လည်း
back
လို
line
သေး
versus
တ
the
ယ်
Wyvern and the Tinker.
ဒီ
Now
ဘော
an
တင်
easier
နိုင်
option for him.
ပိတ်ထည့်တာ
They're looking pretty lax this game, Spirit. Looking pretty
မန်နာတော့တော်
comfortable
တော်
as
လောက်
the
တယ်
game
ကွာလီဝေါ်တင်
progresses,
တာနဲ့
even though they are into this
အိုင်
spec
ညာ
here.
တော့မဟုတ်ခရစ်ဆောင်စားလို့ကောင်း
His farm is just
It's
that slow.
yeah,
on
လီဝေါ်
top
တင်
of it.
တာရဲ့ရှကဲ
those kind of, what, 3
အဲ့တော့ nice ဆောင်ကနောက်ဘောကအဆိုးပြောရမယ်စပတ်တာအပေါ်ရောက်
Get out and catch him works out very well for Spirit. Slowing Arme down.
It's shocking that he's still just trying to build toward this Manta style. Without the Manta, he's still very vulnerable as well. And always during this nighttime, you can kind of see that the way that they show on the map. No one on XG wants to show on a creep wave, really. It's very dangerous for them to do so.
No, especially with this blink coming out for a collapse. You know, so many ways for Team Spirit to get the jump.
And when you're the team,
အော်
when
ရာ
you're
တို့
playing
က
with,
လင်းကင်း
you know,
သွား
you
နေ
have
တာ
Darkseer, Spirit
ဆရာ
Breaker, you have like tons of global
ဆရာဘာလို့လဲ
ways to play
အော်
around.
စပရိတ်က
If people
ထောက်
are
တာ
split up
နဲ့
and you're the one
အာ
scared
နေ
to,
ဆိုတော့
says a lot.
အဲ့စပရိတ်ကထောက်တာပြဿနာအရန်မဟုတ်သေးဘူးနော်ဒီချိန်က
I really like this Yule's pickup.
တို့
honestly.
ဓာတ်စီက
It's not
အဲ့
the
လို
most
ခြိပါကက်ကြီး
naturally
နဲ့
Night Stalker,
ပုတ်
but
ပြီး
you
တော့
definitely
ဝင်
see
ဆွဲ
all the
သွားမှာ
reasons
အဲ့ဒါ
for
ပဲ
it.
ကြောက်ရမှာဘယ်ကွန်ဝေါ်အဲ့တဲကနေသူတေချာလေး survive ဖြစ်နိုင်မှရမှာ
That's the thing with the Spirit Breaker.
ဗတ်တဲတဲမှာ straight ကသူ့ကိုထောက်လို့မလွယ်ဘူးသူ
any
မှာ
real way
silent
to
ပါ
hunt for kills themselves actually. It's kind of just a
Linking
game
armor
of waiting for
bay,
Spirit to come to
ooh,
them and
linking.
then hoping that Nothing to Say and XXS can sort of
အဲ့
set up
agent
a
9မိနစ်ရတာတော့လေ
defensive
ဒီ
team
ကောင်
fight
Yep.
to allow Arme to keep this game
Linking free
going
တစ်ခွက်တော့
and,
ဖမ်းလို့
catch
ရ
back
ပါ
up in this.
It is
Oh, the
quite
3 minute
difficult for them
jam,
to find
Aegis.
any of these connections. And into Aegis, we're seeing Spirit really put the pressure
ငင်းရ
on.
ပါ
If
ပြီ
they're
โอเค
looking
နောက်
for
ထပ်
these tier
3မိနစ်
twos,
ဖိုးဒီ
looking to
ကောင်
shrink
အဲ့
the
ချိန်မှာ
map
BKB
even more
ရှာလို့တော့
for
ရ
Arme.
လောက်တယ် BKB ရှာရင်လည်းရှာမရှာရင်လည်း Hero Blade ပေါ့
And overall, yeah, the drow, like if you are this ahead on a drow versus the Spectre,
ညာတို့က
that
BKB
matchup
သွားဖို့
is
စိတ်
bad.
ကူးမရှိဘူး
Start itemizing, you can either go
You
for
got
your
it,
silver
ပုံစံ
edges
ကြည့်ရ
and whatnot to just
Oh yeah.
flavor.
လက်စီအောင်ထင်သေးထားတယ်ဒီ
Beautiful,
ကောင်
full item over a full item ahead.
အနေအနေ
In
အဲ့
this
ဒါ
matchup here, Yatoro versus Arme.
And he's
The
gone
fuse
tower to
အကြီး
tower.
နဲ့
He's
Shadow
gonna
Blade
get
နဲ့
that
နှစ်
much
ကွက်
more
ထဲ
from
ဖို့
himself
လုပ်
and his team.
ပုံမှန် nice တော့ကဟုတ်တယ်မိသွားပြီမိသွားပြီ
See
Spectre
Arme
ရောက်လာ
come
တယ်
across to try and
BKB နဲ့
stop them from
BKB
getting
နဲ့
the kill. They'll come in with
ဟုတ်တယ်
BKB
အားမေပါရလောက်တယ်
Arme.
Nothing to say
Ui.
off. They might just get Arme on top of it. And they will.
Okay
Well, continuing to dominate this
22
game.
လာရဲ့ဟိုဘာလဲ Mana Reader stack က22အိုးကောင်းလိုက်တယ်
Fear Not Me gets all three of them
They are right,
perfectly
yeah,
around
yeah.
the edge of the fear to ensure that Yatoro on the second life, he's perfectly fine.
And teams
ဟိုလီဘော
connecting.
ထပ်တင်လာတယ် nice ကဝင်လာပြီဟုတ်တယ်ပြစ်ချက်နှစ်ချက်
Let it go the way
Oh,
of
yeah,
Yatoro
oh, dear,
on top
yeah.
of it. I mean, yeah, Not Me
Yeah,
on this.
yeah,
We're seeing some of
yeah.
the teams
Catalan
bring the Willow
Catalan
back in.
no
It's
me lo
looking great. And in some of these Willow players' hands,
ငါကတော့မရ
it's
တော့သေး
looking
ဘူးတင်
pretty
ကားစက္ကန့်40ပဲ
unbelievable.
ဆိုတော့
He's
Let him
everywhere.
look.
Like every time you look
Yep.
for a play that's happening, he's there. Anytime you see them setting up a play, he's there to
And
see.
he's always hitting multiple heroes with his brambles, and with these fears. He doesn't miss here. Not me.
Now,
အာ
Spurs
ချ
play
လေ
is-
split
it's
ချရတာ
beautiful to watch how
1.9
they're everywhere,
Game
right?
one,
They're
game one
top,
ပြောတာ
they're mid, they're bottom, they instantly
Game one
are
draft အရင်ကြိုက်
literally
လို့
collapsing with him as well.
Yeah.
အောက်ကလည်း
this is the thing.
1.9 ပေးနေရောမျက်လုံးမိတ်ပြီး
You
တော့
have
ပြ
to
စ်ထည့်
start
တာ
still to pick. You know, they talked obviously about the fact that there is this essence distiller that can be incredibly potent against him and use a lot of his powers against himself. It doesn't really matter though when the team's this far ahead. Like, who cares if they see you all if you're killing them all?
No, and collapses. He's literally only died the once. The way that he's playing, he's just not giving them these opportunities to set up.
No.
And XG, you can see they're scared. They're scared to look for these plays with their globals now at this point, because Ame just he turns up and dies as well too. He's not getting that extra farm. Another jump.
Collapsed. He's in here with not me.
Ame.
Yours control onto Ame for now. Not me just being annoying here.
တိုင်းလည်းမိထားတယ်
Spectre into the brambles. I mean, not me just toying with them, buying time for the rest of Team Spirit to come in.
ရှီဘာကနေဟိုမှာဝင်လာပြီးအာမေရင်ချောသွားပြီကွာ
Ame's gone low, beyond godly, like as he continues this streak.
ထက်ချလို့မရတော့ဘူးမှာဝေါ်ကြီးတားလာတယ်ဟိုမှာ nice တော့ကရှော့တော့
Still surviving, finally goes down. Nomi has to go for the BKB TP out. XXS is going to get left behind. It's a triple kill for Lal. 4 dead on XG.
They're just cleaning up. Yatoro and Laurel just killing absolutely everybody there. They,
Ah,
as you said, they barely even get collapsed at the end of it all. Like, Ame,
ဘာမှမသိသေးဘူးနော်လာပွဲစားပွဲ
he was
ဆော
just like, "Ah, screw it, I'm dead."
ဒီစေးပဲမပါတာကြောင့်လည်းပါတယ်ဒါဘာပဲပြောပြောသူလုံးဝမသိအောင်စော်ပေးနေဒီဘက်ဒီစေးပဲလုံးဝမပါဘူးစောင်းပြထိန်ဖို့
You know, you're getting ganked, you get multiple times. You know, it seems to be impossible for him to find a safe space to farm this game.
probability 73
Spirit
တော့ရှိ
keep
သေးတယ်
finding him.
And honestly, not me, like you said. He just toyed with him in that fight, right?
Yeah, this is
Gets the pollen bag on him. You
တက်မှာတော့မဟုတ်ဘူး
controls
next
him,
solution
gets him in
စောင့်
multiple
မရ
brambles, and then
next
Ame's
solution
like,
စော
"What
င့်
am I
ပြီး
doing
အေးစစ်
here?"
တက်
Some really
next
nice
solution
play.
သိမ
Spirit
လို့
just
တော့
with that
2 မိနစ်
Aegis.
လောက်ပဲ
They get Aegis, they win like what? They get 4 or 5 kills, they take tier 2 bottom, tier 2 mid, tier 2 top, as methodical as you could kind of say it, right? Very scripted how Spirit's playing. 30 kills at 30 minutes, Laurel untouched.
Not me. Easing around with nothing to say.
အေး free game
Felt that
free
he'd have a
game ရ
chance
အောင်
to
အေး
get out. He did not. Lal and Yatoro surround him. FI tries to get not me.
ရတော့လို့ရတော့လို့သေးပြီလား
Yatoro?
They're looking for Yatoro. They'll get the bash and the charge in onto him. So this time, XG not going away empty-handed. Ame also being the one to get that kill
I don't know,
against
maybe I'm not done
Yatoro.
yet.
Very important for him to get this. Game was starting to get incredibly one-sided. They were literally finding like almost
ဟိုကောင်နေ
nothing
တိုင်းတကယ်
on the
ပတ်
side
နေ
of
အ
XG,
န်ဟင်း
finally
တိုင်း
able to punch back.
ဟေးအန်ဟင်းတိုင်းလည်းတိုင်းပတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်
Tinker, right? When you're playing
တိုင်
with
ကို
the
လည်း
Storm, it's still the same thing as the old times.
ဟိုကလုံးလို့မရဘူး
BKB for an instant
တိုင်
stun,
ကိုလည်းချိုးလို့မရဘူး
immediately just flies out of nowhere and
အ
catches.
တင်ကာဆိုဟီရိုကသိရတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲစပယ်ကစတာလေ
Yeah, Ame
ပြင်ဓာတ်စီယာကလည်း
able to get involved.
A
ဟို
little
လိုက်
bit
ပုတ်တဲ့
of
ကောင်ဟို
something. That's something.
အတက်ကောင်မဟုတ်ဘူး
BKB also
ကျ
finished
န်တဲ့
up
စ
with
ပူ
the
တာတွေ
Spirit
ဝေးလာဝေး
breaker. Little something extra
sound
for
fit
Wally
တဲ့
as
ဒီ
well.
ပဲမရှိတာတကြောင်အန်ဟင်းတိုင်ရတကြောင်အမနှစ်ကြောင်ဖြစ်နေဘယ်ဘယ်တဲ့ဆိုင်ရဖြစ်တယ်လေ
BKB now for collapse as well. Multiple different ways to save Rue.
တေးပြီလား
Tinker's coming in. They want to try and help him out. They won't be able to save him. Rue goes down. XXS gets the vacuum wall down onto collapse.
Oh, yeah.
Lal, he just goes straight into the midst of them all. They'll put the BKB.
That's why
They'll
BKB
look
ne
over
ha.
towards the backlines. Try and get rid of the rival first. Go Scepter buys some safety here for X-Nova, but he will not be able to get over the tree line. X-Nova goes down. They do lose collapse.
တင်ကာထွက်လာပြီတင်ကာထွက်လာပြီလိုက်လို့မရဘူးလိုက်လို့မရဘူး
On his own will not have enough damage, surely.
အာမီက
No,
တေတော့
he
တေကန်
delays
နေလေ
it
ဒါပေမဲ့
quite
အာမီကိုဝင်တတ်
well.
ရင်ဆောင်းဆွဲကသူတေသွားလောက်တယ်
Keep
Oh.
Ame alive this
လောက်တော့
time.
Nice little plays there, XG. Striking back, forcing a buyback even from Rue, as we see there. Starting to get the ball rolling, starting to get these kills for Ame. The levels are starting to come in for him, which are very important. Up to 19 now.
Definitely starting to see signs of a bit of a swing back in XG's favor. Still going to take a few more mistakes. Tron Spirit to sort of allow Spirit, but allow XG to kind of get that lead.
Next most important thing is going to be contesting that Roche. If XG can somehow get that Roche or steal the Aegis away from them, would be massive.
BKB ရလာပြီနော်ပြဿနာတော့ရှိတယ် Axi ကလည်း BKB ရတော့မှာ Street ကလည်း BKB နဲ့တင်ကာ BKB အဲ့တော့ BKB 3ကောင်
Straight up 5v5 engagements, if they do have those numbers there, they
BKB
can't
ရသွား
take
ရင်
those
အဲ့
fights rallied around the dark sphere if they get the
ပါလေ
connections.
Terrorize ကြီးက
Ame just can't start the
ဘာမှလုပ်
fights.
ပေးလို့မရ
Tinker
တော့
comes solo
အခု
at the start of these
ပြဿနာ
fights.
တက်နေတာအဲ့ Terrorize ကြောင့်လည်းပါ
It's going to have to be
ပြစ်ထဲလိုက်ရင်အကုန်လုံးကားတိုက်
Torres positioning in these fights is now with the Silver Edge pretty much done. Yeah, there it is.
ဒီပါ
So,
okay
having a further answer here to the Spectre. of
ရတော့သူ
Ame
နားလဲ
using
သွားပြီ
kind of
BKB
clean
ထောက်နေ
entrance and
BKB လိုအပ်တယ်
return to the fight.
ဒီပွဲကအဲ့ဓာတ်စီယာဝေါ်တဲ့ကိုမပါသွားဘူးအရေးကြီးရဆိုတော့သူခုနားလဲသွားပြီ BKB သွားဖို့လုပ်နေပြီကောင်းလေးနောက်ပြီးတော့သူတကယ်ပြစ်နေတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အနေထားမှာ Winter Gas ကို
Killing it the
မ
best.
ကြောက်ရဘူးကွာ BKB ပါရင်
Slowly but surely
မဟုတ်ရင်
taking down shot goes the way of X-Nova.
Winter Gas လာလာထောက်
Big
သွားရင်သူ
TP
တိုင်
out
ပတ်သွား
immediately. Dangerous position to be that low.
Okay
But it's
Roshan
a 7K kind of swingish or 6K in the last few minutes. does mean that the Roche is probably left open for Spirit to get. I don't know if XG makes
အဲ့
it in
ကြောက်
time
နေတယ်
now.
မလုပ်ဘူးစမုတ်သွားပြီ
They're getting a little scared though.
Yeah, Spirit
Wait, what
expect
the
that
fuck?
some sort of team fight is going to be heading their way. They know that all the ultimates
ဟိုဘက်က
are up
ရူ
from
ရှန်ပေး
XG.
ထားတာနော်
They might catch them off guard because XG might think that they're finishing that Roche and they might just get caught because of this movement. Maybe that's what Spirit's trying to set up for here. Smoking themselves, walking out. They're gonna go into him.
အော်ဟုတ်တယ်မိသွားပြီ terrorize ကောင်းသွားပြီဗျာဒါခတ်တာ BKB နဲ့
Just got the BKB off first. Heads in
ဝင်တာ
forward, trying to
ဝင်တာ
find
ကိုရင်
some
သက်
sort
ဟုတ်
of
ပြီဝင်တာရသွားပြီ
Curse
Catsလည်းမရှိတော့ဘူး
locks down Lava, not for
ဒီ
long
မှာ
enough.
အာမေ
Got
သွေး
the
တော့
BKB off.
တိုင်နဲ့
Taking
တိုင်နဲ့
out
ဝင်သွားတယ်
Xtreme.
nice ကောတိုင်နဲ့သွင်းမိလိုက်တယ် you
Shredded by
အ
Yatoro.
ကုန် you
He tries to turn up to the fight, but now at this point, Yatoro with the silver
Hey, oh,
and easy
yeah.
enough damage to clean up the Spectre with no questions asked. XXS takes
And
him down.
I,
They don't get
yeah,
anyone.
and
The
I,
tombstone
yeah.
save coming in clutch
Ah,
there
yo,
from Rune
blue
to keep
pile.
Collapse alive.
Just super heads up, right? They probably
တကယ်အရေးအကြောင်းဆိုအဲ့လိုကြီးတိုင်နဲ့ဝင်သွားတယ်ဘာမှလုပ်လို့မရတော့ဘူး
and they catch the perfect target, right? They catch the
They are sure.
Wyvern on the front line, gets the curse off, but it's on a single target. Don't have the rest of the follow up, and Ame just gets evaporated. Yatoro, I believe, gets the silver edge hit onto him. Rue?
ဟို nice ကောဟိုဘက်အသေးအိမ်နေ
Right on the front line. They catch literally the
Yep.
dream.
They didn't expect to sort of find them at this angle and in this position. And you see for a lot of the fight, XXS is
လေးဘောတင်းနဲ့ရလဲသွားဟုတ်တယ်နော်ဘာရင်ညာရင်မဟုတ်
for the vacuum wall.
ဘူးတိုင်နဲ့ရောက်သွားခွဲဆိုပြီးသွားအဲ့မှာအပိုင်းသစ်ဆက်သိ
The damage from Yatoro when he gets that free sort of angle.
အော်လန်ဆာသူ့ကိုယ်သူဘိုင်းတိုင်းအရန်လုံသွားသိလား
Solo.
လေးဘောတင်းနဲ့ 2.5 second ပြီးရင်တိုင်နဲ့ရောက်သွားတယ်အဲ့မှာဟိုဘက်အဲ့နှစ်ကွက်မှာ
Gets 1,000 gold for
Don't
killing
know though.
collapse, but then ends up
လေးဘောတင်း
getting
တိုင်းကဒီချိန်မှာတော့သွားဟုတ်
It's all right. With that Aegis, easily able to buy time.
Late
He
game
has to
sprint
be
နိုင်မှာမ
be
လား
alive.
late
At
game
that point, he's also going to be
အခု late game တော့စတော့ရောက်နေ
very
ပြီ
hard to kill. Not really, for the same reason they don't have the lockdown to stop
ဖြစ်
the storm.
ဖြစ်
They
နိုင်
don't
ပါ
really
တယ်
have the
နိုင်
lockdown to
ပါတ
kind
ယ်
of stop him from getting
ဒီ
the
နေ့က
BKB
စောင်း
off.
စစ်အ
So
ရန်ဖတ်နေတဲ့
this
အတွက်
drought also going to be
နောက်ပိုင်းစောင်းစစ်
super
ဖားပြောင်းနေပါလေ
hard to
ထည့်လိုက်တာ
take
မျိုးလို့ပါလို့ဆိုရင်
the kill
အဲ့
against
လို
the team fights.
And there's
အင်ဒီ
just a
ချိတ်က
lot of
သူတို့က
tension,
ပူ
there's a
ကျ
lot
န်း
of
တယ်ကွာ
problems
စောင်းစစ်
because
ဝင်
the
ချမ်း
Laurels
တာ
honestly
ပူ
caused
ပြီးတော့အဲ့လိုတ
with
ထောင်
how
ပြတ်
big
သွား
he is
ဖို့
this
များ
game.
နေ
Won't be able to steal this one. Not me.
EI ဝင်တာနေကမာ TI ဝင်တာ55စားတဲ့
And not me also considering treating himself to a dagger.
အားပေးပေါ့မဖြစ်နိုင်ဘူးဆိုတော့မရှိပါဘူး
Inching forward, trying to get some information.
They did
Expected
see
the
him.
ward.
Yep.
He's got the blink. He's got the
Hey.
Yules. Doesn't get the Yules off.
Let's see how much time he could sort of buy for himself there. Well, the Shadow Ramen and the blink.
အဲ
And he's still under vision.
အဲ
SB ult.
လေးဘောတင်အာရှောအဲ့ဒီကောင်တိတော့တိသွားမှာသူ့ level စစ်3သွားတာလေကားအောက်ကနေပြီး3သွားဆိုတော့အဲ့နေရာမှာ what ရှိတယ်ဆိုတာတော့တိသွားလောက်
Salme does have the next big pickup. The Scar.
ဓာတ်စပိတ်ကနေလမ်း3သွား
Not really into too much healing, of course, but good versus these ranged heroes. Soul Rip, sure, it'll reduce a little bit of it here, but Laurel 25 has been hit with Conjurer's Catalyst. So the timing, I mean, Laurel, besides already having literally the best game I've seen from him in a long time, one of the best Storm Spirit games, period, he now has the literal best timing too. And Yatoro, the bauble with the attack speed plus range. Ame.
အမေဩဘာလာလို့တာ
will
Yeah,
pop
I
the
also do.
Lincolns away.
Collas ကဘာသွား
Yeah,
နေ
of course,
Collas က
they did point out
lotus
that
of
they did
သွား
give
နေ
the Aegis again to Yatoro,
Okay.
not the Storm, who's beyond godlike, and it's a Storm Spirit.
The light
Ooh, wow,
he's not
that's
going to
all.
die.
Says a lot. Continues to just show that Laurel does not feel the fear.
ကဲ level 25 Storm Spirit ဟဲ့လား
Close to that 25.
Overload
Also
attack
on
bounce
Yatoro.
that bounce ပြီးတော့ shot နဲ့ဆိုရင်တော့ဆရာကြီးပဲရာတူတော့ BKB ကိုဖင်နေထည့်ထားတယ် okay Agent
Notice
2
now
minute
the collapse. A little bit extra protection versus this annoying Tinker. Tinker hates to play versus two of these items, and it's Yules and Lotus in particular.
Difficult game for
Oh.
nothing to say.
Cool. Goes for this Krullas.
အဲ့ဒါဆိုရဒါဘာကြီးလဲလေးဘောတင်တာအကြီး
Extra
လား
protection
အမဟုတ်
for
ဘူးအဲ့ဒါ
himself
ဘာ
as
ကြီးလဲ
well too.
အဲ့ဒါမ
But
သိဘူး
still, as we're seeing, it's hard for them to make these kind of like individual plays. He's going to go for a
I'll
Hex
hit it,
Nex.
Aiden,
It's really just the Spirit Breaker who can make these plays, as we're seeing still.
Can they buy themselves enough time? XG. Spirit looking pretty unstoppable right now.
And Laurel just hunting. He's looking for something. He wants to catch somebody with this Catalyst. He's going to be doing so much damage in these fights. Darkseer now, Aghanims is finished up, so extra little bit
Darkseer,
here
yeah,
for success to
yeah.
get on top of the Drow.
အဲ့ကောင်အနေများတယ် drawing ကြောင့်အဲ့ကောင်အနေပေးမှာပြေးထိုးတာကြီးပါလေ ဘောတွေ
Left on the Aegis.
drawing ကြာသူ့ hero သူ့ပြန်ပြစ်မှာပဲကြောက်အောင်
God, that was
ကန်တာမကြောက်အောင်
dangerous. Might
စပက်တာကိုလည်းအဲ့လောက်မကြောက်အောင်
FY.
သူ့အတူတူကိုပြန်ပြစ်သွားရင်ရှောပါ
They
အဲ
catch
မြင်သွားပြီ
some
မြင်သွားပြီ
vision,
ကောင်း
they
လေး
do.
BKB TP လို့တော့ရတယ်
BKB will not save him. No way to get out.
ဟုတ်ရော TP မရှိဘူးထင်တယ်
And even more kiting, right? If he gets to the disperser as well, too, Yatoro's going to
တင်းကြောင်
have so
ကြီး
many ways to
healing shot ရဲ့
reset,
item
get in and out of the
ဩ
fights.
E-blade လိုမျိုးနောက်ထပ်အစိမ်းကြောင်အကြီးတစ်ခု
Might make a
အဲ့
bit
ဒါ
of
အခု
nothing
မှ
to
သိရတယ်
say, but no,
လောက်တော့ဒူတာကိုလွတ်နေ
get
လေ
out immediately.
You can look at the way that they're playing. Everyone's in the base on the side of XG. They're terrified. They're just trying to force these waves out, trying to get some extra, but Spirit really limiting what
ပတ်
they
တာလည်း
can do.
BKB စသွားနေ
Okay, Age is going to get reclaimed. Spirit Breaker respawning. See what XG wants to do.
Arme queuing up the BKB, very much feeling that that
ဒီ item လေးကတော့ supporter တွေလုံးဝထည့်သင့်တဲ့ item လေးဟိုဟာ
get involved in and have some
vision
sort of
ပေးတယ်
chance
အဲ့ဒါလေး
against the silence and control.
winter ထည့်ထားတဲ့ဟာလေးမိုက်တယ်
Spirit.
Daytime for a few moments, so Spirit kind of just chill, but XG still, they really can't get outside too effectively here.
They're terrified.
They really are.
They are continuing to just sort of hover right outside the base. They'll leave the base now.
Spirit
As a unit.
Spirit starting to maybe discuss these other items as well too. We see, I think, the Lotus for the Willow as well now starting to get queued up.
Okay, and actually
Bash?
getting the Basher a little early in the build, right? So opting away from the BKB, looking for something a
Bash.
bit more on the offensive.
More greed. Something to go through these BKBs as well to maybe get that extra lucky catch.
Sure. I mean, they need the lockdown.
They
You
need
know,
it for Laurel.
You get a few
Yes.
bashes on Laurel, maybe they'll do it. Yeah, and indeed the Abyssal eventually. So between that, if they get the Abyssal on the Spectre and the Hex on nothing to say,
Then they
do
can
start
go.
to have those answers.
Yeah. Laurel?
အေးတော်တော်လေးတယ်ရော smoke break
Has a
သွား
lot
ပြီ
of
ကောင်းသွား
regen,
ပြီ
so it's
အဲ့
gonna come back very quickly here.
ပြန်လိုက်လို့ရပြီဒီကောင်းကြီး
Is that disperser?
ရာတူရူကလည်း item 6ခွက်အပြည့် disperser ပဲရသွားပြီခဏတော့မရှိတော့ဘူး
Continue to be about 10k ahead of the farm of Arme Spectre.
Pretty wild. Next rush again, right? 1 minute. Spirit perhaps chilling until they do that, have that, because Collapse also getting close to another very big item. Actually probably has it if he sells the drums away.
Nullifier ဟိုတင်ကအစိမ်းချောင်းကိုဖြတ်ဖို့
Should do so here.
Nullifier စ
Swap.
သွားနေပြီ Okay ရတော့မယ်
Finished up, and that's going to make
တောင်းဆွေလည်း
the Tinker's
Nullifier လား
game
မ
a
သိ
lot
ဘူး
harder. The
ဝါဖို့
Wyvern's
တည်
game incredibly difficult. X-Nova's positioning is going to have to be pretty much perfect in these fights.
တောင်းဆွေစိမ်းချောင်းတို့
Really
ဟိုဟာ
protect
ပေါ့
yourself
winter
against
အစိမ်း
that
ချောင်း
Hellfire.
တို့အဲ့တော့ထည့်တင်တိတာအဲ့
Alright,
ဒါ
we'll be able to deny away at least that amp damage away from Team Spirit.
boost speed နည်းနည်းစီခဏ
Not
ရ
going
တယ်
down for that one.
And even a nullifier for the
အဲ့
Storm
boost speed
Spirit,
ရ
so
တဲ့
it's
item ထဲမှာ
difficult
ဟို
for
ဟာ
these
အခု
backliners.
necro 4တွေထည့်နေတဲ့
And this is also,
ဘာ
of
လဲ
course, for
item
Tinker
တစ်ခု
too,
ကွာ
getting
magic
rid of
resistant ရယ် move speed ရယ်အဲ့ဟာလေးလည်းမိုက်တယ်နော်သူက stack 3ခုလားမသိဘူးရတယ်လေ
Smoking up, looking for a catch. They still
Step
have a
ပြတ်
ward
သွား
on
ရင်
the
တော့
top side that might give
move
them
speed
some
ရောသွားတယ်
information for
ဒါပေမဲ့
example here.
stack ပြန်တက်လာရင် move speed
See if
ပြန်
it
ရ
does. Okay, they do see the Wyvern.
Necro
I think
4
they
တွေ
got
အရင်
a
ကြိုက်
glimpse
တဲ့
of
item
Darkseer for a
တော်တော်လေး
second
မိုက်တယ်
too.
ကဲမိသွားမလားမိသွားမလားမနေ့ပိုင်းကွာ night shot ကစစ်တော့ရှိတယ်
Look at this clash.
အညာ smoke versus smoke အာဒါပေမဲ့ split ကပြန်ဆင်းသွားပြီဟာဘာလို့ဘာလို့
Spirit looking to try to claim
ဟို
some type of
reader
high
မှား
ground
သွားပြီ reader
position
မှား
if
သွားပြီ
they
ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ဒီကောင်လေးရဲ့ work ကအပေါ်မှာရှိတယ်
wards down.
အဲ့တော့အပေါ်မှာမရှိဘူးဆိုတော့ဒီကောင်လေးအောက်ဖက်ကိုဆင်းနိုင်တာအောက်ဖက်ကိုဆင်းနိုင်တာဟိုကောင်လေးက smoke ကြီးနဲ့အပေါ်ရောက်နေတယ်ပြီးသွားအောင်လူရှမ်းထွက်တော့မယ်
Also controlling secret shop area a bit there too. So getting the hex for nothing to say. Not yet, of course, but can be a little difficult perhaps.
Because he's quite close to the gold for it.
25 soon for Collapse. They're about to have 3 level 25 heroes to just the 125 on XG.
and တိုင်းကြီးမှာတကာထည့်
It's real.
ကျုပ်
The supports are
We
actually
low.
higher level than the darks here, even on the side of Spirit. That's nuts.
ရူရှန်ဘတ်တဲ့5 versus 5ကတော့မဆိုင်သင့်ဘူး split ဆိုင်ရတာအရန်ခက်လေဟော wall ရှိတယ်အဲ့နားမှာပြုံပြီးတော့ wall တွေတင်ကာရုပ်တွေနဲ့ဆိုရင် split က
It's a regen rune bottom.
အင်းနေမကောင်းသူတို့ဘက်မှာ stone တော့ရှိတယ်ဆိုပေမဲ့
Strong one for
wall က
Laurel.
ပို strong တယ်ဒီလို area ချင်းချင်းလေးမှာအရင်ချလို့မ
forces the
ကောင်း
roar. I was wondering what he was doing.
Seems like they know though. You know, they're
Yeah.
not kind of jumping straight in to see if anyone is in the pit.
As long as they can just keep throwing essence distillers into the pit,
Yeah.
get that information. So, I mean, the great thing about this item is you don't have to commit to look inside the pit at times. Another smoke coming out here. It's about to be nighttime as well, too, on top of having Dark Ascension ready. So the fight for Spirit is going to get stronger as well, too, in the next 15 seconds. Right, here we go. Roche is shifting. Laurel does find that regen. Are they going to go for the kill?
They
take it,
they
going
take it.
ရူ
for
ရှန်
quickly.
ရူရှန်
Oh,
raw
this is heads up.
ရောတာပြီးသွားပြီ
Oh,
ဟမ်ဘယ်ဟွာရူ
he's
ရှ
going
န်
to start moving.
I was gonna
So,
say,
okay, not quick enough to do it before he starts moving.
I was going to say, the
All right.
problem is that they don't really have stuns to keep him in place that we have seen a lot of the teams do it. So,
Yeah.
but the idea was cool. The idea is the right one.
Well, they're probably going to want to follow up on that because
How though? It's
otherwise they just kind of
dangerous.
set it low for the Spirit to finish it off.
But they know that Spirit has control of this triangle area. It's very dangerous for them to shift into that high ground.
တင်ကဝင်လာပြီ XSS
Oh, they do it the full abyssal on Arme.
Okay, he's committed his gold. That means no buyback.
အသစ်ဆဲတဲ့အာမီယာ
Force
Okay
the
ရူ
roar
ရှန်
again.
ထပ်អော်သွားပြီ
Laurel
Oh,
jumps.
gonna make the jump
Unifier
forward. They
silent
jump
ဟုတ်တယ်
forward.
BKB
The
အော်
Ghost
ခဲ
will
ထားတယ်
see
ကွာ
on the
အော်
side.
ပါသွားပြီ
Trying
ရာ
to
တို
get
လို
back in on the squishies.
Yatoro.
What's the BKB
ရာတိုလို
looking
ရာ
to
တို
take
လိုတော်
Yatoro
သေးတယ်
out of
သူ
the
သူက
action?
လိုက်နေတာ
The turn for the tombstone. Arme will go for the kill on
မိတော့
Rio.
မိသွား
Kill
terrorize
the
မိသွားပြီ
Tiger,
တင်ကာကို
taking out
terrorize
the
မိသွားပြီဟုတ်တယ် nice soccer နဲ့တင်ကာနဲ့ကလုံးဝ combination လေး အလားလေးပဲအလားလေးပဲတင်ကာချောသွားပြီဒါပဲလေအော်အနောက်မှာရာတိုတို့အတုတွေနဲ့ဒစ်တွေလဲနေတယ်တင်ကာပိုင်ဘက် တင်ကာပိုင်ဘက် ဘာဖြစ်ကုန်လဲ
What a
လာ
beast.
atrake ဟုတ်ပြီ
And they've used 3 buybacks for this XG. They need something.
အေးမိသွားပြီတင်ကာငါခတ်တာမနာသိမ့်မလောက်ဘူးကွာလာဝင်လို့မရအောင်
Laurel's
ဟိုမှာအားမရ
regenerating
ရူရှန်
mana.
ခိုးလုံးနေပြီရာတိုတို့ကလည်းဒီမှာသွင်းနေနေကွိုင်ပဲရူရှန်ပေးလိုက်ရပြီ အားမယူရတယ်အေးကြီးက
The Aegis is in his hands. Can he kill off
Oh, la show abi.
dies.
So much
Arme puts an end to the streak. I'll catch Rue as well up here on the cliffs.
He's stuck.
All right, they might have to use the 3 buybacks to stabilize the action, but they did get the kill out on the roast. They got the Aegis. Can they
Yatoro?
get Arme out though? Yatoro trying to fight it 2 versus 3. They'll back off for now.
အားမရအေးကြီး
Laurel
နဲ့
trying to find a safe place to
ဒါပေမဲ့တကယ်ကလေ
disengage and TP out.
တကယ်က
Doesn't even TP.
They find anyone trying
ဝ
to
င်းမ
escape.
လုံးလိုက်တင်ဘူးလားလို့ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ဒီကောင်လေးမှာအကုန်လုံးအသက်ရှင်တယ်ကွာစောင်းစလည်းရှင်တယ်
Crazy.
All right,
A
so
lot
nice
of
soccer လည်းအ
buybacks,
သက်
they
ရှင်
will
တယ်
be
ဘလုံးကြလည်း
able
အ
to
သက်ရှင်တယ်အကုန်လုံးအသက်ရှင်တဲ့အချိန်မှာ Xtreme က3လောင်ပိုင်ဘက်လာတာကွာ
1,000 gold extra.
I think it might even have got lost out the road.
တင်ကအပါဝင်3လောင်ပိုင်ဘက်လာအဲ့တော့အဲ့ agent ကြီးကပေးလိုက်လို့ရတယ်ကိုယ့်ထင်တော့ ပေးပြီးမှနောက်ပြန်ချလဲအဲ့ agent ကပြန်ဆော့လို့ရတယ်
Used it. Almost
အဲ့လိုဝင်ချလိုက်
survived
တော့ဒီကောင်
because
လေး
of
ရဲ့
that extra
အန်တက်ကောင်ကြီးက
little bit
တေ
of
ရွာဟိုဘက် bonus ကိုတွေအများကြီးရ
knockdown.
အဲ့လို
They're
ဖြစ်
at
ကုန်
that 14k deficit.
They had
We're seeing
they
them
are
take the
blue.
fights if
Win
they
lose
do
they are
use
blue.
excessive buyback.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
a massive fight.
And that was their biggest fight yet of this game, it
Yeah.
feels
နောက်
like.
ဆုံးဖြတ်ချက်လေးတစ်ခုမှားသွားတာဟိုဘက်ပြန်ပြီးတော့ probability ပြန်တက်လာ
Back into a position where he's beginning to close
အဲ့ဘယ်လိုပဲ
in
ဖြစ်
on
လောလောဆယ်မှာ
Still a
တင်ကာပိုင်ဘက်
fair
မရှိ
way
တော့
to
ဘူး
go.
The way
ခောက်
the
မိ
fight
တာနဲ့
started,
ပွဲက
too, it
တန်း
looked
အန်း
like it
လို့
was
တော့
gonna
ရ
go extremely well for XG, and then it
အခု
just
ချိန်
got super complicated. Yatoro was able to distance himself, and they were honestly so split. That's where Spirit was able to get success. But then after those buybacks, XG able to at least secure themselves that rush.
အွန်လိုင်းနိုစီတဲ့မင်္ဂလာပါ
Next pick up for Yatoro. It's just going to be Agnum's blessing. Big Iron.
TIလား TI ပေါ့ TI ဒါ group stage တွေ
Arme takes apart that radiance.
Group
gets the
stage, group
butterfly
stage.
And the nullifier.
အာ fly မှာရပါတယ်တွေ့လားအဲ့ဒါပြောတာအဲ့ဆောစောကအဲ့ sound တွေ
He's
nice
hitting
soccer တွေ
critical
ဝင်မ
mass.
သိအဲ့ကောင်အဲ့လို fly မရအောင်
This is the point where things are scary for the lineup of Spirit. Now we saw Spirit for the
Okay,
first 40 minutes or so of this
ရူရှန်က
game.
ပေးလိုက်လဲ
have
ဘာ
this
မှမဖြစ်ဘူး
dominance.
ကွာ
Uh,
ဝင်
it
ချ
gets
လို့
harder
လို့
to
တေးသွား
enforce
ရှုပ်
this
ကုန်
stage
ပြီ
of the game against a
ရှုပ်ကုန်
Spectre
ပြီ
that has now got his build online, Arme.
But they can't bring the numbers, right? That's one thing. With all these buybacks used, that's
Sure.
when Spirit can bring these buybacks and can still fight back versus it, of course. Nami Ame dropping dangerously low. We'll be okay though. Yatoro, he gets the shard for free. Ame with 2 minutes of this Aegis though. Should be able to finish up.
ဟုတ်တယ်အားမေကအဆက်တက်ပြီးထောသွားတာအဲ့ဒါပြောရလေအဲ့မှာ flying
Yeah,
တစ်ခုက plane ရသွားကွာ
Yeah, he'd have to
Go
get rid
in
of
there.
treads.
Yeah.
AJ လေးရသွားတာဘာမှအဲ့လောက် item ကြီးတစ်ခွက်ထွက်လာတဲ့အကြောင်းမရှိ
Smoke up.
Sound switch ရှော့သွား Sound switch က
Perhaps
သိ
they're
မမသိတာ
confident
ပွဲ
in
စား
taking
ပွဲ
the
ဆုံး
fight if they can find heroes
အဲ့
isolated.
ဒီရှင်ကဒီကောင်နေမှားသွားမယ်ထ
So
င်တယ်
Laurel, we did see like that fight. It got so split up that they didn't have
Xtreme
that
ကို
success. Laurel
chance
getting
ပေး
the
လိုက်သ
ultimate
လိုဖြစ်
with
သွား
the
ပြီ
numbers. So he said
တကယ်
for
တွက်
Xtreme
ကြည့်လို့ရှိရင်သိလားဒီကောင်နေမှာ call တွေရောဘာမှမသိသွားဘူးကွာပေးလိုက်ဟိုဘက်ဘိုင်ဘက်3កောင်လာတာပေးလိုက်ပြီးရင်ပြန်ဆိုင်
Out on the map. It's
Yeah,
Spirit
yeah,
finds
yeah.
someone.
XG.
Nothing to say. He's thinking about coming in to help out. He
Okay,
will not.
Xtremeကဘိုင်ဘက်မရှိ
Just let the Spirit break
ဘိုင်ဘက်
and
မရှိ
die.
I think he
Well,
saw
they don't
more.
know. They want to try
နောက်
and
တော့
make
ထိုး
this
ခံလိုက်ရပြီ
fight.
ရာတိုတို့က
Arme jumps
Hey.
over towards Yatoro, but the fear from Nami catching onto XXS, and Arme pushes them back, allows Yatoro to bail
အဲ
out of this one.
ရာတိုတို့ဘယ်ရောက်သွားရာတိုတို့ဘယ်ရောက်သွား
Wyvern.
In the tombstone.
See if they can get the chance
Okay.
to finish off
Oh, yeah,
F1.
they got the bummer. Way back in there, yeah.
Towards Arme.
Arme.
Arme trying to close back in on.
အော်လာထိုးပြန်ပြီဓာတ်စီကလာလာထိုးနေတယ်ရောက်လုံးလို့
They're trying to kill off Yatoro. XXS
ရာတိုတို့ဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်ဟုတ်တယ်အဲနိုင်သွေးဖြည့်ပေးတာကောင်းသွားပြီ
Yatoro survives. Turns.
အေးအေးအေးဟုတ်တယ်ဗျာဝိုင်းကဲတာဆို full step ဘယ်နဲ့ချောင်းလဲမသိဘူးလေ
Everybody dead on XG.
They didn't even have to buy back
Be worried.
anybody. I
There
mean,
you go.
Spirit sometimes with the way
Ayan
that
ko.
they use these team fights is insane.
And that might be that. Everybody's dead. No buybacks available.
ပြန်ဆိုင်ရအောင်ရတယ်ကွာ
Gaming.
သိလား
Holy, I mean, look at the damage from Laurel and from Yatoro.
အေးဂျီပေးဆိုင်လဲ easy ပဲ
Yatoro there.
အောင်နည်းနည်းခတ်သွားသေးတယ်ရာတိုတို့လုံးဝတေကန်ကြီးလေးကိုဝိုင်းကဲတာ soul rip တောက်လျှောက်သုံးပေးနေတယ်ဟိုကောင်အဲနိုင်ရ soul rip တောက်လျှောက်သုံးပေးတယ် full step တွေတွန်းတယ်
And
then Brew, right? The heals, the tombstone.
GG.
ဟိုဘက်ဓာတ်စီကလည်းဒီကောင်ကပဲလာလာထိုးသွား
They are
okay
so
ကြီးကြီး
beautiful
ခေါ်
to
သွား
watch
ပြီ
in team fights.
ဒါပဲလေ
Yeah, a great game from Spirit. A little bit of a
Easy
pushback
money to
from
wear on
XG
your arm,
around that Roshan. But Spirit, they did not care one bit. They knew with those buybacks expended,
Webley.
their team fight was still going to be strong enough, and the
ဒီတိုင်းပြမှာလားနေ့တိုင်းမပြနိုင်ဘူး16ရက်နေ့ကျရင်ရန်ကုန်မှာမရှိတော့
It didn't matter. They get through him 2 times.
Yeah, and he's
He
super
need the,
aggressive.
look,
We do
man,
see right
I-
here. I mean, not me.
That's
Having
how
an
I
insane
need-
game on the
Wow,
way.
game went on.
Laurel beyond godlike, obviously the MVP, but this guy putting an
အဲ
argument.
ကြောင့်အခု group ပွဲလေးနည်းနည်း
Crazy stuff all around the board there from Spirit.
နည်းနည်းရသလောက်လေးပြ
They take their one here against XG.
Somehow, when these two teams go
Web
head to head
play.
against each other, they
Durationလည်း
always
overတယ်နော်
deliver, and
Duration
this
over
game
ရိုက်တဲ့လူ
one
တွေ
of
လည်း
the
easy ပဲ
series was no different. This was a great first game. I think everybody's already excited, looking forward to game number 2. But let's like the players that we saw Xtreme Gaming just on the graph screen. We want to also try to break this game down. Here's Silva Sayer Light Fly and Jenkins. Jenkins, this was a great one. Where do you want to start?
liquid နဲ့
Oh,
VC
geez,
ရ
where do we
ပြီး
start?
သွား
I mean, first pick Drow Ranger.
Yes.
And
You're
they
with Tofu on kind
managed
of
to
the
make it
harder
work. Like,
farming
Oh,
Spirit
they better
is
be
just really
wide.
confident that they can play around him in the game and in
Be
the
my class
fight.
on.
And we saw it in the last fight. Like, all of the eggs were in the save Yatoro basket, and even into an Aegis, it's enough as long as they're playing really well. There was a lot of like really high level plays in this game, which we will get into. Stuff with baiting Roshans and other cool things like that the Spirit were doing. The game was not easy for them.
No.
But they clutched.
They clutched, and that's the way I guess they normally do it. From the laning stage, we oh no, I'm gonna start different because Saber, you were critical about the Night Stalker pick. As the Night Stalker player, this is of course bearing a little bit of extra weight there. How'd you feel he did?
Yeah, I was, but just like a chef, it doesn't matter what kind of ingredients you have, as long as you know how to cook. And I would say Collapse cooked.
Yeah.
He cooked real hard.
Approved.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, like, you know, is it good NS game, is it bad? I think they played really well, especially in the early game. They made it work. They somehow won this lane, which I did not think can happen. And yeah, I mean, if you manage to win the lane, then it's a good hero.
I think it says something about a Spectre Wyvern lane if a Night Stalker is. I think they had like 2 kills by 5 minutes, and then it's nighttime, and Night Stalker has like 1 kill, 1 assist. How are you going to lane there against this guy?
Yeah, I think we all expected the lane to go a little differently, and I mean, Collapse saw the vision. You know, he asked for it, I imagine, and
Ame saw the
delivered.
vision too when he daggered Collapse.
That's
Next
also
Nova
true.
saw it too.
Everybody saw everything this game. It was just map hack for everybody, pretty much.
But that makes it all the cooler that the fights that we saw, I feel like both teams at times went just all in.
Yeah, I think the fights were really cool to watch this game, and I think Laurel, you know, being our MVP is very much justified. I think he had a standout performance. He was able to just snowball the game, and when Storm snowballs, he gets all these like galvanized stacks, and he's just a menace on the map, and he was able to open up most of the fights. The team fights were crazy because, again, everybody had vision of everything. It was like a saving Private Yotoro versus like everybody trying to get on top of this drow and take her down. And we had some really clutch saves with the tombstone. We had a lot of like really nice terrorizes by Not Me, and it was a really cool game to watch in terms of how the team fights played out.
Yeah, we had 2 MVPs, I guess, in mind that
we
were a
did.
bit fighting against each other. Laurel, obviously great, only down the ones, but Yotoro, you gotta respect the first big draw there too, and the way you delivered Saber.
And the Tal said it. Ame will want the draw now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, seems so
Here
nice.
we go.
I somehow wasn't able to kill this draw with a Spectre and Darkseer and Spirit Breaker. I honestly could not believe that they weren't able to get him in these last few fights. It feels impossible. You have the Haunt, you have the Vacuum, and yeah, Team Spirit just played so well. They protected him, they like kited them around, they picked off the supports, and they won these team fights, even though I don't think it should be easy at all to play against the Dire Draft.
In your guys' experience, I want to know, is there any credence to one team like Spirit saying, if we play the saving Private Drow strat against Xtreme, we think we are just better at team fighting than they are, and that they will not win if this is the sort of game that they play? Is there this like thought process when it comes to drafting versus a specific team that you force them into some strategy that you simply think you are better at handling than they are?
I think for sure there's probably some of that going through Spirit, because I think both of these teams excel at team fighting. I think I would say it's one of Xtreme Gaming's also strengths.
It is.
And Spirit is just that confident in their drow strategy that I think they're fine going toe to toe when it comes to team fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Drow at some point die in a team fight, which Fly you wanted to highlight, and Drow did die.
Yeah, I think this fight was around the 20-minute mark, and honestly, this could have been Xtreme Gaming's fight, even though Spirit gets the jump, and I think this was about the same time where Spectre was about to get the Radiance. But I think he jumped before actually getting the Radiance on him, and so Spirit gets a jump. There's a counter initiation by Xtreme with the Spectre. She then gets the Radiance delivered mid-fight, but it's kind of too late. And all this time, we talked about the Tombstone, and this Tombstone is just a menace. There's so many zombies on the map, nobody's touching it because their heroes are not equipped to deal with Tombstone this early in the game, that this kind of led into snowballing the game from Spirit's point of view, because that Radiance fight for Spectre, it has to be a clean fight.
Yeah, it was very painful, because at that point still I think a lot of people were like, you know, Xtreme Gaming, they're doing well, nothing to say on a Tinker, having a decent game there as well, but yeah, that was a rough moment. There was another rough moment. Jenkins, you want to highlight a little bit of a carry diff situation potentially?
I think it was the Roche. I will roll the clip so I can remember. They went in and they hit Roshan, so it roared, and then this forces XG to go check the pit, but Spirit actually smoked out and went for the kill here. And finding X-Nova as your first target as a Night Stalker, like literally he didn't even blink. It was just X-Nova was in the front because they did not expect for Spirit to be making this play.
Yeah.
Spirit tried to do the same thing again later with Not Me going into the pit, hitting Roche, so it roared, and Xtreme did not take the bait that time. But little plays like this, like we saw this in the first series as well, Falcons doing things like this, where instead of just running into Roche and going for the Aegis and doing like the typical play, they do the subversive thing. And it's just beautiful to me, because it only works against really good Dota players, where they're like, we cannot give this Roche away. Like, we're going to lose the game, so we need to go. But Spirit's predicting this, and they do the 5-head play of smoking into them.
And that caused for us to watch some great Roshan fights. And around minute 46, Saber, there was one of those exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to look at this team fight because that's one of the few Xtreme team fights that they won. So I wanted to look at what exactly happened. They got the Draw Ranger, they got the vacuum on him, but they weren't able to finish him once again. I think he Shadow Bladed away, and they didn't have the vision on him. So now he just runs away. You can see him on the left side. He's just shooting the Darks here. He's just about to die to an illusion. Tinker stepping in, and no, he just killed the illusion. They bought back 3 heroes for this, and I think they still weren't able to completely take it because they just kited them so well.
Yeah, they still got the ages at the end, but I think those 3 buybacks, because the fight we saw of them afterwards, that was the fight where they did not have any buybacks left, and that was just the nail in the coffin for that one. But yeah, we do see the attempt of Collapse stealing the ages, but Ame still gets his hands on it, so that's good for them. But this was of course moments away from disaster.
He did get refresher shard there, by the way, on Collapse. So
okay, he got something.
That's always nice. Yeah, that third was that third or fourth Roche, whichever Roche that was. It, has all the juicy loot. Like you have to go for it on someone. So even if you die.
To be fair, it was big that he stole the refresher because a double haunt could be big problem for Radiant, or even double vacuum with double wall. So even though they maybe not necessarily lost the fight, even though they didn't get the Aegis, at least they stole the refresher and they forced 3 buybacks. So this was really nice fight for Spirit in the end.
So how do we feel about going into game 2 with the first game under our belt? What lesson? I mean, we know the Drow Ranger lesson, and I would be surprised if it doesn't get picked first phase.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the battle of the Drows now.
Yeah.
We'll see if they have first pick on Xtreme.
True.
If they do, it'll be very funny if they just click the Drow Ranger, and Ame is gonna turn up for that one. I think Ame had not the best game this one, so I would like to see him having a better lane. Be set up for a more successful game, basically. I want to see the Ame versus Yatoro showdown.
Proper.
Yeah.
I love that this is not analysis of any Dota or what is meta. It's pure psychology. And it sounds like conjecture. It sounds like it shouldn't be true. But from what we've seen from these players after all of these years, I actually believe it, dude. I feel like you're manifesting it's going to happen. This is going to be the Drow Ranger series.
There's a
for some
class
reason.
and there's a psych analysis here, so I don't know what else we're missing. Maybe some Dota analysis, but besides
Potentially.
that, yeah.
Potentially. That's what I'm here. No. It's all good. I'm curious to find out, because I feel like both series, this is a second series on this stream, we've got mini metas in the series developing. So
Very different.
Yeah, it's incredibly different. It's night and day almost from the LGD Falcon series that we saw.
It's really nice to see. I think it's like a TI thing.
Okay.
Because teams have more time to practice. They usually boot camp for a bit longer for TI. So teams will have different ideas of what is good. And I think these first few days of TI, people just kinda go in with their own ideas, and then I would imagine it gets a little bit more conjoined as the tournament goes on. People start to realize, okay, I was wrong. I wanted this hero to be good, but I guess we do need to play some Necro or whatever. But these first few days of TS is always the most exciting. People just pick random stuff, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm hoping to see some more crazy stuff.
Speaking of that, we really didn't.
Why?
We didn't, but it kind of did look decent.
With how much farm he had, though, I feel like it's not supposed to just look decent.
Okay.
It's supposed to do a lot and be a menace, and he just was kind of a non-factor.
The hero it's a strange one because he sucks so much farm on the map from everyone, right? He's going to take the Ancients, he's going to push every wave, and then it really depends on what he buys. And I'm not a Tinker expert. I don't really know if Dagon is a thing that people do right now. I know you buy Ags at some point. I know you buy probably BKB at some point. The Dagon, I'm just not sure how strong it was this game. We can kind of look at the items. And he also bought a Crozier, which we talked about. I don't think it was a really good anti-healing game, but I think he just bought it for the sake of the Ghost Scepter, so he could survive. It was weird. I actually don't know if this build was that impactful.
It just... I'm not a fan of the... one of the issues with Crozier, to me, is the fact that it does not stack with BKB, obviously. At least the Ghost component doesn't. If you're BKB, you can't go Ghost form. So there are these fights where you're getting hit by both physical damage and you don't want to get stunned, and you have to press both, and the Crozier is just useless if there's no anti-healing that you're doing. And what I mean, Undying, I guess, is the anti-healing hero that you're playing against.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I would imagine I would wish he buys Shiva instead of the Crozier.
yeah,
You at least have the armor, and then you can just Shiva everybody. But yeah, you know, my Tinker's a little worse than his.
I also think it was also I had an issue with the draft when I saw Darkseer and Tinker.
Yeah.
I think they just don't play off
New
each
hero
other.
လေး
There's
ပါတ
no
ယ်
real synergy.
New hero
I think
ပါ
the
တယ်
Spectre,
New hero
again,
ပါ
it was a bit greedy, and the Spectre ended
Hey,
up
hero.
losing a lane, which I thought he should do better. But the Tinker was also not set up for success. I
Hey,
think
hero.
when you have a Tinker, it's a Tinker draft, very much like Drow Ranger. You need to be able to have this Tinker cast his spells in a fight. And Darkseer's Spectre, while they give vision, it's not like a stun that goes in, right? It's just like some chaos manifesting in the fight.
Because he picked Tinker into Storm, right? He knew what he was going to lane into, and it's not just Storm, like Drow and Dying Willow were also known at that point. He should have done better then? Or no?
if he's picking it, I mean, that's what I was thinking. Is that, okay? I'm not a Tinker expert here. You know, this guy's the best Tinker in the world. He picks it into Storm. Maybe there's something with the shard there, but we end up giving Laurel MVP, and he's got 22 kills. Like, just it looked like old Storm versus Tinker, which is just devastating for Tinker.
Yeah, and maybe it's exactly as Saber says, where, you know, maybe on day 2 it's like, well, I really wanted Tinker to be a better hero, but it just might not be the case. But you gotta go through that day 1 to figure that out proper.
True. You just kind of roll with the punches, and then eventually something will click, and then just keep picking it. That's how Falcons do it.
Just try it again.
Ever since Amar got his 10-minute win against Vici with his Necro, they just love picking it. So I think whichever team, you know, now you saw Spirit win with the Draw Ranger, and I'm sure they'll just pick it again if they give if they're giving the chance.
Yeah, why not? You just go again, but potentially also we'll see something entirely different. Who knows?
ဂရုမှလည်း
teams,
best of 3
you
လား
know, they might just
ဟုတ်တယ်
change
ဂရု
it
က
up and
best
have
of 3
something
ဒီ
else
ကောင်တွေက
prepared for game number 2, and especially keeping in mind that Yatoro does
ဒီကောင်တွေ format က
generally
ဒီလိုမျိုး
like
Swiss
playing
system
different carries
16
every
team
game,
ကွာ
and
ဒီ
this is not
16
just,
team လုံး
you know, the thing
က
from when he won
group Swiss
CI
system
in
ဆော့ရမှာ
2021.
အဲ့လို
But
မျိုး
also recently,
နိုင်
in
တဲ့
many
နိုင်တဲ့သူအချင်းချင်း
tournaments,
တွေ့
his
ရှုံးတဲ့သူ
hero pool
ရှုံးတဲ့
is
သူ
very
အချင်း
wide.
ချင်း
He
တွေ့
normally doesn't play hero more than once or twice.
ပြီးတော့ဘယ်လိုလဲ
I am going to be very
အဲ့
surprised
လို
if
မျိုး
he's
ပေါ့
playing
နော်
Drow Ranger 2 games in a row, as we are
3 ပွဲ
nearing
စ
the
တိုက်
draft
နိုင်သွားတဲ့
of
လူ
game number
တက်
2.
မှာလားမသိဘူး
We
နေ
will
4
have
ပွဲစ
Xtreme
တိုက်လား
Gaming
3ပွဲ
this
စ
time
တိုက်လား
on the Radiant side and Team Spirit on the
16 ဆိုတော့
Dark
4 ပွဲ
side,
စ
so
တိုက်
we
နိုင်
did
တဲ့လူ
change
တက်မှာ
that
ထင်တယ်
around,
တော့3
including
thing
Team
advance to
Spirit
play
being
off
first
ရှုံးပွဲ
pick
မရှိ
for
တ
this
သိန်း
game,
တော့ရှိ
so
လိမ့်မယ်
complete swap of what the teams had
3 ပွဲ
from that
မရှိ
previous
တသိန်းရှိ
game
မယ်
number
ပြီး
1.
ရင်
In terms
4
of
ပွဲ
balance,
နိုင်
also a lot of difference
တ
because
ပွဲရှုံး
we still have
3 သိန်းရှိမယ်
Xtreme banning out the
3 သိန်းလား
Invoker,
4 သိန်း
but
လား
they
5
are
သိန်း
ones
လားအဲ့
that
လောက်
ban
ရှိမယ်
out
ထင်တယ်
the
အော်နေ
Green
အဲ့ဒါကို
Factor.
ကြည့်လိုက်ရင်
They
သိ
also
တယ်
ban out the Lina, and it is on the side of Spirit that they'll ban out the Largo, the Darkseer,
Oh,
and the
di
Keeper
ma.
of the Light. And I want to try
4
and
win
focus
1
a
lose
little bit on that because
ရှိ
those
မယ်ကွာ
three seem
4
just,
win လူက2သိန်းရှိမယ်4 win
out of-
1 လူက2သိန်းရှိမယ်
you know, out of
အဲ့လိုမျိုးပေါ့နော်
normality.
အဲ့တော့အဲ့2သိန်းရဲ့
Or is that
အ
just
ရှုံး
the
မရှိ
strength
တသိန်းရဲ့
coming in
3
from
သိန်းက
the
တက်
Darkseer
မယ်
from
ကွာ
previous game? Because it didn't win.
playoff ကိုတန်းတက်မယ်
It
ပေါ့
did
နော်
look
ပြီး
good
4
against
ကနေ
Drow,
ပြီးတော့
though.
73 ထိက
Actually doing a pretty
elimination
good
round
amount of
ဆော့ရမယ်
damage with the
15
normal
16
punch
ပြုတ်
illusion,
အဲ့တော့3သိန်း
the
ပြုတ်
wall
မယ်
illusion. It's just if
Bruce
there was
ပြီး
any,
သွားတာနဲ့3သိန်းပြုတ်သွားမယ်
lockdown on Yatoro,
Mà
they
elimination
somehow
round mà
catch
thật
him
vì
in the
đó-
fights, they maybe
ဘယ်
could
လောက်လဲ
kill them
10
with
သိ
the
န်း
Darkseer.
10 သိန်းဆော့ရမယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့10သိန်းကနေပြီးတော့နောက်တော့5သိန်းတက်လာမယ်အဲ့တော့
Alright.
အဲ့ဒီ5သိန်း plus
Now
ဆော့
the
ဆော့က
Darkseer
group
ban also
3
makes
သိန်း
sense if you-
ပေါင်းပြီးတော့
you
8
wanna
သိန်းက
pick with
playoff
this
ဒီမှာ
draw,
လုံးဝ
and you don't
bracket
wanna
ထက်ဆော့ရ
get Darkseer on 9.
Hello, hello,
Darkseer
Dama.
is just a strong hero.
format က
I think Xtreme could easily pick it there.
I was getting hyped up that Yator's gonna play something else, and we get Drow on Xtreme.
get
but-
Raw Ranger
Alright, so
first pick
it's round 2.
again
What do you have this
Okay.
time? You know, like Darkseer's banned.
Raw Ranger
Maybe
Raw Ranger
XXS should just pick his counter immediately because else it might get banned. So I think Saber, you like Centaur against Drow Ranger
Yeah.
because of the Stampede.
I think he should center here. You already see your lane. It's good.
Okay.
But
Oh
but
my
to be fair, Team Spirit second phase
They
banned the
banned it, yeah.
PL right after they picked the Drow. So in their heads also, you know, it's
What
a bit of
is-
a counter.
What is going on out there in these scrims, bro? This is not this is not what the previous 2 tournaments looked like at all.
This is crazy because I think Phantom Lancer usually he cares more about the mid and the off lane more than the carry. I think it's very hard to get a good carry matchup against Phantom Lancer, just straight 1-to-1. you more care about the heroes mid, like an Ember Spirit.
အာ PF Spirit
These
ဟဲ
like
ဟဲ
anti-vision
ဟဲဟိုကောင်နေ
heroes, or on the offlane heroes like
စောစီ carry ကောက်လိုက်ပြီဘာလို့
I guess band Timbersaw etc.
ဆိုတော့
So this is very
Hang on,
interesting,
yeah.
and I guess
That's what
both the
game on.
carries are like, all right,
Been
come at
on my
me,
MD,
you know,
you know,
I'm,
Martin.
I'm gonna pick my draw. Let's see.
ဒီ
what
ကောင်
you
မြောက်
got.
လား
And I was
ငါးကောင်
like,
မြောက်လောက်
okay,
မှာထင်တယ်
Phantom
PA ကြီး
Lancer.
ဖန်ခံလိုက်ရ
This one is just
It is-
one on one.
It is very.
အခုတော့
I
PA
guess
အစောကြီး
a
ထွက်လာ
million
တယ်
units versus one in this case.
it is
အဲ့လိုအစောကြီး
very
ထွက်လာတာ
aligned
နော်
with the personalities of the
အန်ရ
characters
ရှိသ
and
လား
the
လို့ drawing ကြောင်ကိုကောင်တာထောက်ချင်လို့သာဝင်လာဒါပေမဲ့သူ့ကိုကောင်တာပြန်ထောက်တဲ့
It's
off
really
lane
funny
တွေ
that
ပါတွေက
they're like,
ပြန်
no,
ဝင်
no,
လာမှာ
there's
ပေါ့
no, you know, this is old news.
Lane
There's
ကောင်တာ
no
ထောက်သွားတာ
narrative
တို့
here.
ပါ
Here
တို့
we are with the two carries, fierce picks. I mean,
ဥပမာ
that's
တင်မ
just,
ဆောတို့
yeah.
ပါတို့ကွာ
It's
the
iconic
beauty
at
of
this point.
Dota.
Yeah.
Now it also becomes a question like you see these two
တင်မ
carries
ဆော
are
တို့ပါ
both,
ပိုင်
like,
PA ကဆော့ခတ်သ
quite
လားလို့
exposed, right? These are like not necessarily first picks. So what do you guys think is like the more exposed hero? Would you rather counterpick a draw or counterpick a Phantom Lancer?
I think you'd rather counterpick a Phantom Lancer any day. I think Drow is a very, like, you will make a Drow lineup work, and she's a very strong laner, and it's hard to punish her in lane. But I think Phantom Lancer can have some really bad matchups. Clearly, they don't agree with me, which is fine. It makes it more interesting for me to kind of see what they do with this PL.
Yeah.
And again, like Collapse is having some kind of buffet here. Like, hey man,
Yeah, that
what do you want today,
Dude,
man?
literally, like pretty much all of Collapse's heroes are like hard counters to PL. Like he can.
Timbersaw.
Timbersaw, it's amazing. He can Tidehunter. That's
Tidehunter,
amazing.
that's
Do we
it's
still
funny.
like the axe?
Axe, yeah,
Axe is great.
Axe
Axe
is
is funny,
probably
yeah.
the best, I would say. It's the strongest in terms of it's just a very good hero, and then it destroys PL in lane and in the game.
And we're going to find out what Xtreme thinks is the strongest, because I would imagine, well, there's two options. Either they don't ban any of them because they feel like, okay, it's going to get countered anyway, or they ban out the one that's like, well, it definitely can't be that one.
And Axe is probably the best to run with a Drow out of the ones that we.
I also think
Talked about.
Centaur is good for both teams. It's good to withdraw and against Phantom Lancer, but it's also good against draw.
တင်မဆောပန်းသွားပြီ
They root
အကြောက်ဆုံးက
Timber,
တင်မ
so
ဆော
they're like-
တဲ့ โอเค
That one is
အဲ့တော့
the one
ဖန်
that
လန်စာကိုကောင်တာ
for
ထောက်
worse.
မဲ့အကြောက်ဆုံးကိုဒီကောင်တွေဘန်းချလိုက်ပြီအဲ့ကျန်မာက X တို့
Okay.
ဘာလို့ကြံမယ်ဝါချီ
Yeah,
X
this is wild. Okay, so now
အမ်ဘာထည့်ထားတော့
when you
X
see
တို့
two
ဘာတို့က
cores, we can just double
ကောင်းကောင်း
pick
တော့
our two
position ယူ
cores,
လို့မရ
that
တော့
would
ဘူး
be
ကွာ
fun.
ရှုံမဲ့တကောင်ထွက်
I
ထွက်
don't
လာ
know if they'll do it, but then you're just gonna have all the cores immediately picked in the draft, and usually they're hidden at least until later.
Fly, how happy are you if you are in a game and you have 6 cores on the board and you get to pick support? You know exactly what you're going to face. Does that
Oh.
make you happy?
Wait,
I love it.
Yeah.
This never happened.
It just
but,
never
you know,
happened.
I feel like
dream scenario.
this is such an Earthshaker bait. If you're Laurel, you get to Earthshaker against Ember mid, and then you're against PL in the game too.
It's good, yeah. It's
It's-
good shaker.
It's just a little weird with the Drow because I guess you want something that's a little more active earlier.
Maybe the Puck could still be good this game. Puck against Ember is solid, and against PL it's very good. I mean, there's so many options. There's like 1,000.
အဲ့ဒါတော့
heroes you can name. Okay,
ကောင်တာပါပဲဒါလည်းကောင်တာပါပဲကောင်တာတစ်မျိုးပါပဲ
Rubik, let's go.
There we go.
Yeah.
PL လဲ
Why though?
မွားမယ်
I think it's a
And
strong
Bale
lane, like, root
more,
someone,
man.
and then once the root ends,
ဒီကောင်အဲ့ root တွေက
lift them back.
တောက်ရမ်းအောင်နောက်တယ်အဲ့အကွင်းတွေက
Two other reasons. One is very good against other
ပြီး
lords who
entropy
don't want
aura
counter
လည်း
pick.
PL
Two,
damage တွေကရှော့
if
မှာ
they do want to have a shaker, they also don't want to have that counter pick by the Rubik. And they still have the chance to pick a shaker because it's not like Xtreme is going to pick shaker in the next two.
Nah, I like the logic where Rubik is great against Underlord, so you
Okay.
might as well pair it up,
Take both.
and it is a good laning duo together. I think now, if I'm Xnova, at least I kind of know what I'm playing against, most likely. So I would probably think about something like an Ench. Could be really good against Rubik, and you can pressure the map. You can gate on the Drow. I would like to see something along those lines. You can also kind of protect the PL in lane a little bit. So I'm thinking about Ench for him, and then the other support. Who do we have here?
Marana's
Or maybe
out.
just pick the core, you know, whatever. You see the Drow Ranger.
If
Right?
we're picking
Like,
cores
You
anyway.
might as
Let's
well.
go for the third core at this point.
Just last pick FY.
The dream. Let's take a look. It's going to be the Winter Wyvern
Winter
once
Wyvern.
again.
Winter ကန်ဒီတစ်ခါတော့ sound fit တို့ဘာလို့မပါဘူးဆိုတော့မပါသေးဘူးပေါ့နော်
I'm not sure how
ဟိုဝင်ရှာမဲ့ကောင်မ
they
ပါ
managed
သေး
to
ဘူး
lose
ကွာ
the previous lane. I think it's like very strong lane, and so is this one. To be fair, you just have like a similar core slash carry that has Q that.
စဉ်းစားလို့မရတာ
feels
ဘာလို့
damage,
Rubik
and
ပစ်
you
တာ
have Winter Wyvern that's just gonna poke them again and again.
What's stopping Team Spirit from
PL
going back
အမ်
for
ဘာ
the
ရော
under-
အဲ့
or
အဲ့
sorry,
ဟာ
the
ကြီးကိုကြည့်
dying
ပြီးတော့
in,
supporter ကိုဘာလို့
as
Ruby
their-
သုံး
as
တာ
their
လဲ
close
သိ
fight.
စဉ်းစားလို့မရ
Was that because it worked out so well
သိနားမ
in
လဲ
game
ဘူး
one as well?
PL's like the most difficult hero. to
Okay, so
play
he's
against.
just gonna kill Tombstone, so you don't want to feed him
Insta-kill,
that.
yeah. With Aghanim Scepter, you can literally just throw illusions on it,
Okay.
and you kill the Tombstone. That's one of the most frustrating matchups. But there's plenty of good melee heroes
Plenty
to
of
run with the
options.
Drow. A lot of them suffer versus PL though. Like Clock also suffers against PL. You just kill the cogs.
Yeah, I think you just don't overthink the peel because I don't think it's your job to kind of deal with him if they go down their route of just picking a melee 5. I think you should just pick something that pairs well with Drow. So I'm fine with them picking Undying.
တော့ဝဲလုံး
And
ဝင်
his
တာ
job is just to secure the
စပူတာ
Drow.
နှကောင်ကတက်အနေနဲ့ခတ်သွားပြီ
Run around in the
Xtreme
early
ဆိုတာ
game
နှ
with
ကောင်
his
တကောင်က
Lilith,
ခဲ
and
မယ်
then late game, you know, somebody
တ
else
ကောင်က
deals with
Shadow
the
Ram
PL,
နဲ့
I'm
နည်းနည်း
outta here.
ရွှေရှောင်ဆိုတော့စပူတာနှကောင်ကတော်
We
တော်
got
ခက်
the Willow
ပတ်ခတ်
coming
သွား
out.
ပြီ
We saw it in the hands of Not Me in the previous game. Had great impact, especially with the Terrorize later on in the game. So this time we'll be in the hands of FY.
I think Laurel has a very nice Puck 18 pick. Blitz loves talking about the Puck 18, and you know now you finally have the option to do it here. They have no stunts on Xtreme.
ဟိုဝါခိုးပြီးရှင်ပြင်းရှင်တို့ဟာ
Below
အသာလောက်ပါ
which is just never gonna hit the puck.
ဟိုဝါခိုးပြီးတော့
So
မ
it's
လုံးနဲ့
very free game.
IOE ရော
Now
what
go
the
for the
fuck
much talked about IO.
ဘာ
But
လို့
this is a support, most likely.
Most likely.
Yeah,
Yeah, unfortunate, but good nonetheless.
interesting. So, but that would make it IO 5 most likely.
Yes.
So you have Drow IO lane. Which is interesting. You can always reload out. They don't have much cancel for that either.
I think this Drow lane is pretty exposed. Because
But no, you know, drawing your IO
type of
will
hero
be.
with Drow, like the previous game we had in
အော်ဒီကောင်လေးမိကိုလက်ရွှဲလာတော့မှာအဲ့လောက်ဆို
IO.
အဲ့ IOE ထုတ်လိုက်တော့လက်ရွှဲဘန်းပြီဗော
should be to attack that lane. If I'm pause 5, I would look
Let's
to
try
gate
ban လောက်တယ်
when, you
ဟို
know,
ကောင်လေး
when it's possible.
တိ
If
မှာ
I'm
ပဲ
in
အဲ့ဒီ
later,
ကွက်ကြီး
I
က
would rotate
ကလေး
to
တောင်
that
တိ
lane
လောက်တယ်
because it's two vulnerable heroes.
ဘာ
They
တိုက်တ
don't
န်ဘ
really
န်းတယ်
have
ကွာ
any way
ဘာလို့
to
တိုက်တန်ဘန်းလဲ
escape until there's a relocate maybe.
Okay
So
ဘာလည်းမသိတော့ဘူးအဲ့အပိုင်းတော့
I'm
သိ
not
နားမလဲတော့
feeling
ဘူး
this
ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့
I'm curious to
IO
see
လည်း
what
ပစ်ထား
they
တယ်
do with it.
Isn't Wyvern?
Ruby လည်းပစ်ထားတယ်အဲ့ဒါကိုတိုက်တန်ဘန်းတယ်တိုက်တန်မစ်လား
I wouldn't say
Like
it's
a
a
Migo
hard
Chowder,
counter,
I
but
don't-
it is a good hero against
I know.
Iron. Because if you try to reload in, you get the curse immediately on multiple
တိုက်တန်မစ်က
heroes.
ဆော့လို့ရ
So
ရ
it
တော့
makes
ရ
sense.
မယ်
And
ဒီနော်
also Ember is a
အမ်ဘာနဲ့
natural
တနိုင်းနေ
vessel
ဆွတ်လို့
hero,
လို့
which
ရ
is also good against IO.
ပြီးရင်
So
ကြာရောင်းနဲ့လိုက်ထု
I'm not sure
ကွက်
about
ကွက်ကွက်
that. We'll see what they do with it.
It's also cool to see they banned ET on Xtreme, so they are assuming that it's IO mid,
Yeah.
and they will pick a 5. Which, to be fair, ET is good. I think that's like a nice melee pairing for the Drow.
We haven't seen ET in forever.
Yeah,
I feel.
and I'm also very surprised that Spirit did not ban the Centaur against Drow. They do have Underlord, which is nice. You have like percentage damage against the Centaur, and also Root is really nice. But I don't know. I think that's like a very solid pick for Xtreme.
Well, we got the Phoenix also removed, which is another support. So I think maybe there's a bit of scrimming information showing here as well, with Laurel potentially
This-
taking the IO for himself.
That honestly makes the pick make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
It feels quite sus with a Drow
Yeah.
and against the heroes
ပြီးနေပန်းတယ်ဟဲ့
that Xtreme already has, unless it's a core. If it's a core, then
ဟဲ့ IO
I don't think
ကော
core
ထင်
IO
လို့
really
လား
cares
ဘာ
that
ကြီး
much about Wyvern or any
Hello,
of the
Wy.
things we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this is the
100%.
classic pairing, right?
Yeah.
But you did say it was not nice against PL.
It's not as bad as Undying. Like, Undying relies much more on the Tombstone, that you care more about the Tombstone dying than Clock cares about PL.
လောက်ကြ
like,
ပါဦးဘာကြီး
focusing the
IO
Clock
carry
fight,
လား
you
ဟော
know?
IO mid
I think Clock is fine against PL.
I
Okay.
also think
Ủa, em mất
they
tỉ à là
really
bà
needed
mẹ
some
béo à?
initiation, because if you look at their heroes, they have no way to start a fight. They have relocate in and gate in, but that's it.
Dawnbreaker,
So they needed
okay.
something like that.
Well, that's a Dawnbreaker last.
Đi qua
pick,
bà
and
lỗ
then
mà
we've
em đi
seen
đâu?
Dawn offlane many times. And we
IO mid
have
gì?
talked
Là.
early on in the day a little bit about the IO as a core. I just want you guys to reiterate what was said and why is it now so accepted that it's like, oh, it's mid. Of course it is. You know, it's like, yeah, because it changed, and this was what was rumored was gonna happen. Core IO is back.
IO mid
Why?
I think IO, basically the talents were changed, where you get this level 15 talent where you have a lot of the spirits damage. I think you get like plus 55 or something like that. So the numbers are just really high for the damage.
And
that
a
it
lot,
does.
hobby.
So you would just max
အာယု
spirits. You can farm really fast.
ရှေ့မှာအန်နာလော့
Usually
နေ
you
မယ်
would
အာ
buy
ယု
like
နဲ့
Dominator into
ဟိုဘက်
Axe,
ပြီးရ
and then either
Dawn
into
Breaker
your
ရဲ့
art, depending on the
Amber
game.
ရဲ့
And
ဒီပွဲလဲ
the heroes
duration က
scale really well.
အဲ့လို
You
မျိုး
want one
over
hero
သွား
to
မဲ့
feather. In this case, it's probably the
အနေထားတော့
Challenger.
ရှိတော့ရှိတယ်ပေါ့
And it's been looking really dominant. Like you get
Ah, well,
ahead by getting
I
more
also
XP, more gold, and
yeah.
you just connect the fights with your relocate. So it's a global hero. They have 2 of those right now between the Underlord and IO.
အန်နာလော့နဲ့ အာယု
I'm
က
very curious to
global
see how
hero တော့
this
ဖြစ်တယ်
goes because I think
Yeah.
this is a completely different game compared to our last one. Even though there's a Drown Ranger, it's such a different style that I'm very curious to see what Laurel does with this IO, especially.
Yeah, because I don't really. I don't think many people take Laurel as a guy that you would ever expect to play.
လုံးနေနဲ့
Iron,
light
right?
ပို့တာ
He's
လုံးနေနဲ့
always
light ပို့တာ
had
မဟုတ်
heroes
အ
that
ရင်
he's
တုန်းတည်းကဒါ
gone back
IO
to.
ဆိုတာ
I feel like when you're IO,
အဲ့လို
a
မျိုး
lot of the game is played around you.
တော့ခဲ့ဘူးတယ်
Like, you're the
mid တွေရော
linchpin
carry
of
တွေရော
the team and
IO
Laurel for
အဲ့လိုအပြာချောင်းနဲ့
Spirit
Dominator
usually
အပြာ
gets
ချောင်းကွာ
sacrificed.
အဲ့လို Dominator Cree နဲ့ရှောက်
And then
သွား
just
ပြီ
has to
ဒါ
take
တွေက
him
ရှိ
anyway.
ခဲ့ဘူးတာပဲဒါပေမဲ့
So I don't think you can.
ဘာ
do
လို့
that.
ဒီ
Like,
ပွဲ
you-
မှာ
you can't just give
သုံး
IO
တာ
a
လဲ
bad
ပေါ့
game. IO's got to have. a
PA
good game.
Amber ကိုဘာလို့
Very
IO
interesting
မကြီးနဲ့
to see
သုံးတာ
Yeah,
စဉ်း
IO
စားရ
versus
ရင်ကြက်
Ember
သွား
because IO is one thing. IO versus Ember Spirit Saber seems rough.
Well, I have honestly no idea how the matchup
ဒီကောင်
goes.
လည်းမသိ
I
ဘူး
feel
ဘယ်
like
သူမှ
on
မသိ
one
ဘူး
hand,
ဒီ
Ember
ကွက်
should
ကြီးက
be
လုံးဝ
very
အစာ
good.
ကြီး
You get the vessel, you have the chain, so you can keep IO in place.
ပန်ထဲ
But
မှာ
on
ထိုင်
the
နေတဲ့
other
ကောင်တွေ
hand,
လည်းတကောင်မှ
IO, he
နားမ
has
လဲ
his
တော့ဘူးဖြစ်သွား
balls. They're gonna be spinning around, hitting you, and you. I think it mainly depends on the math. If the balls are enough to break the Ember shield.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, how many balls do you need to break Ember?
My guess is
Well,
like
well, this conundrum I think can be solved potentially by our commentary duo. Let's head over to Odipixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, getting ready for game 2 here between Spirit and XG. And indeed, the IO coming out in the mid for Lal.
Been seeing it a lot in the pubs.
Yeah, and something that we saw indeed on those final bans that XG, that it didn't catch them
Up
by
game
surprise.
မှာ
They were
saw
like,
နေတာ
okay,
တွေ့
this
တ
is
ယ်
going to be
တဲ့
an IO mid.
ကိုတော့မတွေ့ရသေးဘူး
Because this was a draft where XG said, we're going to pick PL first pick. Did they get away with it, or do you think Spirit's got some pretty good answers to make this game tough for Arme?
I don't know. Actually, I know that this IO, the timing, the way that it plays with what people are talking about is you just get like these 2 items and you take over the entire map.
Oh, he's got that. That's why he's playing in mid. He's got
Oh,
the
he's got
rare
the
set.
face. Oh, it looks
Oh, he's
incredible,
got
by
that
the way.
rare set.
I don't know. I thought that they would actually put.
Look at
more, I
that.
thought they would address the PL actually a little more, to be quite honest with you. But I'll mention the ones that I was mentioning to you
Yeah, said you
just
are.
earlier is
IO
Atrophy Aura versus PL.
ဟိုးရင်က
It's like all his damage is about that.
ကိုတွေပြောခဲ့တာ
base
ရှိပါ
damage.
သေးတယ်
It's
ဟာ
gonna reduce
IO ကြီးကအလုံးကြီး
straight up
လို့ဒီကောင်
32% in most
စက်တွေဘယ်
situations.
လိုထုတ်ပေးမှလဲအခုထွက်လာတော့လဲကြည့်အောင်လုံးဝ
And
အထင်းမှာ
it's
မျက်နှာ
all
ကြီး
about
ထည့်
that
ပလိုက်
straight
ဟုတ်တော့လဲဟုတ်တယ်
agility
နော်
armor for the PL too, so you're gonna be able to
iOS
do a
ဆက်တွေက
lot of
မျက်နှာပဲ
extra
ပြောင်းသွားမ
damage
လားမသိဘူး
into
တဲ့
the mid game as well too. And there's itemization.
လုံးတော့လုံးတတ်တယ်
Go Aghanims on the draw if you want to. So we'll have to see which build that we do see Yatoro go for.
Because yeah, talk to me about the Drow lane as well. Because that last pick from XG, you were saying to me you weren't completely sold on it. The Dawnbreaker coming out here against the Clock and the Drow.
I think I understand why though. They're trying to match the global potential. They need something because this game is going to speed up very quickly. But I'm worried about the lane. I just think Dawn versus Clockwork sometimes can be kind of suicide, and even into Drow. You know, you're this melee hero. You're putting yourself in position to get orb walked.
Not easy.
And you can never really use. You can't really use your Starbreaker that effectively as soon as the Clockwork hits 2. Has battery assault. He isolates you. You're ending.
mid off lane ရောကတော့ခလိုးပဲ mobility ရှိတယ်တခုခုချပြီဆိုတာနဲ့ IO ဆင်းလာမယ်အန်နာလောကလည်း gate ကြီးနဲ့ကြာလာမယ်အဲ့ကွက်တော့
some of these matchups.
ဟုတ်ပြီ
The IO just gets. It gets to be a
ဒီ
bit
ဘက်
too
မှာ
much
လည်း
for
Dawnbreaker
Army.
ကလိုပဲတကွက်
Because
ရှိ
the
တယ်
banner was talking about it, but as you would say, then you think the balls are enough.
But
Like,
he won't
the
give over me, I
Spirit's
feel,
add up,
man,
and
yeah.
it's too much for the
The charge
Ember to
out
lane
of it.
into.
It does feel like I think I saw Quinn play this one the other day, and he did have some different. You just you can't you feel like you can contest the IO,
You're just getting hit.
and you're just getting hit, and he's healing these creeps, even the slight that you're missing these extra CS. And even then, if you do, he just goes to the jungle and he farms insanely fast. That's the other thing. This hero just farms so fast.
And what are you buying? Is still what the helms, the hearts.
Helm into Ags, I think. Was
Helm into
Sound
Ags.
alone.
most of them. I don't know if they do the helm in the mid though. I
Sound
think they
alone
don't do the helm in
about
the
it.
mid that I saw. They usually do the helm as the carry.
Let's see what approach Lal has
Yeah.
this game.
And let's see how the levels come in, because the thing about the Ember Spirit is you're good at reacting to the movement, because level 6 comes out for the IO, and he relocates almost instantly and will get a kill. So you have to have this mid laner that can react to it, so they at least do have that Ember that can be pretty strong versus it, at least in terms of reacting.
And for the
အတင်း
first
သူ
pick,
စီက
yeah,
ငလဲ
Arme,
ကွာ
how's
ဒီ
his
ကောင်
lane
flame
looking
cat
against the Rubicon Lord?
flame cat on ကျင်တော့ဘာလုပ်လဲဆိုတော့အာယုအလုံးတွေကိုနှလုံးလောက်ကိုအရင်ပြေးတိုက်လိုက်ပြေးတိုက်ပြီးတော့ flame cat on တာအဲ့တော့ flame cat မပြတ်တော့ဘူးပေါ့နော်ပြောချင်တာ
I'd say it's not the easiest lane down here for XJ.
Nice, fair bit of spam.
မစ်ထိန်တဲ့ကောင်တွေက
Good spam, some
အားလုံး
good
င
ways to
လဲ
go for
ကြီးပဲ
kills with the lift into the
တ
pit
ကယ်
as
တွေ
well.
ကတော့
Well, clockwork. Level 2's been hit.
Okay, so now is the point where they can sort of mess with XXS when he tries to
လက်
approach
စစ်
the
တ
wave.
နိုင်ကြတော့အာယုကမလွယ်ဘူးကွာအခုကြည့်အောင်ခုနှစ်ကောင်ပဲစားရတယ်တနိုင်စီလို့ဒါဖြစ်မှာပဲဒီကောင်ရဲ့ base attack ကိုကနဲတယ်အမ်ဘာလိုမီလီကောင် base stat နည်းနည်းများတဲ့ကောင်နဲ့တွေ့ရချိန်ကျတော့လက်စစ်က
I meant to go from there, but
Dangerous.
able to get either of the connections.
Hard to go for that aggressive play here. FY trading really nicely here versus Rue. Standing inside of those cogs, doesn't get hit by them at all. Actually gets vision there for a second. Okay, gets the hit off. Nicely done. Mid lane though, 15-5. The Ember's handling it. Level 2 Flame Guard's enough, it looks like, for now. Is still being kept a bit low though.
It's got the bottle charges at the ready. Nothing to say, so
The other thing we do have to mention also is I haven't seen Laurel play this one as much, right? I know there's some absolute specialists on the IO mid, not playing in this tournament, of course, but it's like the Starry Bog and like some of these other crazy players in the pubs. They're just absolute specialists on it, so we'll see how Laurel does on it as well too. I'd have to look to see how many games he has played on it, of course.
အေး flame cat မပြောက်သွားဘူးအေး
Yeah, can't quite remove the level 2 Flame Guard with the level 2 balls.
တက်လို့မလွယ်ပါဘူးနော်
and we'll of course have that very likely build up that could be annoying for the Aya.
Straight into that vessel. Yeah, he's doing fantastic in this matchup right now, nothing to say. Oh, Laura missing that money creep too. Business creep, not allowed.
And how much, is it going to be an issue when you look at Spirit's lineup in terms of ways to start a fight? As the panel talked about, they go for that clockworks. They do have some way of initiating and getting moves going.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, not too easy.
And he stepped up a bit forward here. Gonna commit.
သေးသေးဘူးမန်နာမလာဘူးရာတူလိုလိုက်ပြစ်လို့မလွယ်တော့
It'll be alright.
majestic ခုနှစ်ခုတော့
Get
ရှိတယ်
himself out of there.
And not having too bad of a time at all.
No, not really.
The CS looking pretty good, so certainly showing that he doesn't care about this drought clock combo in terms of the laning phase. He's doing very well against it.
Not getting punished by the batteries, not getting over aggressive here. 26-8.
မင်္ဂလာပါမင်္ဂလာပါမတ်တူအိတ်ဆန်နိုင်လောက်လား
Easily be able
မတ်
to
တူအိတ်ဆန်
withstand
နိုင်လောက်လားဆိုတော့ဒီဘက်ကအဲ့အာယိုမစ်ကြီးကိုအာယိုမစ်ကြီးရဲ့ဘယ်လိုပြောရမလဲအဲ့ potential ကိုမမြင်သေး
it. I
ဘူး
thought
ဖြစ်
this was gonna be. I thought especially.
I
in
don't
this
know,
top lane,
but
this was
you're
gonna be
the-
hard to have success. So very good start here with the Willow.
ဘယ်နိုင်မလဲမသိဘူးအဲ့အကြောင်းဘတ်တော်မဘတ်ထား
Yeah, I think both
အောင်အမစိုးဖြစ်
this
သွား
sort
နိုင်
of top lane and mid lane and
ဟောအောက်မှာဖတ်ပလက်
lane they will lose a life here as Notme's able to find the first blood taking
အ
down.
ပီရတကယ်
Xnova.
ကျန်းသွားတဲ့အချိန်မှာ
Say chasing down Laurel.
အာယိုကြီးက
Chains
ထိန်း
back
နိုင်
up in
မှာ
a couple of seconds, nothing to say.
Get the rune though.
နေပြီ
Go for this.
It's going to get pressure pretty heavily and
Uh-oh.
that'll take him out. Nothing to say.
What a
So,
play.
yeah, the mid lane could start to be a bit of a problem. Nothing to say, getting pretty far ahead, getting the chance to get that solo kill against Lal. As you say, as an IO, you can still catch up.
Still
get
can farm.
very good farm speed in the jungle if you do get bullied out of the lane.
But that's a big deal.
Hey,
Now
'cause-
this Ember's going to be 6
Yeah.
super fast. He can start to make these aggressive plays onto the side lane. That is going to come earlier than usually the IO hits that 6 just a bit earlier than a lot of other heroes. So
အာယိုကဘာဆက်ကြီးလဲ
beautiful
ဆက်အ
start
သစ်
from
လေ
Insane in particular. But as he said, those
ရ
side
ယ်
lanes, Dawn's doing okay.
very rare လားဘာ
We
လား
are
မသိ
seeing
ဘူး
the
rare တော့
kills
ရယ်
and slow down the PL's farm. And
အော်
now the
ပေါ်
Dawn
ကော
is
နှစ်
just
ခေါက်
on
တော့
them
ထိ
up.
သွားတေးပြီ
The angle, they certainly do. Notme comes in with the TP.
Power rune spawning in about 10 seconds.
အာယိုခဏဘေးချိန်ထားအန်ဒါလော့နဲ့ drawing ကြလိတ်ခင်းက
He was going to find it.
တီးလို့တော့ရ PL ခွင့်ရတာရင်တီးလို့ရ
Top Laurel won't be able to secure that one, and they don't make it in time either.
They could dive for Lal here,
Does hit level 6.
but they were tempted.
Yeah, now that he can just reload out. And they don't have the greatest ways to cancel this relocate. Top. Reload
You
comes
are,
in. Brew might actually just be getting saved from that heal there. Yeah, what are there ways to actually cancel the reload? It's actually extremely lackluster. Not the most stuns as we do see on the side of XG. Not the most stuns in this game in particular, really.
I also see the online ဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ပြီးရဲ့ item တွေအရင်မ strong နေပါနဲ့ထိုးတက်လာတာမျိုးပါလို့ဖြစ်နိုင်
Yeah, just
not the most
အဲ့
reliable.
စဉ်းစား
nothing to say with the shield rune, level 4 flame guard.
I will first item ပါသွားမှာကြာကြောင်းပဲရှိတာပါနော်
Even looking for the aggressive move onto the IO, trying to slow down that farm, because as I said, as you're seeing, right? IO just backs up, can't clear the camp super fast. Does mean it's a lot of damage onto this tower, though.
On the bottom lane, do you think Arme's happy enough with how things are going so far?
I mean, yeah, probably happy enough, right? He anticipated this was going to be a difficult lane for sure versus the Underlord, so he's getting what he can out of the lane. Collapse, though, very happy. He probably expected this lane to go this way versus a Wyvern and PL. Not much they can do to threaten an Underlord by any means. Significant damage onto this mid tower, though, halfway. Not bringing anybody over. To push him. Now not me is here, Ru is one of the cogs.
Pro တွေဆော့ပြပြီဆိုရင်အမ public မှာသွားပြီဟိုးရင်ဆိုရင်ဗာ Tusker mid တွေနော်ထွန်ဒရာ9လောက်ပြသွားတော့ရတယ်ဘယ်မှာဆို Tusker mid တွေပဲ mid မှာ Tusker တို့ဘာလို့ကတော့ဆွမ်းတယ်တိုင်ကအရင်မခက်ဒီလိုမျိုး IO တို့ဘာလို့ကြတော့နည်းနည်းစကေးလူသွားပြီပေါ့တုံတန်းကောင်းလေးလိုက်မကင်နိုင်လောက်
Cog control here, down on a nothing to say. Will force him to remnant back, but a lot of damage continues to get done to the tier 1.
I think that last cog expired as it was if that cog actually hit nothing to say, it could have been dangerous. That might have burned the last of his mana there. We'll be able to get the arcane rune though. We'll be able to persist with the aggression. They're forcing reactions around this mid.
Down သွားတာကွာလားဟို Dominator ခွေလေးနဲ့ရှောက်သွားတာမျိုးမလုပ်
But mid tower
မတာဝါကျိုးသွားပြီ
and he's gonna have he's gonna pretty much have the vessel done as well.
It's going to be a very quick timing.
Super fast.
Oh, now with the
အလုံးတွေတိုက်တယ်နော်
the back away, chase forward coming in from nothing to say, jumps in over the root.
Gonna get a neutral then? Okay, tried for it with the rocket there. Good attempt. That's the vessel.
Yeah, already out. So a 9-minute vessel timing here from nothing to say.
That's gonna be real nice. In this game, getting it this early versus all 5 heroes is gonna be fantastic. Even versus the tanky Underlord can be very nice.
Ooh, I don't know. မီလုံး3လုံးလောက်ထိသွား
Looking towards the top now.
Expecting a move, Ru. Looking to protect your Toro. Who is having a very good time, right? 4,100 compared to the 3,500. He's getting a bit more freedom up there. He's able to stand his ground rather than getting disrupted or annoyed by some type of Underlord. Overall, XG, they have to be very prepared for these global movements, right? Fiend's Gate's online, the relocate's at the ready too, so in an instant, there could be like 4 or 5 heroes on top of them. They do have Solar Guardian to respawn, they do have the Ember as well too, but have to be ready for the movements before they happen. Daytime as well, now XXS. High damage.
IO နဲ့ထိန်းတာကတော့ Now ကဆရာကြီးဖြစ်
Want to try and make a
Ember
play
Now
up there, once again bringing the movement of
လာ Now က 3500
Getting some good tower damage. And with not really like the best tower hitting lineup, right? So getting these early towers is definitely very important for them. Ru,
ထိတယ်
looking pretty dead.
being very annoying though.
They will get him.
Took out, what, 700 XXS's HP in his entire mana pool. Very annoying. It does get brought down. And much more of a farm game. You know, Spirit last game we did talk about how they wanted to play that pressure game. This game it does feel like they're
Good item
more content with just hitting creeps. I get
For sure.
Yeah,
They need time for the IO, right?
at least until the 15 talent.
ထိန်းတူအကြီးအပြား
You
ကြောင်း
get the Aghanims, the 15 talent, but
နှစ်ကွက်တည်းက
honestly,
တစ်ကွက်လို
Laurel,
ပဲ PL နဲ့ဆိုရင်တော့
Vessel's
PL
going
တိုင်း
to cause him a lot of issues.
ဒါကတော့သိပြီ
The Dukes?
Hey
Not happening.
2 solo kills from nothing to say.
Top lane. And we'll get XXS.
Why?
Gus comes out. And why though? Able to get the Shadow Realm off. Shouldn't matter. Collapse TP's in. Comes in with the gate.
Laurel this time is struggling, but his team making up for it with these rotations, shutting down the other lanes, making sure that Yatoro is still in a very comfortable spot. And not me making the moves. He's one of the few players that I'm very happy to see when he plays as Rubik. He's one of the best.
That
has ended up being.
အိမ်ဝမ်းအနိုင်လေးတွေဥထား
You're mainly
ဒီဘက်တကယ်ဟိုမတွေးနိုင်ဘူးဖြစ်တယ် duration over တော့ကြိုက်တယ် duration ကတော့ over ဖြစ်ဖို့များဒါပေမဲ့ဝင်တာမှန်းခတ်နေတယ်
And if you can ever get Solar Guardian, it can just change the entire game.
Oh, that's the big one, yeah.
drawing ကြောင်တီရဲထောက်ထားတယ်ဆိုပေမဲ့လဲပေါ့နော် drawing ကြအပြာကြောင်းတွေပါနေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်နောက် underlock ပါနေတယ်ဆိုတော့ IPA ကပြန်ထိန်းလို့ရတယ်
Slowed down even though he's 1700 behind.
ဒီဘက်ကပြန်ကြည့်ပြန်တော့လေအမ်ဘာအရန်ဖတ်နေတယ်အမ်ဘာအရန်ဖတ်သွားရင်သိတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲ drawing ကြပြစ်ခွင့်မရဘူးတင်းအပြာကြောင်းတွေနဲ့ light လုံးသိရမလား refresher ရောအပြာကြောင်းတွေအဲ့လိုမျိုးတွေဖြစ်လာမှာတို့ပါတို့တွက်ကြည့်ရ
quite a safe spot of the map down there in the safe lane.
Very true.
Only
I've seen a lot of these tier ones drop, and it does cause some difficulties for these carries. TP's over.
Oh,စတဲ့ဦးလာခူးစား
And if they can catch Lal, should be fine with the relocate coming off for there in a couple of seconds. He's out.
Oh, they're being annoying. And Rue, he has the hook shot in TP if he wants to go for it onto a creep.
creep မရှိဘူး
They'll curse him.
There's no
I
creep
was too because I was looking at mini map. I just see the triangle for the neutral spawn. So I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna hook TP. Oh no, not the case. Does require them to use a curse though, so it won't have that for the next move. They went up instead of going right. They could have potentially found Yatoro there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Bot tower now starting to get some pressure onto it here. Okay, next success. He's just gonna go this build. I've seen X.
Well, let's let down for side then. I'm not on my count yet.
Get some scaling. He's going.
Anya pai do. Oh, Crimson Guard တို့တည်မှာပုံမှန် offlane တွေထဲတဲ့ဟာမျိုးအားမထဲဘူးနော်အပြာကြောင်းထဲ ကောင်းတော့လည်းကောင်းတော့သူ့ရဲ့ဟိုပါလေ level 2 effect နှစ်ခေါက်ရမယ်
He's got that echo harpoon. My harpoon in particular.
ဖတ်တယ်မှာအဲ့ဒါကြီးနှစ်ခေါက်ဆိုတာကတော်တော်သိတာပြီးရင်ရှီဘာကလောက်ထဲလိုက်ပြီးပြီဝင်းအကျယ်ကြီးပဲဝင်းအကျယ်ကြီး
That IO's farming though, even though he has those deaths and his net worth is mine. At least the XP, right? You're seeing him catching up in terms of XP versus the Ember. And yeah, it really is. It's all about Ags and all about 15 timing, like it was in the past. Increases it by so much here. The fact that it's 50%, because I think
that's a big percentage. You don't get 50% of many other things at level 15 on other heroes.
Because what I think originally the old talent at that TI was 55 hero spirit damage, but now it's
it was a flat number.
Yeah, now it's just a percentage, which can get pretty insane when you amplify.
percentage အဲ့လိုမျိုး90ရာခိုင်နှုန်းပေးလိုက်တော့
6 to 5 as you said, it's going to be a bit more creep hitting this time around.
The amplifying item တွေထပ်ထည့်လိုက်မယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့ percentage ကပိုပြီးတော့ damage
last time we did see him get kind of the same numbers early on his farm and his levels.
Cap ထားတဲ့ဟာမျိုးမဟုတ်တော့ဘူးကွာလုံးဝ
just able to do so much more with that kind of
အရင်ကဒီကောင်ရဲ့ level 15 talent အဲ့လို plus 50လားမသိဘူးအဲ့လို50ဆိုတာ damage ကွာ damage 50လားမသိဘူးအဲ့လိုမျိုးပေါင်းလိုက်တာအခုက50ရာခိုင်နှုန်းဖြစ်သွားပြီဆိုတော့တစ်လုံးကို hero တစ်ကောင်က90ထိတယ်
We've seen
တစ်လုံး damage 90ရှိတယ်လောလောဆယ်မှာအဲ့90ကို50ရာခိုင်နှုန်းပေါင်းတယ်ဆိုတော့45ပေါ့45ထပ်ပေါင်းတယ်ပေါ့နော်
I've seen like
အဲ့ Super Amplify နဲ့ဆိုရင်အဲ့90ရာခိုင်နှုန်းထပ်တက်မှာဆိုတစ်လုံးပေါက်ရင်အဲ့လိုလောက်တော့ကြာ
Sets up another opportunity here against Rue.
Hey, they're just bullying Rue.
တစ်လုံးပေါက်190လောက်တော့ကြာရင် Oh my god.
They're going in.
တောင်းတာပါနော်
Thinking about striking back. They'll look for a support trade, get FY.
That's the Ag's going to be done for Laurel as well too, so they're going to
have
very tough kill.
They have a curse.
I do. But backup's coming in, not me. Turns up, he's got anything to help out. He does not. Collapse, taken out. Lal will be able to swing over in time to ensure that nobody else goes down, but the kill's found by Xnova and Ame.
And that's super nice for Ame just to get involved this early on. For the most part in this game, he's just going to be hitting those creeps until he gets that Aghanim's timing, so getting that type of kill handed to him is very nice for Ame.
ဘလို့ပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်လေ200 maximum 200မရောက်နေအောင် တလုံး190လောက်နဲ့ပဲတွက်ကြည့်အောင်တော်တော်နာနေပြီ9လုံးကွာ
Neither
Okay.
9လုံးက
I think
လည်း
this might
အ
be the-
မြဲ
I was
တမ်း
gonna
ကို
say
လဲ
this
နေမှာ
might be the first game I've seen a
ကြာအောင်ရ
triple
နေရ
Aghanim
တည့်တဲ့အတိုင်း
score.
ပါအမြဲတမ်းအဲ့အလုံးကြီးကထွက်လာအာယုံတော်တော်နောက်တယ်
That's actually so interesting.
don't-
to me.
လုံး190လောက်နဲ့ပဲတွက်ကြည့်အောင်နာကျင်နေပြီအေး
Yeah, that's
Like that's
quite wild.
ပြာကြောင်
makes
ပြာ
sense,
ကြောင်
of
နဲ့ရ
course,
တိုး
it
တိုး
does. Right?
3 heroes.
For sure.
Nothing to say.
Hey.
To find himself.
Rubik
another
got a
support
bomb
pick
out.
up here.
ပြကတော့ပို့
Getting
ဘာ
so much done here on this Ember.
သူခိုးလို့ရတာစပယ်ကောင်းကောင်းမွန်မွန်ကအဲ့ terrorize လောက်ပဲ
Very interesting
ရှိ
stuff.
မယ်
But yeah,
winter
as you
gas
said,
ပေါ့နော်
you know, you can see
အဲ့ဒါတွေက
obviously
ခိုး
why
အရင်
Ryan
ခတ်ပါ
goes
ရဲ့
Yags,
winter
so
gas
he's
တို့ပါ
good.
တော့
Drow goes Ags when he's playing versus PL.
Yep.
And Underlord always goes Ags. So cool. Very, very cool.
တောင်းရပါပြီ special fan
And this Underlord overall versus PL, it's always going to be super annoying. Playing PL into this is not so fun.
FY. Nearly getting the fear off there at the end, but Brew and Yatoro having enough to take him out. Nothing to say. Couldn't quite get there in time that time round.
Rue's doing a very good job of being that body, right? I think every single time we're seeing a play happen when they're looking for Yatoro, it's just Rue catching.
It's
catching the
sports style,
smoke. Or, yeah.
No, Yatoro's been kept very safe on this top side of the map with those positionings.
အိုင်ယို radiant မှာ
man,
ထိလိုက်
you're
ရော
seeing he is going to start creeping
Super League
and soon, probably
Piang Jiao.
surpassing the Drow if he's able to get this type of game
Ha.
where there's just no attention put
Radiant.
onto him.
ကာယဆန်ကြီး
We've
အောင်း
seen
လေ
that
ရ
he
ချ
has
ကာယ
a pretty annoying hero
It
if it can
is.
get there. And
Is it
they
good
did
enough?
it in a pretty bold way. You know,
Yeah.
picking it as the first pick, but 18 minutes in, it's looking like it's paid off. You know, whatever kind of advance they have against this PL, evidently hasn't been one that they've decided to exercise in the early game.
Yeah, but now they will, right? Like now with these triple Ags, it's absolutely the way to address the PL. So we'll have to see how he
Well,
does
that's
end up
actually
dealing
what I
with
got
it now that they're going to
Level
probably
two
start looking to put a
wing,
bit
G,
more
Laro.
pressure onto him and look for some
I'm
kills
you
even onto him
doing
if he
it.
does show.
အဲ့လိုမရတော့
And both teams playing very
အဲ့လို
cleanly.
vision လိုသွားပြီအောက်
Responding
တော်ထဲမှာ
accordingly.
ဒီတိုင်း
Less than
အဲ့
1
PN ကို
KP
လိုက်ရင်
for
အကုန်လုံး
XG
မောသွားတာပဲရှိ
Name
Vision
just
တိုင်း
playing
တော့
it
လို
very
ပဲ
safe. Nothing to say as well. Not really going too crazy how far he dives. Goes for these plays until he has this BKB at the ready. Wants to ensure that he keeps himself in this comfortable position. That Io's gaining on him. Only 1k behind now. Actually ahead in the
ဟုတ်တယ်
experience.
အိုင်ဝကပြန်ပြီးနောက်ဝလိုက်လာပြီအပြာကြောင်းလဲရအောင်ဘာညာတော့မဟုတ်
He's
အမ်
gonna
ဘာ
be
နဲ့
alright with
တ
this.
ထောင်
It's
And then he can go the
How many
BKB.
out?
And it is... I mean,
And
it's
then-
How many out
then
of
you
one
don't
bar?
kill
all
him.
of it.
Yeah.
Answers the Ember completely.
အဖမ်းမရအချိန်တိုင်း IO ကြီးကပြန်တက်လာမှာကြည့်အောင်ဒီကောင် level 2ကမပြတ်တော့ဘူးလေ
It's very-
မနာလည်းမလောက်တော့
it's
ဟို
gonna
မနာလည်းမ
be a
ကုန်
little
တော့ဘူး
difficult
အေးဆေးပဲ
for XG to fully prepare
အချိန်
for.
တိုင်းအဲ့တိုင်းပြန်မိလာမှာဒီကောင်
Not me.
နော်မီယာဒါ space ရှာ
should be pretty dead here.
space
Get some
creator
backup thought about at least.
ဟာ
Now they
space
try and
creator
go
မ
for
ဟုတ်
the
ဝင်
trade.
လာတယ်ဟာ
Coming
ဘလို့
from
ရော
sides, the cog push
အို
back
င်ဝ
on
ဆင်းလာ
away,
နော်
success, the fear,
ဝင်တာ
catches
က
the
တ်
nice
သွားပြီ
first.
ကောင်းလိုက်တဲ့ကတ်ဒီဒါပေမဲ့ဟိုမှာ
Success to back away.
လူတွေကြားထဲမှာပြေးလို့တော့မရတော့မရ
He's
သေး
gonna
ဘူး
live for now.
ဒါပေမဲ့
and Yeah, he's out of
တော့
there.
ပါ
He'll survive. As an
မလုပ်သေးဘူးလား
extra play
လို့
there between the
တကယ်ဆို
supports,
ရင်
FY setting up with the fear into the Xtreme.
ဝင်တာကတ်ကြီး
They lock
မိ
him
သွား
down,
ကွာ
and they get themselves a couple of kills.
Dead
Did
inside
that
it,
kinda,
right?
yeah.
They did pick the IO into the Wyvern, comes in and
Low
just
thing,
hands on the
boo,
target to
separate.
really go for it there.
တပင်းမိတ်တာ
Good
ဆိုပြီး
moves
တော့
here
ကြည်နေ
punishing
ဘယ်
the
ဟုတ်မ
support.
လဲ
I mean, not me playing a bit over aggressive again. Ends up getting Laurel killed. We'll get a Tormentor quickly though.
တော်မန်တာတော့ရလိုက်တယ်
Now, he can go for these aggressive moves. He has the shard to be able to protect himself. XG,
nothing to say BKB နဲ့ဒီကောင်အချိန်ရောက်သွားပြီ Split Vessel BKB
they find
ကြာ
the
ယူပဲ
Drow.
မိနစ်20မှာလုံးချင်တိုင်းလုံးပဲ
Be the dream catch here for XG.
ဒီချိန်မှာအတင်းလိုက်ချခံရင် Split တိုင်ပတ်လောက်တယ်
Yatoro step ahead. Does not overstay his welcome this side of the map.
ဒေါင်းဘရိတ်ကလည်းစစ်နေအချိန်မျိုးပြုတ်ကျလာလို့ရတယ်ကွာ BKB လည်းရနေ
Super close on the numbers still.
ဒီချိန်မှာ
Looking for
light မတွန်းနိုင်ရင်
perhaps
တော့
that wisdom
Xtreme
steal.
တော်တော်ပေတာလို့ပြောအောင်
It's going to be pretty tempting.
Yeah, the
Light တွန်းမှရမယ်ဒီ
Breaker's
ချိန်
in the area though. Are they gonna just I mean, are they gonna actually bring the heroes here with the
They
numbers?
don't
I
have
don't
Fiend's
know.
Gate back up yet.
They have reload, but nah, not gonna be the case. He's out.
Oh,
that was close.
That
ဒီ
was
ပါ
the end. Nearly catching him there, FY.
Yeah, for Spirit, it's probably just gonna be a wait for BKB for Laurel so he can be safe, but not gonna protect him as much versus that curse still. Overall, still finding that Wyvern is going to be important. And in this game, they don't really have the best ways to hunt, right? They don't have this Night Stalker Storm. It's much harder to get on top of that back line.
Yeah, it's sort of just trying to find some awkward angle with one of the ults, right?
Yeah.
Getting the vision so you can either get him with a hook shot or having the chance for the Fiend's Gate just to come in straight on top of him and start the fight with Collapse closing in onto Xnova.
A lot of it's going to be on that clockwork to just give the information.
Yep. Yeah, with the flare spam.
ဒီပွဲဆောင်းချမယ်ထင်တာမချဘူးပဲကွာ TI ဆိုတော့လဲအားလုံးကလည်း
PLAG's
တွ
online.
ကျဲနေကြ
Seeing that farm. About to
Yeah,
surpass
Machado.
the Drow for the first time, and now he
အခု
does.
ဗဒင်မိုင်းဆိုတော့
Ame
ထွက်ပြေး
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Getting to be in a much better position, at least, than he was in an Inspector. And let's see if he's going to be able to do it with the PL. Let's see if it is going to be able to deal with all these Ags from the Drow, which is the answer. The Ags
ဝင်
from
လုံး
the
ပြီ
IO.
ဝင်လုံးပြီ
Another one here for nothing to say. I say
Oh, yeah.
that. The
Wait,
Storm
what?
Remnants. Well,
အားလုံးလွတ်ချင်နေတယ်
getting
နော်
some out of
လွတ်
there, but of
လွတ်
course
ခံနီး
nothing
လေး
to say with his own Remnants to chase with.
Didn't end up placing the second one down during the Remnant, so ends up getting caught from it there. BKB, though, that's done for Laurel. See if that's what they want to rally around. XXS also has his own BKB. Getting quite a bit of farm. Level 17, actually the highest level in the game. Even though we haven't mentioned him too much. Just quietly farming on the sidelines here. Yatoro.
Oh, he's a bit far up. Hook shots
Oh,
there,
yeah,
though. He's got
Painty,
back
Painty.
up.
Oh,
Mark
silent,
back
yeah,
up.
gone
Root
off,
comes
yeah.
in. The Phoenix
I
Gate's
win
up.
la bi.
Nothing to say, he's gonna jump
အဲ့ဒါ
forward
လည်း
with
စီ
the
ရတယ်
Remnants
ဒုံး
over
ညာဖင်အောင်ထဲပဲ
Yatoro.
ဝင်လာဒါပေမဲ့ BKB နဲ့လာဟုတ်ပြီဒီမှာ PA ဝင်လာပြီဘာလုပ်မလဲ ပြော
Gives them the chance to back away.
ဘာလို့မလဲပြော PA ဝင်လာပြီ
As they'll be able to TP out on the
အော်နောက်မှာ
Drow.
ကော်လက်ကောင်လည်းကြံခဲ့တယ်
Collapse will get
ပြီးရော
left
ဗော
behind, so XG able to find at least one of the big kills, taking out the Underlord. But couldn't
ချတာ
quite
တွေက
get Lal or
ပုံစံ
Yatoro
လည်းသိမ
again
ကြ
this
ပါလား
time.
ဒီ
Just a
ပွဲ
little too
separate ချတာ
slippery.
And now Roche, they still have that tier 1 alive. The fact that they have it, they can just bring all the
Lucian,
numbers
be like
in
that,
spades
yeah.
to answer the Fiend's Gate plus the relocate.
This is
Honestly, XG is responding super nice versus this global lineup.
Yeah,
ဘယ်လိုပိုင်
absolutely.
ကြီးကပုံ
They don't get the carry kill, but they do still get enough to set up for this Roche.
And it's a PL getting the rush, not the Drow lineup getting the rush, which is not what you'd expect, probably.
အဲ့ဟောဖြစ်သွားလို့မစ်သွားလဲကိုလည်းမသိဘူးဒါပေမဲ့
Feeling
တဲလ
good.
န်တဲလန်ချိန်သွားလို့ထင်တာပဲ
How good are their answers to the
Ooh,
PL? You know, I
တဲ
feel
လန်
like a
level
lot of them
15တဲလန်က
are ones that
percentage
kind
နဲ့
of fall off,
အဲ့လို
right?
ဒါမစ်တက်သွား
It's gonna
ဒါမစ်
boil
တော့
down
ထွက်
to
မှာ
really
ဒါ
the
မစ်တော့
Drow.
ထွက်မှာ
Because there's going to be a
Ah,
point
Pele-
where
Pele-
the
Pele-
randomization of the PL,
သွားနိုင်
you
မလဲ
don't
မသိ
really
ဘူး
care about a lot of the other stuff that was kind of potentially
ဒီဘာက
having a
သွားနေတယ်ဟုတ်
chance
ပြီ
tripping you up earlier this game. You're going to feel very strong.
ဒါမစ်တော့တော်တော်ထွက်မယ်
Eventual,
နဲ့
like,
ပါတယ်အဲ့ကောင်
catalyst, right? When they do get it on the Underlord and the IO, that can start to, but it's gotten nerfed, right? Versus the
did.
illusions in particular,
Yep.
it's not as busted as it once was. So yeah, it is going to be up to Yatoro to deal with him as the game does progress in this type of state. But his damage will be, you know, slowed down though, right? Atrophy Aura plus Fade Bowl plus a couple of these other things, it is going to slow down how much we usually see. Because a lot of times when you do see these PLs in the late game, PLs just get evaporated, but might be a little bit slower in this versus this lineup. Okay, lead now with the PL. XG probably feeling pretty damn good.
In a very, very good spot. And again, just impressive to see them be able to do this when they do open up the draft, as they did with the PL being the first pick. Fully exposed.
Toro,
BKB ပိတ်သွားတယ်
you get an early BKB out of nothing to say.
အေး BKB ပြီးသွားရင်အဲ့ဒါတော့စစ်နဲ့ဖမ်းလို့ရတယ်နော်အဲ့တော့စစ်က
they didn't commit
ရုတ်တရက်ကြီး
any.
အဲ့လို
Spirit could just smoke
root
after
plan
this
ချ
and look
လိုက်
for
လို့
a
ရ
fight.
တယ်
Even
ဂ
though
လို
it's
ပဲ
into the Aegis,
ဒီကောင်လေးအဲ့ကွက်လောက်လောက်တယ်
maybe
အခု
something they
အမ်ဘာ
consider
မှာ
since
BKB
there's no
မရှိဘူးဆိုတာ
BKB
သိ
on
သွားတယ်
Ember Spirit.
မစ်တာဝါ push တာပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ပါပဲဖြစ်လုံးချင်လုံးလို့တော့ရတယ်
A bit difficult for them to do so. XG
အော် BS
playing
ထုံး
the
နေ
split up of the map very nicely here.
Very close to that Skadi.
And he always has just, double saves. He's got the Wyvern behind him. He's got the Solar Guardian as well, too, so playing very confidently forward.
ကာရီအာ
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
ကြောက်သွားပြီကွာ
I know, it feels spooky.
It feels spooky.
We've seen
It
these
does feel
PLs many a
spooky.
time before. You know, Arme had a bit of a rough game one, but he's come back hungry here in this game too. He is locked in, and this PL at the top of the board.
Yatoro's prepping for that late game, though. He's got the Dormant Curio.
Okay.
He's building it up. And his, I mean, big timing, right? It is if you can get to the butterfly for the Drow, because it is difficult for sometimes these PLs to deal with it, but it's going to take him quite some time. Has to go for a lot of these smaller items in between that he wants to have. Nice connection, XXS.
ဖြစ်ပေးရော
Seems to
တဲ့
have no difficulty.
ကိုတော့
killing
ဘာ
the
ဘတ်မှ
clockwork.
မသိဘူးဒီပွဲ
Not been
ဒီပွဲ
an
ဒီ
easy
တိုင်းပဲ
one
ကြည့်
for
နေ
Brew. We'll lose FY elsewhere. I'll be able to come across and help. Not me.
I like how XXS is just kind of
duration over ကတော့
right?
ဘတ်လို့
he's
မရ
not
တော့
trying to make plays. He's not like
ဒီ
hey,
ပွဲ
guys,
duration
go do
over
this,
ကြိုက်
go
တယ်ဒါ
smoke
ပေမဲ့ဘတ်
it,
လို့မရ
I'm
တော့
no, he's literally just hitting the creeps and just joining in when he feels necessary. So making sure that he keeps very good scaling going for himself too. Keeping up with the Underlord's farm, even staying ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's just been a lot of space on their side of the
There
map,
is.
right? Because there's other two cores, the Ember and the PL. They can kind of push out pretty aggressively with their farm.
He
So there's a
was a
lot to clean up across the map. So
wait
having the greedier offlane in this sort of game.
ကောလန်စာ
feels
ရှီ
really
ဘာက
nice
မ
for
သွား
XG.
တော့ဘူးကွာ
Yeah,
lotus
both
ဖြစ်သွားပြီ
offliners
ဘာလို့
doing
ရှီဘာက
the same
နှစ်ကောင်ဖြစ်မှာ
They both
တ
can
က
ကဲလို့
Place
အာယို
to
လဲ
fight.
သွား
both have the
ဟိုက
space
လဲ
to be able to do
အန်နာ
so.
လောလဲသွားဆိုရှီဘာကကြီးကထက်နေမတန်တော့ဘူးအဲ့ချိန်ကျရင်ဒီကောင်လောက်ပါရင်ရပြီကွာ
Done for the Ember.
lotus ဆော့သွားပြီးထားတယ်ဗောနော် lotus ဆော့နဲ့သူဂလိပနာလို့ဟာ
And I
ကောင်း
like
မျိုး
that
သွား
XXS. What build he had
သိ
queued
တာ
up,
ဂလိပ
the
နာလည်း
AC
မသိဘူး
in particular, right? Playing versus
ပြီး
the
ရဲ့
Drow,
အတူတွေကို
always
ထိ
gonna have
လို့
its merit.
တော်
I
ကောင်း
believe that's what, yeah, very likely what he'll commit for next.
Dire's top tower.
1 minute still left on this Aegis.
တကယ်တမ်းလေအဲ့ကလောက်ဝကြီးထွက်မလာပဲနဲ့ let's shred mid တာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အာယို let's shred တွဲပြီးတော့ and a lot drawing ကြတယ်နင်းရုံပဲအဲ့ PL line up ကိုတောက်ချောင်းနင်းရုံပဲ
Laurel going for a wisdom steal.
Dire's middle
He's
ဘာလို့
gonna
အဲ့
get
ကွက်
it.
ကိုမေ့သွားလဲမသိ
He does. Very close, but it's his, and he will be out of there.
Yeah. Has the illusion rune, nice little micro play so he doesn't have to pop his BKB, is able to get out. Save the BKB for the fight. Double shrine, more and more levels being acquired here for Spirit.
ဒီနေ့တရုတ်နှစ်လားတဲ့
They'll continue to
တ
be
ရုတ်
very close
နှစ်
on
က
the
မ
numbers.
ရောက်တာတော်တော်
Yeah,
ကြာနေ
PL, right? You can still feel that fear.
ဒီနေ့လဲဖြစ်မယ်မထင်ဘူးကိုတော့
You can only imagine this is sort of the game state that XG, when they pick the P out, we're hoping to be in a kind of 30 minutes coming up.
Yep, and now they find collapse as well.
ပြော
too.
တယ်အန်နာ
Yeah, a
လော
lot of
ကြီး
the
က
games
ပျော့
like
စီ
that when
နေ
you
ရ
watch the PLs, right? It's like it can be kind of even till 30ish,
Yep.
and then like 35, the
That's-
PL it's just completely untouched.
Oh, absolutely. Pretty much once you've got this kind of these three items online, the Ags, the Mount, the Skadi, and if you're not getting completely dumpstered as a team,
လိုင်းရတော့မယ်
is
အားမေ
normally the PL's able to take the win.
Yeah.
1600
And they're finding these
Stable.
catches right now, finding collapse
what?
split up on the side.
ခဏနေရပြီအဲ့လောက်က
Looking to set up
ကောင်းတော့
themselves. XXS. Again, just he's playing super careful. You get never pushing too far forward, not getting caught from the rotations. Got to keep it clean though. One or two of these mistakes versus Spirit absolutely still work for them. Drow's keeping up, right? Same level.
He is,
Same
but this
gold,
Yatora is in
and he is the answer.
a very good spot.
ဒီ
It's
ပါ
just
ကဟုတ်ပြီ
whether or not
Item
the
တွေတော့
lineup
ထွက်လာ
around
ပြီ
him
နော်
is enough to lock down and
အဲ့ဒါ
isolate the
PL
real
နိုင်မလား
PL.
တစ်ချက်ကြည့်ရမယ်
Can
PL
they get their
တော်
hands
ဖက်
on
နေ
this PL in the midst of a team fight? It's not going to
အ
be
စပယ်
easy.
ဒမစ်တွေကြားထဲမှာဆိုရင်တော့နားနိုင်သေးတယ်အေးဝေရွာပြီဘယ်သူကြီးလဲဝင်းတာ ဒီပါကနဲ့ ချောသွားပြီဟုတ်ပြီဒီကကလောဝါရတော့ပြန်ချောသွားပြီကွာလာသွေးတော့
See if this sets up for the rest of the team.
PL ကနည်းနည်းဘေးကနေကြိုက်တင်လေးတွေပဲလုံးတော့လုံးနေလာသွေးတော့ရောက်နေ BKB ကျန်နေသေးတယ်ကွာ
The support for support.
Pretty much dream catch there for.
It's straight through the middle and catching the Wyvern.
Yeah, if you can catch the Wyvern at the start of pretty much any of these fights with the Clockwork, that's what you're going to want to do. But XG, they don't overreact. They back up, reset, still have their ultis at the ready.
အိုင်ယို level 6ကောင်ကနေ EU ကောက်တင်ထားလိုက်ဟိုမရောက်သွားတော့ဟုတ်မရဘူးအဲ့လိုမရအိုင်ယို level 6က
Maybe we'll see a little bit of a
Fan
slowdown from
Halumia.
both sides again.
ဘာနဲ့မှဆွဲထားလို့မရဘူး
Tormy time? Looks like Tormy time. I'm really curious to see if this Drow plus IO is going to be able to do it. For, I'm very curious because like the way that the IO also works with the Drow, like you're amplifying so much of this extra damage when you're overcharging as well too.
Okay.
It actually can start to add up as well how much extra you can do.
One at the
So the whole
speed.
spell lamp with the multi-shot, right? The way this whole thing functions is very interesting.
Yeah, big numbers.
It's a lot of damage.
Split damage 90 ရာခိုင်နှု
20,
န်းပေါင်းသွား
fast, more relocate.
ဒီကောင်ဟိုဟာမထည့်ရသေးဘူးကွာအခုတည်း
More moves around the
ဗာလေ
map. Yeah, gold just
Spell
sticking,
amplifying
sticking with that
item
TK.
မထည့်ရသေးဘူး
Dire's top tower is under attack.
တာယာတို့ဒါတို့ Wait what
What's going on here?
Oh,
Well, that's not. I mean, I don't know what that is.
that's
Misclick.
Misclick.
slacks. Somebody get him out of the production room.
Butterfly done. Actually finished up already.
Ta
on the
fly
PL
down
instead of on the
သွားပါပြီ
ground. Nice juke, X Nova.
မိသွားဘူးဒီတစ်ခေါက်တော့
He's going to be doing his best to dodge these ones, as we saw. It doesn't go too great.
drawing ညာ
looking for
main game မ
fights right
ပါ
now.
ဘူးနော်
They're
ဒီတိုင်း
feeling
ပြင်
strong.
ရပါမယ်
They've got all the timings that they were looking to hit. Even though the PL is
And they
strong.
do. I mean, they've got the full glide.
Hey, Xtreme နိုင်သွားလောက်ပြီကွာနော်ဒီလောက်ဆို
Do have that extra little bit of control.
PA ဆောင်ရမ်းဖက်လွန်တယ်အဲ့တန်တစ်ခွက်လောက်ကြောနေ drawing ကြတယ်
This game, I feel like it's going to be like one team fight, and it could just decide it from whichever side wins it, because it could lead into that roast. It can snowball pretty drastically. As we're saying, for Ame, a little bit easier perhaps for him. We're seeing that Spirit.
Yeah,
They can't find
this
it.
PL's in just such a good spot, Arme.
Yeah. Charging in.
Could be able to get Rue quick and easy.
Can't get away from this PL. He's trying.
အဲတောင်လွတ်ချင်နေရလာပြီးတော့
Nothing to say. A flawless game from him this time. We saw Laurel pop off in that last one this time. Nothing to say. Yet to die.
လာ
Talk about Lyle.
Okay.
BKB.
Has to. Didn't want to get caught there in the Fear Bramble combo in case there was follow-up.
That could probably secure a Roche, or at least.
အော် train
let them
ကိုကြီးက
start the
လို
Roche
လို့
if
လာ
they want on the
level
side
2
of
တွေက
XG.
သူ့ကနေသူတစ်ချိန်လုံးထွက်နေမှာပဲလေအော် train ကိုကလောလာဘာကြောင့်
So for
Oh, the Ringo Taylor.
Yatoro.
Hey someone
Looking
explain
to
to
weave
me
in and out of the team fight.
BKB ခ
on
န်း
the
က
side
ကြီး
of
ကျင်
the
လို့
Roche.
လားဟီဝါကခန်းကခွဲမယ်ဟုတ်ပြီ
I think they know that Spirit aren't really going to
relocate ခန်းကရမယ်ဒါဘိုင်းလုံးအဲ့ဒါကြီးက
Team fight situation does not seem
No
easy
la,
for
lo,
Spirit.
No BKB on the IO. There's no way you send Laurel even near that area.
That's the AC done for XXS. So the aura's starting to really come together here.
နည်းဘွယ်တွေကကိုရွတ်
XG,
ဆောင်နေတာ
and now with an Aegis on Arme, they could try and step up this sort of aggression and push for the tier 2s.
Yeah, this will be very impressive if Spirit's able to do this. Because overall, too, right, from Nami, we did mention his Rubik overall, if he was able to get any steals, but he hasn't really been able to find too much here. Much easier for the supports on the side of XG to just function.
relocate ရဲ့ lane push တာဟုတ်တယ်အဲ့လိုပဲတွေးရမှာ
He's going to
အဲ့ဒါကြီးက lane ပဲ push နေပြီးတော့အချိန်တိုင်း PA ကို show မှာပဲမဟုတ်ဘူးလားအေးလိုက်နေပြီ
Arme turns his attention over towards Nami.
Amber တောက်လျှောက်လိုက်တယ်ဒိုင်းညာနောက်
Say some of the BKB onto Yatoro. Golden Brace and the
ဒီကမှာ PA တဝိုင်းလုံးရိုက်တက်နေပြီဟာမသိသေးဘူးရ ပြန်ခဲပြီးသားသေးတယ်
comes in.
This
Not me
E-fight.
trying to keep him alive, and he'll be able to do
Ah,
some
yeah, yeah,
well
yeah, well,
surviving. Tethers over to Yatoro.
Oh my god ဘလို့တွေဘတ်တရီရ
Just not
What
dying.
the fuck
Not me. Time and time again here with these stolen cold embraces, keeping Lal alive. They're coming with a
Amber
backup
ဘိုင်ဘက်လာတယ်
to the
Amber ဘိုင်ဘက်လာတယ်
They want to try and get these
ဓာ
kills
တူတို့သေးပြီ
done.
အဲ့လောက်ဆိုရင်တော့
Yatoro
ခဲပေးထားသေးတယ်
again,
မသေးသေးဘူး
Not me buying more time for him. Surely Yatoro finally dies. There we go. Finally he'll fall.
But Ame dies!
He does.
အားမရှော်ပါဘူး
The Starbreak here comes in.
Collapse!
Success. He's caught
Hey,
in
hey,
the feeds gate.
collapse.
So the pit, he'll die.
He's got another Glype in a second.
လိုက်ပနာရော့
A little on the
အော်
mana,
မမီ
won't
ပါ
have
ဘူး
to-
အေးဘတ်တရဘလို့တော့ PA ရှော့သွားတာတော့လို့ agent နဲ့ရော
Buyback. So much to get that. Indeed,
Yeah.
the Ember Spirit buyback.
ဘာလို့နားနေရလဲဒီကောင်
Arme
အာယို
still
ဒါပေမဲ့
dies.
9000ထွက်တယ်
I mean,
Oh
the
my god
stolen cold
Cold
embrace there.
embrace
Not
is
me. He got so many of those.
And
cold
a lot,
embraces
damn it,
off,
6000
and they just
ထွက်တယ်
couldn't get the quick and
အေး
easy
အောင်အေး
kills.
The fight got so. This honestly looked reminiscent of the last game where the fight got so split up, where Ame gets the jump onto the Drow Ranger,
He's going
but has
straight
no
for the Drow.
backup.
Yeah.
His supports end up dying.
ဒီဘ
They
က်
get
တဲ့
eviscerated
MVP က
because the
Ruby
Drow
ကွာ
has
ခ
just
ဏခဏ
damage.
ခဲနေတာရော
Yeah,
ခဲတာ
his
တော့ခိုးလိုက်တာကြီး
Golden
စောင်းရမ်း
Braces,
ကောင်းတယ်
saves being
တကယ်
crazy,
ကောင်း
and
တာ
then
PA
collapse.
တိုင်နေ
I think
ပ
he
န်း
builds
နေ
up 300 damage
အဲ့
from
တော့
the
ဒီ
gas maybe towards the end of
ဒီ
things.
ပွဲမှာဒီကောင်ခိုးရမယ်စပယ်ကတစ်ခွက်ပဲရှိတော့
It was XG.
အဲ့
using the
right
buyback.
right ရဲ့ခဲတာပဲခိုးလိုက်ပြီးသွားပြီ PA စောင်းရမ်းနေတိုင်ပန်းနေ
Wow.
Certainly something there.
ပြုံအဲ့မှာ IO ကိုခဲပေးထားလိုက်တယ်ပြီးသွားဟိုကောင်တစ်လဲတဲ့ခုတ်မရအောင် ကြာကြီးပဲ
Still there from Not Me, and getting a maximum
Not
use
me,
out of it
not
throughout
me.
the entirety
Quite
of that
piani.
team fight,
Yeah, again,
causing
it was,
Arme having to spend so much time
Ta
to
khe tha
try
pi
and
lai
get
de.
these kills that not only loses the Aegis, but ends up losing his life as well at the end of it. And
အာယိုရဲ့
just as a
အလုံး
team,
လေးတွေက
feel
ဖြည်းဖြည်း
pressure to
ဖြည်းဖြည်း
use
ချင်း
that
ပေါက်
buyback
ပြီးတော့
on
နော်
the same
ဒမ်းမေ
to
တွေက
actually
ဆောင်း
try
ထွက်
and
နေ
get something done.
I mean, if he doesn't buy back there, they're all just going to die, and Laurel,
Yeah.
they might all
Yeah.
survive on the side of Spirit as well, too. So an absolutely necessary buyback there. Wild game. What a crazy fight. I mean, Spirit sometimes does have this type of execution that they can have even when they're at a bit of a deficit in the fights. Heart is soon going to be finished for the IO, too, and that's a big timing for him.
ဟတ်ဆိုရင်လက်ခံသေးတယ်။ OR ကြီးကတော့မလိုဘူးကွာသိလား။ Ordering ကိုကြီးကတော့မလိုဘူး။ဟက်ကပူကောင်းတယ်။ဘာလို့လဲ။ရောလွတ်သွားလို့ရှိရင်နည်းနည်းဗတ်တဲ့အပြင်ဘက်လေးနည်းနည်းလေးရောက်သွားရင်သူတွေတက်သွားမှာ။ဟက်ကိုပူအားပေးတယ်
Nothing to say has no buyback. So this is a dangerous position perhaps for XG. They got to be very wary of the smoke. Has BKB.
Oh, they're going to see him.
Has to use it.
They have the hook shot, but they don't have anything else to go through the BKB. And this
။ပွဲအဲ့ဒါဖြစ်နိုင်သွားပြီ။ Separate ကအိမ်မက်မလို့ရပြီတူးစီက
dagger on Xnova. So he is going to be able to
တော့
play
PL
a
အဲ့လို
bit
မျိုး
safer with that position and make it much less likely that
နှစ်
not
သက်
me
သေးအောင်
or
လုံး
we
နိုင်
were
တယ်
able to make these sort of counter plays against him.
Level 25 is about there for be there for collapse too. 25 also for XXS. Speaking of which, this game he's actually going for the pit route. We've seen a lot more people knowing how strong the other one is, the Fiend's Gate damage, but this one makes sense, right? Just to be able to kite, control the PL.
Sure, yeah, against
for the drown.
honestly all three of these cores, right?
Yeah.
That rely on kind of moving around the battlefield.
I own. We're in for such a treat, honestly. Because even though, as you keep saying, like the PL, I feel like Spirit, they're having answers. They're having ways to deal with it. They shut down, like
They did.
this Ember Spirit 2 now, not having to use that buyback in the last one. It's going to hurt a lot in terms of the progression for nothing to say.
Yeah, and that they could deal with the damage output that Arme was providing. And that's not going to step up anytime soon, obviously. Building for survivability, getting the heart next is now done. So he's going to be very annoying and hard to kill, but is he actually going to be able to clean up some of these kills quick enough?
That is the question. Support's starting to have a little bit more protection for themselves. There's no nullifiers, so they've got these Ghost Scepters and whichever others that they want to be able to survive. But yeah, the main thing, like you said, Xnova in a couple of these fights, getting caught, and that's the key for Spirit, is ensuring that
Finding this Wyvern.
Yeah, the Wyvern or the Willow in particular just isn't able to get these curses or these saves off. Amp damage for the next fight.
အာ Daedalus အေး Separate Separate အောက်ကြီးသွားနိုင်အောင်လား
for Yatoro.
ဒီချိန်မှာဘယ်
They
နဲ့စ
can
ပေး
kind of keep that
2.3
distance between Yatoro and Arme. Yatoro's going to pack quite the punch.
အဲ့ဒီတော့တကွက်မားနဲ့
It'd be so insane.
လစ်မှာ
We saw
Kaya
some
Ruby
good
ka
eye
ay
out
kaya
for
maya
Arme
wa
getting
bro,
these
look.
clutch steals. Can absolutely be the difference maker.
If he can get to Aghanim's too, right? Like even actually start to get these like double spell steals as we do see. If he's able to get some of these stuns and I mean, Cold Embrace might actually be one of the better spells.
Yeah.
ဟုတ်တယ်ကိုယ် embrace ကဆောက်ရမ်းကောင်းတာဒီပွဲကိုယ် embrace ရရင်နိုင်ပြီ
Yeah, I
Separate
think when you
Hey,
have the
Kera,
action, you
yeah,
get
nine
two
me, what?
spells. If you get something just like
So
Remnant,
casual.
if you get Remnant and Cold Embrace and you're zipping around the fight, oh.
Yeah. Remnant takes up 2, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I guess it would, yeah, with the D. Oh, that's
It
true.
is very
Why we-
sad, but
And talk about the Ruby. He's going to actually not get bailed out. They're able to kill him off before Lars able to relocate him out of the side. Nothing to say, jumps over towards Root.
Winter Gas
First getting reflected.
ဟာရလူတန်းဆောင်နဲ့ Winter Gas က reflection ဖြစ်သွားတယ်
Collapse moves
Hey,
in
Billy.
on top of Xnova here with the Firestorm damage. They'll
Uh-oh.
blast
Nothing
his
to say.
way
Bye-bye.
through the Cold Embrace here with the Fade Bolt. They'll jump away with
ကြော
the
ဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်နော် Separate ဆော့ပြနေတာကြီးက Oh my god
Away from
ဒီ
this
hero
fight,
ဒီ
he's
hero
really gonna
နိုင်အောင်
hold
ပြန်
the
ဆော့ပြရတယ်
chase.
နော် PL လေကင်းကြီးကို crash ပြနေရ
So
နော်
can he find anything?
Ame, they're still
Eh.
chasing for him, lifting him
meow.
forward even, trying to get the extra catch, not me using the buyback.
Oh, they'll get out of here.
Crazy aggression. Yatoro, the damage that he's dealing is insane. Is able to just bring down these targets super
Yep.
fast, and Collapse is
PL
doing,
မခုတ်နိုင်ဘူး
he
ဖြစ်
is a menace on the Underlord. He's just getting in
And
their
I love
face.
Bar.
And yeah, a lot of damage as well coming out from him.
Yeah, and he's stealing
These
their
constant
healing.
firestorms.
He's popping the Krella, stealing this extra healing that comes in from either the Embrace or from the Solar. He is annoying.
All right.
Yeah, honestly, I'm watching Ame joining, like going into some of these fights. The illusions are dying insanely fast. The way that the bounces are coming off from the IO, the balls as well too, smacking into all of it. He's
နိုင်
close
ဝ
to
နိုင်
25
တယ်
already.
နိုင်ဝနိုင်တယ် Separate
Might get to see the excitement. Although I have seen some people take the relocate cast away.
And he
Yeah,
does.
I was gonna
Aw.
say
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're doing
Yeah.
this build, like,
it's so safe.
โอ้ညံကောင်းပြီဟိုဘက်ကလည်းညံပြန်ကောင်းပြီအားမီ
ally target is just
You're
ဟို
not
က
even
သွားနေ
attacking. Like,
Blood 3
you're
သွားနေ
not
အဲ့
with the
Blood 3 က
damage.
IO
Yeah, it's
အ
like
သေး
this.
ခုတ်လို့
It
ကောင်းမှာ
looks
Yeah.
Bottom flashy because of these extra
BKB
attacks,
မရှိ
but,
တော့ဘူးဆိုတာ
this
နဲ့
build.
ခုတ်ပြီးတော့ပဲ Blood 3 တင်ပြီးခုတ်ရင်ဘယ်ကောင်းမှမခံနိုင်ဘူးလူတက်ဆော့တင်တင်မတင်ဘယ်ကောင်းမှမခံနိုင်ဘူး
In the front lines.
Oh, it's a rough hero to lose at the start of the fight. If he ends up going down, he's trying to crawl
Oh, carry
away.
that, carry
Should be
that,
fine.
yeah,
Oh,
carry
it's
that.
Case coming from the side
Now
there.
my IOE
Blocking
win
off
out.
his escape.
Okay.
Now, Tay kicks Nova out. He's gone for 50. They do lose Rue over on the side.
ခဲရရထားပြီးပြီနော်ခဲရရထားအဲ
The star breaker coming in.
Oh,
here.
ရှောင်သွားသေးတယ်
Silence comes
ရှောင်သွားသေးတယ်
in.
အစိမ်းကြောင်း
Great
အေး
success. Now the swing comes in. Takes out
Success.
not me, but he gets shot down by
ဟိုမှာ
Yatoro.
PM နေတယ် PM နေတယ်
If he can get his way out of this fight.
အစစ်ကြီး
Multi-shot
ခေါင်းပေါ်မှာ
coming
မ
into
အများ
play,
ကြီးနဲ့
falls down in the river. The
Uh-oh.
fear pushes back, collapse. Arme, another doppel, but there's the block
Oh,
off
ပြာ
again.
ကြောင်းနဲ့ဖမ်းထားလိုက်ရမယ်
He's
Who
got the
shot?
hook shot as well.
မိသွားတယ်
He's caught in the pit. The multi-shot comes into play.
Trouble.
Arme's
Uh-oh.
caught. They've killed him off.
100 seconds.
He's dead for 100.
ကောလက်
Nova
အဝိုင်းကြီးอ่ะ
back on
ကွာ
him. A spirit.
တီယိုလို့ကျွတ်စိန်ဓာတ်စီယာ level 1စုတဲ့ဂွင်းလောက်ရှိတယ်ယွန်းစရာကြီးကွာ
How farmed the PL is. They are making it look like Arme's got nothing in these team fights.
He can't run into them. There's too much damage. It's just clearing out his illusions.
ပြီး
so
အဲ့ခုတ်လို့
quickly.
မရဘူးဖြစ်နေအဲ့ဟိုအ
All
ဝိုင်း
three
ကြီး
of
တွေ
these cores are addressing that PL pretty
Yep.
much perfectly.
အဲ့ထဲမှာပဲ
It's
ဟိုကောင်
taking
နဲ့
them
ပတ်
some
ပြေး
time to
ပြီးတော့
kill
သိရ
these
မလား
supports.
ဝင်တောက်အရင်
Not
တ
able
တ်
to
တယ်
pull the burst again. Ends up
ပြီးရင်
surviving.
Rubik ကလည်းခဲခဲပြီးအောင်နေနောက်နေတော့
Solo
Amber က
guardian
drawing ညာနာကို
Just
မ
these
ကတ်
sort of
နိုင်တော့
ways
ဘဲ
that
နဲ့
they
အဲ့
can get
Rubik
over
ကို
the
အရင်
back lines
ရှင်း
to
နေရ
fight
တာနဲ့
They have been hitting these
Oh,
hook shots.
Roy ညာလွတ်နေတယ်
Lal's
ကွာ
been bringing them in over.
အဲ့ချိန်မှာအနောက်မှာနှစ်ကောင်ကဖင်နိုင်တယ်လားနဲ့အန်ဒါလောနဲ့ကအနောက်ထဲကိုအဲ့လို PP နဲ့ဟိုအရင်နဲ့ဆင်းပြီးတော့ နိုင်နေရပါ
attack XG from all angles. They can't quite
Blood
deal with
Stone
it.
နဲ့ Colossus
And Arme, for all the farm that he has, it's just not looking like they could set up a fight to allow this PL to just run rampant.
PL လိတ်ခင်းကို
Insane
ဝိုက်နေ
mobility,
တာ
good
ပါ
control, and then
နော်
just damage mitigation. You're absolutely seeing that from the Underlord. It's reducing so
တကယ်ဆိုရင်
much.
ဒီဘက် IOE ကြောင့်နိုင်သွားတယ်လို့ပြောလို့မရအောင်နော်
This might just
တ
be
ကယ်
two
ဆိုရင်
sets
အဲ့
of 30
Underlord
seconds
နဲ့
still on the PL.
အဲ့ Rubik play တွေကြောင့်နိုင်သွားတယ်လို့ပြောလို့ရတယ်အကယ်လို့နိုင်သွားခဲ့ရင်ပေါ့နော်အခုတော့မကနှစ်လန်းတော့ရပြီနိုင်တော့မနိုင်သေး
The
ဘူး
extra damage that he does with the IO, of course.
ဒီကောင်တွေကိုဒီလိုအခြေအနေတွေရအောင်လှုပ်သွားပေးနိုင်တာ
Absolutely
Rubik လို့တော့ထင်တယ် Rubik နဲ့ဒီဟိုပါပေါ့နော် Underlord နဲ့
As well too, it looks like he's about to
ဘာ
pick
ရာ
up.
တိုကတော့ပြောစရာမရှိဘူး drawing ကြာဒီကောင်ကတော့ item ကတော့ထွက်တယ်ပြစ်တယ်
They can back off for the Roche here if they want spirit.
It feels like, I mean, now
IO
it-
လည်း
it's
အဲ့လောက်
starting
ထိ
to feel like they have so many of these
သိမ
answers,
မြင်
not
ဘူး
just the PL or
item တွေနဲ့
Amber.
ကျန်းနေတာပဲ
It's
ရှိတ
hard
ယ်
for
တ
them
ကယ်
to
ပလေး
really
နေ
do
တာ
much
Rubik
damage into this lineup now at this point.
Rubik နဲ့
Into
Underlord
Spirit.
Relocate
Carry
over and
pan
an
đi
ages
nè,
for
bọn.
Yatoro.
Truly hitting their stride. And yeah, there's
အ
that
ဖားပြောင်း
hex
ထည့်လိုက်ပြီ
from Laurel.
လားဟုတ်ပြီဗျာအဲ့ဒါ PR
Showing some very good stuff
တေး
here.
ဖို့ပဲ
with
ရှိ
the
တယ်
IO play
စစ်မြင်တာနဲ့
from
ဖား
the
ပြော
mid.
င်းဒါမှမဟုတ်လေ
It was an
Amber
easy
တို့ဘာ
start
တို့က
for
လည်း
him
ဆောင်း
against
ကြောက်
the
သွားပြီ
Amber.
ကွာလင်းကင်းတွေပါ
Early to
ရှိတာ
mid-game,
မ
we
ဟုတ်
certainly saw nothing to say with this vessel caused some issues. But all in all, the relocates and so the
Beh,
technical
diciamo,
targets, the way
male.
he's moved around the fights have been very impressive from Lal.
TI ကတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးအားမလည်းမှန်းတာ
It's finding these backlines, finding
Oh,
these
man.
wyverns, finding these targets. Very impressive.
အဲ့တော့မမှန်းတော့
Yeah, Ame just can't stick on these
အော်
targets.
Parivation ကိုမှန်း
They
မယ်
have
ဆို
so
လေ
many ways to
အဲ့
pick-
အ
they
တင်း
have
က
bow scepters, 4 staffs. They
အ
have
စီမီ
the
လောက်
cold
ကြ
break
လို့
that
ရှိ
he's
ရင်န
stolen
ည်းနည်း
out,
ဒစ်တက်တယ်
sometimes lotuses.
အဲ့ညီ
And
လေး
they
တို့
don't
အ
have
တင်း
this
က
nullifier,
အဲ့လို
but
ဒစ်
they're
လဲ
not
သွား
gonna
မယ်
really
လို့
bypass. I think they just got
ထင်
one
နေ
on,
တယ်
on
ကွာ
XXS. I
အဲ့
believe
တင်းက
they
လည်း
did
မှန်း
just
လို့ရ
get
မ
it,
လို့
so
ရ
now perhaps can look to bring down these supports easier. But yeah, as you said, it's taken them some time to kill them.
နီးစပ်ဆုံးတော့အဲ့ကောင်တွေတော့မှန်းတော့မှန်းကြီးသက်ဆုံး
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He just on Yatoro, cheese, of course on Lal.
I mean, XG, when they had Aegis, when they had numbers advantage, they were struggling. Now at a 13k disadvantage,
PI ကလည်း
into
ပြောလို့
an
မရပါ
Aegis
ဘူး
cheese and a refresher shard
အဲ့လို
Underlord,
ကိုမထင်ထားတဲ့
there's
အသင်းတွေ
chances
ကြီးပဲ
that
ရ
they
အောင်
could just get
ပါ
stuck inside the pit. If he does the combo with the
အနာတော့
refresher
အ
the
သင်း
way
တွေ
he
တွေက
can,
လည်းရရင်ရ
you
သွားတယ်
can't just get completely stuck.
Yeah, the lockdown's getting pretty crazy now from
ပြော
Collapse.
ခွင်းကအကျယ်ကြီးပဲမလိုက်နဲ့တော့မလိုက်နဲ့
Trying to
တော့
go on him, but you're not catching him,
No,
ခွင်းကအကျယ်ကြီး
550 movement
ယူ
speed.
ခါနေ
and you're losing your base. Yatoro.
ပြည့်ပြည့်ရှယ်ပြည့်အောင်ပျော်စရာကြီးဟာနောက်ကအာယုချိတ်ပြီးတော့အတက်ဆွီ130ပေါင်းနေတာပြစ်စမ်းပဲ
Brings it down so fast. Giving some information with some cogs. Gold continuing to grow incredibly fast, up to 17k. IO with the cheese as well too, so a lot more they have to try to bypass on the side of XG. These illusions just they cannot survive.
It's all right. Taking up the rain tracks. Onto the melee. Got any sort of answer here, XG?
Ame trying.
He's going to see if they can bring him down the once. Did a fair bit of damage this time, but not enough. Yutori is able to back off. Surviving through that initial attempt.
Still has Aegis. They still have cheese on their side if they want to pass it.
There's the Glimmer and the Hex onto XXS.
အဲ့တန်အပြည့်နော်အဲ့ဒါ
I
ဒေါ
can't
ဘရိတ်
believe
က
he wants to BKB.
ဘာဖြစ်သွားမှမသိဘူးသွေး3600
Rax.
ကိုကောင်းရဲ့ဒီ
Almost
အန်တာ
brought
လို့ရဲ့
down.
level 1ကဟိုဟာ percentage damage ပါတယ်နော်ဟုတ်တယ်မလား banning damage လားမသိဘူး
Able to
percentage
finish off this top set.
banning
of
damage
Rax now.
ပါတယ်တင်တယ်
Ame attempting to
I
move
don't
them,
know,
pushed back by the
anymore.
Gust.
Ame.
They found- now they've got him with the
Firestorm
Hex.
အေးဖားပြောင်းမိသွားပြီအာမင်းနည်းနည်းလေးနဲ့လွတ်သွားတယ် ။ရော drawing ညာတော့ကတ်လို့မရတော့ဘူး။ဟိုကောင်အာယုံနဲ့ချိတ်ထားပြီးကတ်လာတဲ့ကောင်တွေကိုပြစ်ထုတ်နေပြီ
Jump away here with his remnants of the save. The Gleipnir is up. They've caught
။
him.
Oh.
Get the slider fist off. He does have BKB ready to press if
ငါ
necessary.
ကတလန်းပါသွားပြီ
He's got the remnant out. Could jump
သွေး
away.
မရော
The
ဘူး
Rax
ဗျာ
are
အာယုံက
gone.
ဟန်နေဆိုတော့သွေးက share ပဲ
Ame can't do anything in the fights. He tries to show up again, almost dies in a heartbeat, has to back away immediately. Still Aegis for a minute. They did end up popping the cheese there. I think they popped the refresher shard as well, but they're looking for the final set.
It's all right.
အာဖားပြောင်းမိသွားပြီ
Ready to go straight away. They've got the Hex down on the walls. Nothing to say, but the BKB's up.
ဟုတ်တယ်
Comes with the slider fist. Jumps
ဟုတ်တယ်
forward. Let's take out the spot.
Ruby တော့
Bring
ရှော့
down
သွားပြီ
Now towards Yutori, but Yutiri's still got the Aegis here for the full minute.
Aegis
They take
ရှိတယ်
him out
ကွာ
for once. He's going to be back for round 2. Ame surrounded by Lal and Collapse, trying to stand his ground. Jumps forward aggressively here with the doppelganger, but he's falling low. Needs help.
အေး
XXS
အဝိုင်းကြားထဲမှာပြီးရခုတ်တော့ခုတ်တယ်ဒါမှမထွက်ဘူးကွာပြီးရ ခုတ်တော့ခုတ်တယ်ဒါမှမထွက်
Yutori gets the double. They could get him the once, they couldn't get him the twice.
အန်တာလို့ရဲ့ entropy aura damage reduction ကဒီကောင်အတွက်စောက်ရင်အောင်ပြဿနာတက်နေ
And an end to the series here, taking game 2, 2-0.
2-0
against Xtreme Gaming.
wow
Both games, phenomenal play from Spirit.
တကယ်ကောင်းတယ်အောင်
In the team fights in
Rubik
particular,
MVP
obviously,
Rubik ပဲ
the
MVP
next
Rubik
level
ရလားမ
plays
ရလား
that
ကြည့်
they're
ကြည့်
able
လိုက်
to do, little things that you can't even like anticipate.
MVP
Cold
Rubik
embrace
he will
steals,
be
Yeah,
there
not me
turning
showing up
fights.
today here with his Willow and into the Rubik in this game too. And it looked like it was going to have potential, the PL, but it looks like at the end of the day, Spirit, they weren't even breaking a sweat. They knew that they could deal with Arme's PL. They certainly did. 2-0 here for Spirit.
I never
I
doubted
even
that
do- yeah,
admit
yeah,
for a
yeah.
second. I promise. I believed
got
in
the
it
MVP?
the whole time. That was it was definitely a cool game to see, though. I don't think anybody was really expecting this one when they woke up this morning. Team Spirit take this one 2-0 against Xtreme Gaming, and with a very cool fashion in the IO mid, of course, here with Saberlight Fly and Jenkins Saber. This was especially cool. The IO making it work. You trusted
different
that too, of course.
offlane
No.
No.
offlane
I thought it was
hero
really
လည်း
bad.
different
He
လေ
was getting
hero
cooked.
type ကမတူ
This lane was not looking good. The Ember was kind of destroying the game. Luckily, the side lanes were doing pretty good. So even though the IO didn't have the best of the games, eventually they never got too behind Xtreme. So they were always able to like take these fights. And
ကဲ
play
အဲ့
the
တော့
game,
နောက်
and
ပွဲက
eventually it kind of flipped.
နောက်
But
ပွဲ
I think it's just Spirit being a better team and just playing better. I think Yatoro played amazing. So did Collapse. And you know, Laral also eventually, once he got online, he also did good. I think the biggest problem was just, you can't pop the Ember Shield, not enough balls, and it just doesn't get enough
ကိုနဲ့
damage.
parivation နဲ့ရောက်ဒီပွဲလည်း
Yeah,
မ
we
ဆိုး
had
ဟာ
that question early on. It did get answered. I thought it would be enough to snowball the game for
ဒီ
Xtreme.
ပွဲမှာပဲ
but
ပြန်တက်ရင်တက်လာခဲ့မယ်နော်
it
ဘယ်လို
wasn't.
လဲ
I mean,
တော့
we
bye
saw
bye
some really interesting
Die Wellen und
interactions
Dalla,
in that game.
in
Two
it, yeah.
Krellas. We've been talking about it all day, and we finally see it. Ember had a Krellas. Collapse had a Krellas on Underlord.
ကဲခဏနားပြီ
And we
ဗျာ
were questioning. I'm gonna go test this in a lobby afterwards, so I don't know the answer. But if it works on illusions, because it looked like he was really fast in a lot of those fights.
Yeah.
On Underlord, and I think with the Shivas too, increasing the AOE of it, pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, I think Collapse had a great game on the Underlord. We saw him popping off